came to a halt following Zhu Hongda's imprisonment. Zhou Yuqin inquired, "What about the workers? Have they all left?" The elder sighed, "They are all waiting at home." Zhou Yuqin nodded, choosing not to say more. After inspecting the factory, he drove away, feeling highly satisfied with the Hongda mobile battery manufacturing plant. The entire production process, from raw materials to finished products, was semi-automated, utilizing highly advanced equipment and achieving full coverage of all stages, perfectly aligning with Zhou Yuqin's demands. Considering the developmental trajectory on Earth, it would take at least another 8 to 9 years for mobile battery capacities to reach 4,000 mAh. If Zhou Yuqin were to acquire this factory and develop a 4,000 mAh battery along with a high-power charger, he could monopolize the entire mobile battery market. The pressing issue, however, was that Zhou Yuqin lacked the capital. Once the auction process commenced, it would be impossible to secure the factory without at least 2 billion. Zhou Yuqin's total assets amounted to only 5 billion, leaving him significantly short. Acquiring 15 billion or even 20 billion within half a month was no easy feat for anyone. What to do? Zhou Yuqin set his sights on the system. In his attributes panel, 3 genuine scrolls lay dormant. These scrolls possess the ability to unveil the true essence of all things. The most expedient method Zhou Yuqin could conceive to amass wealth was through stone gambling. Unlike his previous state of having only 400,000, Zhou Yuqin now boasted a fortune of 3 to 400 million, sufficient to procure the finest raw stones available. With 3 opportunities at hand, a single correct gamble would suffice to secure his success. With this thought in mind, Zhou Yuqin returned home, powered on his computer, and searched for the term stone gambling online. Soon, a piece of information caught his eye. An annual jadeite auction was taking place in Ruiqing, a mere 50 kilometers from Yinchuan. Among the lots was an enormous jadeite raw stone, hailing from the old mines of Yinchuan, weighing 500 kilograms, and hailed as the king of jadeite, with a base price of 200 million. The emergence of this colossal gem at the auction created a palpable stir, igniting fervent discussions across the internet. However, Zhou Yuqin had previously shown little interest in jadeite raw stones, which caused him to overlook the news. With less than 4 days remaining until the auction's conclusion, Zhou Yuqin realized that to secure the king of jadeite, he must hastily fly over to participate in the final day of bidding. Seizing the moment was crucial. After making his decision, Zhou Yuqin retrieved a suitcase, packed his belongings, and swiftly headed to the airport to purchase a ticket. Lacking the convenience of online ticketing from his previous life, Zhou Yuqin found the process quite cumbersome. Once he secured his ticket, he glanced at the time, which was already 3:30 in the afternoon. Instead of returning home, he drove directly to Qinjiang University. Upon arriving at the university's entrance, Zhou Yuqin called Zhou Qing. Before long, the elegant Zhou Qing emerged, sporting an LV bag that Zhou Yuqin had gifted her, exuding the demeanor of a modern urban professional. "Brother, do you know how envious my roommates are that I get to attend the live performance of Peak Singer?" she exclaimed excitedly as she entered the car. Once she finished her exuberant chatter, Zhou Yuqin pointed to the storage compartment in front of the passenger seat, saying, "Both tickets are in there. Choose one." Upon hearing this, Zhou Qing quickly opened the compartment and retrieved 2 tickets, examining them closely. "Oh my goodness, these are golden seats," she exclaimed with delight. Zhou Yuqin, a bit exasperated, replied, "Zhou Qing, must you react so dramatically?" She placed both tickets into her bag and retorted, "What can I say? I haven't experienced much in life." Zhou Yuqin shot her a sidelong glance and teased, "You have the audacity to say that? What delicious or entertaining experiences have mom and dad not prioritized for you? Take movie outings, for instance. They may take me occasionally, but you manage to watch over 10 films a year, don't you? And as for visiting our grandparents in the Northeast, I've only gone twice in my lifetime. Can you even count how many times you've been? In comparison, I'm the one who has seen little of the world, right?" Zhou Qing giggled, "Brother, these are trivial matters. You don't need to be so worked up." Zhou Yuqin rolled his eyes and said, "I'm not worked up. I'm merely criticizing your irresponsible speech." Yes, Boss Zhou, you are the authority, and whatever you say is right. By the way, where are we dining?" Zhou Qing inquired. "There's a northeastern private kitchen not far from the TV station. How about we try that?" Zhou Yuqin suggested. "Sounds good. How long will it take to get there?" she asked. "About 40 minutes, he replied. Zhou Qing responded with an "Oh," pulling out her orange phone. "Then I'll play a bit of Angry Birds." Before long, Zhou Yuqin heard the familiar soundtrack. "Are you playing Angry Birds?" he asked. "Yes, and there's also Fruit Ninja." "Brother, have you heard of these games?" "Quite familiar with them," he replied. "Do you find them enjoyable?" "Of course. These are leisure games developed by our Moonlight Games company, and they have become a global sensation." "Brother, do you know the global sales figures for Fruit Ninja?" Without waiting for Zhou Yuqin to respond, she continued, "Internationally, it's nearing 80 million, and domestically, it's 12 billion, almost capturing every smartphone user." Some netizens calculated that Moonlight Games can earn at least 300 million from Fruit Ninja, while the development cost was less than 1 million. Now, with Angry Birds launched, it continues the momentum. Having sold nearly 30 million copies in just 3 days, it's a windfall. Zhou Yuqin replied nonchalantly, I believe you should focus your energies on your studies rather than games. Zhou Qing pouted, have you heard of work-life balance? Brother, speaking of which, given your field, why haven't you developed such excellent games? Faced with his sister's probing question, Zhou Yuqin found himself momentarily speechless. Previously, he had only mentioned establishing a game company without revealing its name. So Zhou Qing remained unaware that her brother was the owner of Moonlight Games. At that moment, Zhou Yuqin's phone rang. It was a call from Zheng Tong. Old Zheng. What is up? Brother you. I have 2 good pieces of news to report. First, the downloads for Angry Birds have surpassed 30 million. And secondly, an advertising company from the Lighthouse Nation wishes to insert ads into our games Fruit Ninja and Angry Birds. They will come to discuss it the day after tomorrow. Zhou Qing, engrossed in her game, misjudged the angle, launching a bird far off target. Oblivious to her blunder, she turned, mouth agape, staring blankly at Zhou Yuqin. Zhou Yuqin replied calmly, traveling thousands of miles to our Moonlight Games company shows their sincerity. Old Zheng, I need to leave town tomorrow. You will lead the discussions with those foreigners. Angry Birds has not yet taken off, and inserting ads would likely alienate players. Even for Fruit Ninja, ads should not exceed 15 seconds. And we will only sell exclusive rights for 1 year. One advertisement, with 15 million impressions, this price warrants careful consideration. Zhou, should we consider hiring more personnel to bolster our administrative departments? Please provide a detailed organizational structure for the departments. I need to review it thoroughly. Understood. Old Zheng. My plan is to develop a mobile version of Leisure Crush first, followed by a PC version, employing an in-game purchase model for items. I have a strong intuition that this game holds immense potential. Once it gains popularity, it could sell for 7 to 8 years, potentially yielding us tens of billions or even over 100 billion in revenue. In his previous life, Leisure Crush was a worldwide phenomenon. Zhou Yuqin distinctly recalled that the year before his transmigration marked its 10th anniversary, with profits reaching a staggering 14 billion. During the task allocation, he entrusted the game's development to Hua Haiyang, primarily due to his steadiness and patience. Zhou Yuqin had designed Leisure Crush with a total of 2,000 levels, of which 1,200 had been completed. If sales proved robust, thousands of additional levels awaited players. If not, he could always add a couple of hundred challenging levels before concluding the project. However, Zhou Yuqin harbored great confidence in Casual Match. He believed that since Fruit Hero and Angry Birds achieved success in this world, Casual Match had no reason to fail. Brother you, I never expected that among the 3 games, you would have the most faith in Casual Match. Fruit Hero and Angry Birds might only thrive for 3 or 4 years. Once the era of 4G or 5G communications arrives, the mobile gaming age will truly begin. By then, these 2 games will undoubtedly perish, leaving only Casual Match with a chance of survival. As he spoke, an extraordinary light sparkled in Zhou Yuqin's eyes. Furthermore, I plan to develop 2 additional games, both in mobile and PC versions. My ambition is to monopolize the global mobile gaming market with these 5 casual games, while also capturing a share of the PC market. By that time, we will possess the capital to create a gaming empire that truly belongs to Yueqin. Old Zheng, I share this with you to convey my hopes. Work diligently, for the future of Yueqin Gaming Company will be in your capable hands. Chapter 111. Backstage with the singer. Upon hearing this, Zhou was greatly inspired. Thank you, brother you. I will certainly not let you down. I believe in you. After hanging up, Zhou Yuqin cast a glance at the dazed Zhou Qing and smiled. What? Can't I develop a few globally popular games? Zhou Qing regained her senses and replied, of course, it's just a bit hard to believe. Brother, are you really the president of Yueqin Gaming Company? Zhou Yuqin rolled his eyes, saying, use your brain. Think about the origin of the name Yueqin. Zhou Qing repeated the name twice, exclaiming, Yu is for Xiaoya, and Chun is for Zhou Yuqin. This name takes one character from both you and your daughter. Zhou Yuqin remarked, not too foolish. Zhou Qing inquired, brother, did you really earn 3 billion? Zhou Yuqin affirmed, indeed, I made 3 billion from the games. Zhou Qing, quick-witted, immediately sensed the underlying question. Do you have other businesses? Zhou Yuqin replied, less prying. Zhou Qing pouted, come on, tell me, how much money do you have now? Zhou Yuqin shook his head, I haven't calculated, but it shouldn't be less than 5 billion. In the stock market, Zhou Yuqin's shares in Dongxin Network Business Company had reached 3 billion. However, the fastest growing asset was not Dongxin, but rather the over 10,000 Telcoins Zhou Yuqin owned. After purchasing Telcoins, he had not monitored them for a long time. Recently, he stumbled upon a news report about Telcoins surging over half a month. So he logged into his account and discovered that the price had soared to 181 million, resulting in an astonishing balance of 22 billion xia yuan. The momentum of Telcoins appeared even more explosive than the virtual currencies of his past life. Nevertheless, Zhou Yuqin had no intention of cashing out. 5 billion. Zhou Qing exclaimed. Heavens, brother, you're incredible. Zhou Yuqin responded nonchalantly, it's still early. Praise me when my assets exceed 10 billion. Subsequently, Zhou Qing became engrossed in conversation with Zhou Yuqin, neglecting her game. Upon arriving at the northeastern restaurant, the siblings enjoyed a delightful meal before heading straight to the television station. Entering the vast studio, they found half the seats already occupied. According to the program rules, there were a total of 3,000 audience members scoring, spanning various age groups from 20 to 50, all selected from those who participated in online voting. Comparatively, this was quite fair. As soon as Zhou Yuqin and Zhou Qing found their seats, they noticed Yang Lei's manager, Li Hui, approaching. Teacher Zhou, Miss Zhou, there's still some time before the performance. Would you like to rest backstage? Zhou Qing's eyes lit up as she discreetly tugged at Zhou Yuqin's sleeve, urging him to agree. The backstage area of a star's performance was an enticingly mysterious realm that Zhou Qing did not wish to miss. Soon, the siblings followed Li Hui to the backstage area of the performance. Every contestant entering the finals was a prominent singer, and the television station had spared no effort in providing each with a spacious lounge, also serving as their makeup room. When Li Hui led them into room 5, Shen Jingyun and Yang Lei were seated before a mirror, applying makeup. Shen Jingyun wore a blue long dress that accentuated her delicate collarbone, adorned with a diamond necklace that sparkled brilliantly under the lights. Even while seated, she exuded an air of grace and elegance, a vision to be admired from afar. Yang Lei donned a matching red long dress, similarly adorned with a diamond necklace. It was evident that both were styled by the same fashion and jewelry brands endorsed by Yang Lei. Zhou Qing, long time no see. Shen Jingyun greeted Zhou Qing with a smile. Zhou Qing, mesmerized, gazed at Shen Jingyun in the mirror and exclaimed, Sister Jingyun, you are simply stunning. Even men would fall for you. I think I might too. Shen Jingyun chuckled. Your flattery is far sweeter than what your brother says. Seated nearby, Yang Lei sighed. Darling, I suddenly feel that inviting you as a backup singer was a miscalculation. You are just too beautiful. I feel overshadowed. Zhou Qing turned to Yang Lei. Not at all. I think both of you are gorgeous, radiating elegance. If you were both to appear on stage together, it would certainly create a tremendous sensation. Yang Lei laughed. Indeed, Jingyun. You were right. Zhou Qing speaks more eloquently than her brother. Zhou Qing retrieved 7 albums and a pen from her bag, asking, Sister Yang Lei, could you please sign these for me? Upon learning that Zhou Qing might meet Yang Lei, many girls had purchased her music albums, asking Zhou Qing to procure an autograph. Unable to refuse, Zhou Qing agreed. Yang Lei took the 7 albums from Zhou Qing and asked, there are no bootlegs here, right? Zhou Qing immediately replied, definitely none. Yang Lei then signed each of the 7 albums. Thank you, Sister Yang Lei, Zhou Qing said, carefully placing the albums back in her bag, her eyes sparkling with joy. Zhou Qing, don't disturb their makeup. Come over and eat some fruit, Zhou Yuqin called out. Zhou Qing complied, sitting beside Zhou Yuqin to enjoy grapes together. The siblings lingered in Yang Lei's lounge until 8 o'clock, returning to the main venue just as the program was about to begin its live broadcast. Did you hear? Among the 7 singers in the finals, the other 6 have invited top-tier singers as backup, while Yang Lei brought along a newcomer. A newcomer? No way. Has Yang Lei completely given up on the competition? I certainly don't hold out much hope for her. Upon overhearing the comments from the 2 audience members, Zhou Qing felt compelled to turn and debate with them, but Zhou Yuqin stopped her. In the face of skepticism, the only valid response for a singer was to deliver an outstanding performance. Arguing was futile. Soon, the finals of Peak Singer commenced. With minimal preamble, the 7 singers determined their performance order by drawing lots. Yang Lei enjoyed a stroke of fortune, securing the 6th position. Under the ruthless competition of peak singers, only the most formidable vocalists of contemporary music could advance to the finals, leaving those lacking in skill long eliminated. In Chapter 112, A Flawless Performance, the first 5 singers presented new songs, showcasing their vocal prowess, while their guest performers complimented them splendidly, enhancing their appeal. Zhou Yuqin was thoroughly engrossed, longing to take the stage himself, while Zhou Qing could hardly contain her excitement, her voice nearly hoarse from cheering. Brother, their performances were extraordinary, and the songs were well written. I fear for Sister Yang Lei and Sister Jingyun. She fretted for the 2 women yet to perform. Zhou Yuqin reassured her, do not worry. As long as they do not falter, they should be fine. Although the 5 singers delivered commendable songs, with 1 or 2 even qualifying as classics, they paled in comparison to As You Wish. Another issue arose as they all showcased high notes in their climactic moments, leading to a certain aesthetic fatigue among the audience. By the time the 5th singer reached their high note, applause had dwindled. In this context, As You Wish was perfectly suited, for its melody did not reach excessively high notes. Even the final high note emerged as a cathartic release of accumulated emotion. Unlike the others who merely aimed for high notes for their own sake. As the host introduced them, Yang Lei and Shun Jingyun emerged hand in hand. Taking their time on stage, the spotlight illuminated them, eliciting gasps from the audience. My heavens, they are breathtakingly beautiful. Such high beauty standards. They are two goddesses, murmured the spectators, clearly captivated. The goddess-like guest performer was indeed another goddess. They were a stunning sight, and as long as their singing was not subpar, votes would surely be cast in their favor. Zhou Yuqin could not suppress a smile at the audience's reactions. It was undeniable that Shun Jingyun and Yang Lei's attire was strikingly exquisite, akin to two celestial beings gracing the mortal realm. In the hall, the performers who had just finished chatting became noticeably restless upon seeing the two women on stage. Music industry giant Sun Huan jested, with looks like that, why even compete? Just award the championship to Yang Lei already. The industry's leading lady, Gu Xiu'er, marveled, simply stunning. Is this Ms. Shun Jingyun Yang Lei's secret weapon? Such beauty and grace should not go to waste. Soon, the big screen displayed the song's title and its creators' names. Sun Huan murmured. Look at the lyricist and composer of this song. Top-tier singer Zhang Yang frowned. Zhou Wuming? That name rings a bell. Gu Xiu'er exclaimed. I remember now. Zhou Wuming is the lyricist and composer of Fairy Tale. My new song ranked second that year, only to be overshadowed by his Fairy Tale. Zhang Yang concurred. Indeed. That year, Fairy Tale swept the charts, and Zhou Wuming gained immense notoriety in the industry. Yet, he has remained elusive, disappearing from the scene for years. Who would have thought he would resurface? Sun Huan straightened, declaring, let us listen closely. Today he may surprise us greatly. Discussions about Zhou Wuming among the singers were broadcasted live, and the name resonated with viewers at home. After a gentle melody played, Shun Jingyun was the first to grasp the microphone. You are the distant path, the light in the misty mountains. I am but a child walking in your gaze. These brief lyrics immediately hushed the audience. For Zhou Yuqin, it was his first experience hearing Shun Jingyun sing. Her voice flowed as pure as water, soft as a breeze, imbued with a gentle warmth that seemed to resonate within the hearts of listeners. Those who become singers typically possess exceptional vocal qualities. The primary distinction lies in the depth of emotional expression. Clearly, Shun Jingyun's voice possessed an innate advantage in this regard, effortlessly drawing everyone into her emotional world. It was no wonder Yang Lei entrusted her with the opening line. In contrast to Shun Jingyun's ethereal tone, Yang Lei's voice was otherworldly yet undeniably beautiful, evoking vivid imagery. Together, they exchanged lines, expressing every sentiment encapsulated in As You Wish. The mountains and rivers remain unscathed. The mundane hearths are ever present, yet your gaze wishes for more. Children, sleep soundly in dreams, as you are deeply cherished. As they reached the climax of the second verse, the lyrics struck a profound chord within the audience, conjuring images of revolutionary martyrs who fearlessly charged towards the enemy's guns, unyielding in sacrifice. With emotions surging, Yang Lei and Shun Jingyun elevated their tones, harmonizing on the final segment. And I shall dream of your reunion. May your wishes be eternal. Walk the long road you tread, such is my love for you. The intensity of their emotions erupted, their eyes glistening with unshed tears. Their voices seemed to console the spirits of the forebears, conveying that the Summer Nation had embarked on a path of rejuvenation. This prosperous era is as you wished. Not only the ordinary audience, but even the fellow singers in the hall were moved to tears. Once the performance concluded, the audience remained silent for 5 or 6 seconds before an overwhelming wave of applause erupted, nearly toppling the entire studio. Yang Lei and Shun Jingyun exchanged smiles, bowing to the audience, which elicited an even more fervent response. The program mandated that no singer could speak on stage or solicit votes. Consequently, after their performance, the two descended from the stage. Shun Jingyun, a newcomer, did not accompany Yang Lei to the singer's lounge. Instead, she entered the resting area, changed out of her performance attire, and quietly took a seat in the front row, a reserved spot arranged by the production team. Meanwhile, as Yang Lei entered the singer's lounge, all the other singers rose to applaud her. Surprised, Yang Lei quickly expressed her gratitude. Gu Xiu'er inquired, Yang Lei, where is your stunning backup singer? Why isn't she here? Yang Lei replied, Jingyun isn't fond of the spotlight. I was only able to invite her to help because she adores this song. Gu Xiu'er remarked, what singer wouldn't love As You Wish? It is beautifully written, and your performance was exceptional. Sun Huan added, the creator of this song is Zhou Wuming. Didn't he write Fairy Tale 4 years ago? Yang Lei nodded, indeed. Sun Huan's interest piqued. Are you well acquainted with him? Yang Lei responded, to some extent. Sun Huan continued, after Fairy Tale was released, it nearly dominated all charts. I thought we might see another musical genius emerge in the Chinese music scene, yet he vanished without a trace. Many in the industry claimed he had run out of inspiration. It appears that is far from the truth. In Chapter 113, the popularity exchange function, Yang Lei seized the opportunity to take a jab at Huang Xiangfei, stating, "I asked Teacher Zhou about this. He mentioned that 4 years ago, the other party only offered 50,000 to buy the rights to Fairy Tale. Teacher Zhou declined, and in a rush for cash, ultimately sold the 3-year rights for 30,000. After this incident, he felt that the meager amount he received was an affront to the songs he had painstakingly penned, prompting him to seek alternative employment. Gu Xiuer exclaimed, 50,000 yuan to buy the copyright of Fairy Tale? Is this a joke? In the entertainment industry, everyone is astute, and upon hearing Gu Xiuer's words, the crowd immediately realized that her relationship with Huang Xiangfei must be quite strained. Yang Lei, fully aware of Gu Xiuer's implications, shrugged and remarked, that was indeed the case at the time. I even reviewed the contract they signed. Sun Huan sensed that discussing this matter live was inappropriate. So he deftly shifted the topic, asking, is your next song titled Stars and Seas? Is it also a work of Teacher Zhou? Yang Lei nodded, stating, Teacher Zhou is a genius creator. This song, As You Wish, was initially meant for me to perform solo in the second round, preceded by a highly challenging piece called Left Hand Points to the Moon. However, due to the lack of a suitable duet partner and Jing Yun's fondness for As You Wish, I decided to place it in the first round. After learning of my decision, Teacher Zhou believed that As You Wish, being a song of great sentiment, needed to be followed by an equally grand piece. Hence Stars and Seas was born. In his words, if As You Wish serves to comfort the predecessors, affirming that the current prosperous era has fulfilled their wishes, then Stars and Seas encourages everyone to conquer the infinite future. The audience collectively gasped in awe. What kind of creator could produce 2 such profoundly sentimental songs in one breath? Sun Huan remarked, I am now filled with anticipation for your song Stars and Seas. The audience watching peak singers on television numbered over 100 million. After Yang Lei and the others spoke, Zhou Wuming's fame skyrocketed. Ding! A notification sound echoed in Zhou Yuqing's ear. Congratulations, player. Your popularity in reality has surpassed 100,000. The system has activated the popularity value redemption feature. Popularity value? Zhou Yuqing's heart stirred, and he promptly accessed the system, discovering that his attribute panel had indeed acquired a new entry for popularity value. Player, Zhou Yuqing Constitution, 14, Normal Person 10, Spirit, 108, Normal Person 10, Popularity Value, 100. 000 Attribute Points, 8 Skills, Martial Arts, Master Level 3, Hacking, Master Level 2, Culinary Arts, Proficient Level 99, Investment Skills, Master Level 2, Chip Development Technology, Proficient Level 99. Tai Chi Visualization, Mental Cultivation, Items, Real Scroll, 3 times. What is this popularity value? Zhou Yuqing mused, and the system promptly provided an answer. Popularity value can be exchanged for all items within the system shop. Every 10,000 popularity points equates to 1 item attribute point, which cannot be added to the player's personal attributes. After hearing the system's explanation, Zhou Yuqing understood that popularity value essentially functions as currency for purchasing items in the shop. As long as one possesses sufficient funds, players can acquire everything available within. So this is how the game shop operates. Zhou Yuqing felt a surge of joy, realizing that entrusting his song to Yang Lei for performance on television was indeed a sagacious move, as it enlightened him on the true method of redemption within the system shop. Previously, Zhou Yuqing had been troubled by his attribute points, but now he had completely grasped the concept. As long as he could garner immense popularity, he would be able to exchange for the items and technical resources he required through the system shop. With this thought, a radiant smile graced Zhou Yuqing's face. In the first round of the singer competition, everything unfolded without incident. Yang Lei, with her performance of As You Wish, secured first place by a significant margin. According to the competition rules, she was granted the opportunity to choose her performance order for the second round first. A grand and majestic song like Stars and Seas was undoubtedly best suited for the final performance. Without hesitation, Yang Lei made this choice. After the performances of the first 6 contestants concluded, the emotions conveyed in Stars and Seas ignited a sense of national pride within everyone, allowing her to reclaim first place, still maintaining a staggering lead over the second contestant. Zhou Yuqing's popularity value subsequently exceeded 300,000. As Yang Lei took the stage to receive her reward, the system's voice sounded in Zhou Yuqing's ear. Congratulations, player. You have completed the task. Assist Yang Lei in becoming the champion of peak singers. Reward, 1 lottery chance. Without hesitation, Zhou Yuqing immediately opted for the lottery. The result yielded a skill scroll for mastering singing. Damn, I didn't want to be a singer, Zhou Yuqing internally complained. Yet he accepted the skill, reasoning that having many skills is never a burden. After all the performances concluded, Zhou Yuqing returned home with Shun Jingyun and Zhou Qing. Yang Lei stayed behind to dine with the other singers. Sister Jingyun, your singing was absolutely enchanting, not at all inferior to Sister Yang Lei. Zhou Qing said excitedly along the way. Shun Jingyun chuckled. It is your brother's excellent writing that perfectly suits my vocal range. Zhou Qing paused, asking, what do you mean by excellent writing? Shun Jingyun replied, did you not know? Your brother is the creator of As You Wish in Stars and Seas, Zhou Wuming. Zhou Qing exclaimed, brother, when did you learn to write songs? Zhou Yuqing replied nonchalantly, when I came out of prison years ago, I learned many skills to make money. Songwriting was merely one of them. Zhou Qing pouted. Sometimes the way you speak is really infuriating. Is it just a little higher intelligence and stronger learning ability? What's so impressive about that? Shun Jingyun smiled. Zhou Qing, why do I feel like your words are actually a compliment to him? Zhou Qing slapped her forehead, admitting, it really is. Zhou Yuqing remarked, this is indicative of a lack of both emotional and intellectual intelligence. Zhou Qing, did you know that your sister Jingyun has written a fantasy novel called Magical Girl, which was published by Xiaohua Publishing 3 days ago? Zhou Qing's eyes widened in shock. Xiaohua Publishing? Goodness, Sister Jingyun, you are incredible. Shun Jingyun replied, your brother is exaggerating. Can you not tell? Zhou Qing insisted, this is no exaggeration. A book that can catch the attention of Xiaohua Publishing is certainly not ordinary. Shun Jingyun confessed, to be honest, I did not expect my first book to be favored by Xiaohua Publishing. Chapter 114. Urgently heading to the Jade public auction, Zhou Yuqing's heart stirred. Do you have any ideas for your next book? Shun Jingyun shook her head. Where would I find the time? Zhou Yuqing began to ramble. You may laugh, but 3 years ago, I intended to write a Western fantasy novel aimed at foreign publication. I had the entire story planned out, but regrettably, my writing skills were inadequate to bring it to fruition. Jingyun, how about I share my story idea with you, and you can write it? Shun Jingyun inquired. What is the title of this story? Zhou Yuqing pronounced 4 words, Harry Potter. In his past life, every inhabitant of Earth was familiar with Harry Potter. This book is arguably the most successful fantasy work in Western history, translated into over 70 languages, with global sales reaching 500 million copies. The author, Rowling, became a billionaire thanks to Harry Potter. A few days ago, upon learning that Shun Jingyun's fantasy novel Magical Girl was published, Zhou Yuqing had been eager to share the story of Harry Potter with her. As for the style of writing and whether it can achieve success akin to Rowling's, it ultimately depends on Shun Jingyun's talent. After contemplating for a moment, Shun Jingyun asked, could you assist me in drafting a story outline? Zhou Yuqing replied, certainly. Additionally, I need to travel out of town tomorrow and will likely return by Tuesday. Shun Jingyun nodded and said, I can take care of Xiaoyu. You focus on your tasks. Since Zhou Qing would be staying at Zhou Yuqing's residence, Shun Jingyun also took up residence there. The two women shared the child's bedroom, engaging in conversation until the early hours of 1 o'clock before finally succumbing to sleep. The following morning, after breakfast, Zhou Yuqing packed a suitcase and drove straight to Yunhai Airport. Upon arrival, he parked in the designated lot. The flight took off at 11:10 in the morning and landed at Ruiqing Airport at 2:55 in the afternoon. Without pausing for a meal, Zhou Yuqing hailed a taxi to the Jade auction. The auction was set to conclude at 5:30, leaving him with some time to spare. The driver, an amiable conversationalist, shared numerous anecdotes about the jade trade upon learning of Zhou Yuqing's destination. Brother, are you aware of this year's top bid? A hefty 500 kilograms. Crowned with a small skylight on top, undoubtedly a glass-grade imperial green. If even 1/5 of it is genuine jade, it could sell for at least 3 billion. The driver's enthusiasm was palpable, as though the prize stone was already in his possession. Zhou Yuqing inquired, has the top bid found a buyer? The driver responded, it seems many large companies are interested, but bidding on an uncertain stone with a minimum price of 2 billion poses too great a risk. If one were to lose, it would be a significant setback. Zhou Yuqing nodded in agreement. Before long, they arrived at the jade auction, where Zhou Yuqing was stopped at the entrance. It turned out that entry was restricted. One could either be a member or pay a deposit of 1 million. The deposit would be refunded once the auction concluded. Naturally, Zhou Yuqing opted for the latter. After paying the 1 million and receiving a pass, he proceeded inside. The jade auction resembled a vast marketplace, featuring hundreds of stalls, each displaying numbered raw stones. The venue was bustling with people, all scrutinizing the stones with flashlights. Lacking expertise in stone betting and pressed for time, Zhou Yuqing strode directly toward the podium, showcasing the top bid. There were 3 stones on display. The first was the top bid, while the other 2, approximately 1/3 its size, were numbered 2 and 3, each also having a window opened. Perhaps due to prior inspections, only a handful of individuals lingered around the podium. Zhou Yuqing approached and utilized a genuine scroll on the first stone. Item, Jade Raw Stone Source. Mianchuan old pit value, between 30 million to 40 million. Upon receiving the information from the scroll, Zhou Yuqin was utterly astonished. A top bid with a minimum price of 2 billion contained merely 30 million worth of material. What a pitfall. Whoever secured that would surely face dire consequences. With a sigh, he moved to the second stone, which had a minimum price of 50 million, significantly cheaper than the top bid. Item, Jade Raw Stone Source. Mianchuan old pit value, approximately 300 million. Zhou Yuqin felt somewhat disheartened. Even if he could acquire it for 100 million, the mere profit of 200 million would not resolve his issues. Moreover, raw stones typically auctioned for 3 to 4 times their estimated price, making it impossible to secure one for 100 million. He then turned to the final genuine scroll without hesitation and applied it to the third stone, which had a minimum price of 40 million. Item, Jade Raw Stone Source. Mianchuan old pit value, approximately 2 billion. Upon receiving this information, Zhou Yuqin was elated. This was excellent. If he could secure this stone, he could sell it for 20 billion. Coupled with the 4 to 5 billion he currently possessed, it would be sufficient for him to purchase the Hongda battery manufacturing plant. Having exhausted the 3 scrolls, Zhou Yuqin realized there was no further purpose in remaining at the auction. He approached the information desk to inquire about the auction process. The staff informed him that to participate, bidders must demonstrate their financial capacity, with each account needing to hold no less than 10 million. Without hesitation, Zhou Yuqin promptly presented his savings to the organizing committee and received an entry ticket. After leaving the Jade auction, he grabbed a casual meal and checked into a 5-star hotel. That evening, he received a phone call from Xiao, who was sobbing uncontrollably. It took considerable effort for Zhou Yuqin to soothe her. Since their reunion as father and daughter, they had spent nearly every day together, fostering a deep bond. Naturally, Xiao was reluctant about their sudden separation. The next morning, Zhou Yuqin received delightful news. The organizing committee decided to auction the first 10 stones earlier, scheduled for that afternoon at 2:30. Zhou Yuqin, quick-witted as ever, immediately grasped the committee's intentions. If the top 10 stones were auctioned last, numerous jade merchants and jewelry companies would conserve their resources to compete for them. Consequently, the prices of other stones would plummet. Conversely, if the most expensive stones were addressed first, those unsuccessful in their bids would redirect their funds toward other stones, benefiting both buyers and sellers. At 2 o'clock in the afternoon, Zhou Yuqin entered the auction venue. His number was particularly auspicious, 88. Settling into his seat, he took out his phone to browse business news. After a while, a man sat beside him, a skilled individual. Sensing the formidable aura emanating from the man, Zhou Yuqin felt a tightening in his chest and glanced over. The man, in his 40s, sported a crew cut and had an unremarkable appearance. Yet his eyes held a sharpness that intimidated. As if sensing Zhou Yuqin's gaze, the middle-aged man turned to look at him. Zhou Yuqin offered a slight smile as a greeting, but the man merely turned away, ignoring him. Just then, a dapper young man in a suit entered. Zhou Yuqin distinctly felt a surge of hostility from the middle-aged man. Clearly, there was animosity present. Preferring to avoid any conflict, Zhou Yuqin returned to his phone. At 2:30, the auction commenced. The auctioneer, a man in his 30s, expertly stirred the atmosphere. Under his professional guidance, the competition was intense. From the 10th stone to the 4th, each piece fetched prices 4 times their starting bids, with some even reaching 5 times. During the event, 2 businessmen who had acquired the number 8 and number 5 raw stones chose to unveil them on the spot. As fate would have it, the number 8 stone collapsed, resulting in a loss exceeding 20 million for its owner. Conversely, the number 5 stone appreciated significantly, yielding its owner a staggering profit of at least 200 million. The fortunate businessman who reaped this windfall was none other than the young man seated in the front row. Upon the host's introduction, Zhou Yuqin discerned the other's identity. He was Zhao Bufan, the son of Zhao Feng, the president of Fengya Jewelry Company. The moment arrived for the number 3 raw stone. As the auctioneer concluded his introduction, Zhou Yuqin promptly raised his paddle, declaring 100 million, an immediate surge of 25 times the base price. Zhou Yuqin instantly became the focal point of the event, prompting many attendees to relinquish their paddles. Even a middle-aged man beside him cast a surprised glance in his direction. The auctioneer relished the unpredictability of Zhou Yuqin, as such unpredictability often led to exorbitant bids. Before he could further build excitement, Zhao Yifan had already raised his paddle, bidding 1,200 million, then 15 billion. Without a moment's hesitation, Zhou Yuqin countered with an additional 30 million, exuding an air of nonchalance towards money. Zhao Yifan turned back, glancing at Zhou Yuqin while raising his paddle again, stating 1,600 million. Was he attempting to intimidate him with mere eye contact? How laughable. Zhou Yuqin raised his paddle once more, declaring 2 billion. This price, 5 times the base amount. instantly extinguished any remaining desire among the onlookers to contest the raw stone. Zhao Yifan was left speechless, giving Zhou Yuqin a thumbs up, which he then turned downwards, his eyes seething with anger. Finally, the middle-aged man beside them spoke, warning, "Young man, you've stirred up trouble. Fengya Jewelry Company has deep ties with the local underworld. After the auction, it's best for you to leave quickly." Zhou Yuqin nodded appreciatively, replying, "Thank you for the warning. I have a flight booked for 8 o'clock tonight." The auctioneer, brimming with excitement, inquired if there were any bids higher than 2 billion. 2 billion once, 2 billion twice, 2 billion thrice sold, he proclaimed, bringing down the gavel. Zhou Yuqin declared, "I wish to unveil the stone on site. If the value appreciates, kindly assist in selling the jade." The auctioneer smiled, assuring him, "No problem at all. To reiterate, any jade unveiled here will incur no fees from our auction house. Now, let us discover the true nature of this number 3 raw stone." Soon, several stone cutters wheeled in their machinery. As they secured the raw stone in place, a sharp sound echoed, drawing everyone's gaze to the stone. After the first cut, gasps of astonishment erupted. It had appreciated. This was a glass-grade imperial green jade. My heavens! How magnificent it was! Approaching for a closer look, Zhou Yuqin beheld a flawless piece of jade, devoid of any impurities. The stone cutter, brimming with enthusiasm, inquired, "Shall we continue cutting?" Without hesitation, Zhou Yuqin replied, "Yes. I want to unveil it completely." After a solid half hour, 3 pieces of glass-grade jade weighing a total of 26 kilograms emerged before the astonished crowd. Although only a small section was imperial green, the other 2 pieces were Xingyang green. They were still immensely valuable. Zhao Yifan's eyes burned with fury. Had it not been for Zhou Yuqin, that rare piece of jade would have belonged to him. Filled with resentment, Zhao Yifan wished for nothing more than to exact revenge on Zhou Yuqin. The auctioneer asked, "Sir, do you wish to auction these 3 pieces of jade?" Zhou Yuqin waved his hand, affirmatively responding, "Sell." Immediately, the jewelers in attendance perked up. Such high-quality jade was a rarity in today's market. Securing it could significantly enhance their standing within the industry. In no time, all 3 pieces were auctioned off. After a fierce bidding war, Zhou Yuqin netted a remarkable profit of 22 billion, far exceeding the system's valuation. Following the surge in value of the number 3 raw stone, the price of the number 2 stone also saw a frenzy of bids. Zhou Yuqin reached 250 million, observing the crowd, energized as if on a high. Still fiercely competing, he chose to withdraw. Ultimately, Zhao Yifan acquired the number 2 raw stone for 350 million. Zhao Yifan immediately declared his intention to unveil the stone on site. Half an hour later, the once smug Zhao Yifan wore a countenance of utter dismay. Although jade had been revealed within the raw stone, it was valued at no more than 280 million, resulting in a loss of 20 million for him. As he descended from the stage, Zhao Yifan's gaze towards Zhou Yuqin was laden with hostility. Zhou Yuqin thought to himself, "You lost in the stone gamble. Why are you suddenly harboring such animosity towards me?" This man, with his unremarkable appearance, possessed a surprisingly petty nature. At last, it was time for the marquee lot. Zhou Yuqin observed the jewelry company executives in the front row sit up straight, evidently ready to engage in a fierce contest. Whoever secured this marquee lot would gain significant influence, undoubtedly becoming a figure of ridicule in the industry. After a heated competition, the marquee lot was secured by the international jewelry firm, Ryder Jewelry, for 860 million. Ryder Jewelry, brimming with confidence, also requested the committee to unveil their stone. The result was a catastrophic failure. Gasps filled the room. The Asia-Pacific president of Ryder Jewelry wore a face darker than a pot's bottom, leaving without collecting even the revealed jewels. After the auction concluded, Zhou Yuqin approached the organizing committee to retrieve his deposit. Just as he was about to hail a taxi back to his hotel, Zhao Yifan and a group of well-dressed, burly men surrounded him. The taxi driver, sensing trouble, quickly sped away. Zhou Yuqin scanned the area, noticing that despite the men's formal attire, they could not conceal their brutish demeanor, instantly comprehending their intentions. "Is there something you need?" As a master of Taiji and Xingyi, Zhou Yuqin was unafraid, calmly addressing Zhao Yifan. Zhao Yifan smiled, saying, "Brother, congratulations on your earnings of 2 billion. Such a wonderful occasion. We would like to take you out to celebrate. What do you think?" Zhou Yuqin replied, "I appreciate your kindness, but I must catch my evening flight, and I truly have no time." Zhao Yifan's smile faded, turning cold as he stated, "Do you see what my companion has at his waist?" Zhou Yuqin looked at the burly man, who unbuttoned his suit to reveal a black handgun. Zhao Yifan chuckled. "Is it time to reconsider now?" Zhou Yuqin shook his head, retorting, "How can I ascertain if it is real or not? Here's an idea. Have him fire a shot at me. If it is indeed real, I will accompany you." Zhao Yifan, taken aback, stammered, "Are you out of your mind? Do you realize what you just said?" Zhou Yuqin patted his shoulder, saying, "You lack the aura of a killer," indicating you have never taken a life. This armed individual exudes the air of a killer, having claimed at least 5 lives. However, using that gun to kill me? I doubt it will suffice. Zhao Yifan's expression soured, replying, "I see now. You are one who does not shed tears until you see the coffin. If that is the case, do not blame me for being impolite." Before Zhao Yifan could finish his words, a thunderous shout abruptly interrupted him. Everyone turned to see a middle-aged man sprinting towards them at an astonishing speed. This man was recognized by Zhou Yuqing as the one who had sat beside him at the auction. Aside from him, there were several others in the distance, but they merely watched the commotion without intervening. "Brother, are you all right?" The middle-aged man inquired with genuine concern upon reaching Zhou Yuqing's side. Zhou Yuqing was puzzled by his intentions and replied, "I'm fine." The middle-aged man glared at Zhao Yifan and exclaimed, "How dare you rob in broad daylight? You truly have audacity." His voice was amplified deliberately to ensure those around could hear. Just as Zhao Yifan attempted to clarify the situation, the middle-aged man shouted, "Watch out. He has a gun." With that, he kicked the armed thug, sending him flying several meters away. Furious, Zhao Yifan yelled, "Damn it, get him." Over a dozen thugs charged at the middle-aged man and Zhou Yuqing. Sensing something was amiss with the middle-aged man's behavior and recalling the hatred he had displayed towards Zhao Yifan at the auction, Zhou Yuqing's mind raced with a troubling thought. Could he be trying to use this incident to eliminate Zhao Yifan? If that were the case, would he not drag me down with him? Realizing the gravity of the situation, Zhou Yuqing swiftly employed his serpentine footwork to evade the thug's blows, turning and fleeing to distance himself from the middle-aged man. Several thugs pursued him with fierce determination. As he ran, Zhou Yuqing kept a keen eye on the middle-aged man. He struck with the ferocity of a tiger descending a mountain, demonstrating formidable power indicative of someone trained in the 8 Extremes fist, and possessing a mastery of the hidden force technique. In less than 10 seconds, he had incapacitated 4 thugs and charged towards Zhao Yifan, throwing a punch aimed at his chest. With such explosive strength, it was clear that Zhao Yifan would not survive this blow. Zhou Yuqing cursed internally, realizing he had been manipulated into this perilous situation. The punch landed with a dull thud against Zhao Yifan's chest, causing him to stagger back 2 steps. Initially, he felt a piercing pain, but then he fell silent, collapsing to the ground lifelessly. A scream pierced the air as the crowd erupted in chaos, fleeing in all directions. The middle-aged man cast a glance at Zhao Yifan, a cold smile curling at the corners of his mouth. He had evidently anticipated the armed thug's actions, deliberately obscuring Zhao Yifan's visibility to create an opening for the gunfire. In the instant the thug pulled the trigger, the middle-aged man dodged, allowing the bullet to strike Zhao Yifan instead. This orchestrated maneuver required not only keen eyesight but also courage, speed, familiarity with firearms, and exceptional psychological fortitude, a feat achievable only through mastery beyond mere martial prowess. After the thug shot Zhao Yifan, his complexion turned pale as realization dawned upon him. One of his companions knelt beside Zhao Yifan, checking for signs of life, and declared, "Old Wu, you've killed Mr. Zhao." The gunman, coming to his senses, stammered, "I didn't mean to." He then glanced at the middle-aged man. Chapter 117. Taking statements, the middle-aged man swiftly concealed himself behind a large tree, clutching a stone. Should the armed thug approach, he would unleash it as a projectile. Given his abilities, he could easily claim the thug's life. At that moment, the sound of sirens echoed in the distance. The gunman, realizing the urgency, abandoned thoughts of pursuing the middle-aged man and fled. He understood that staying would lead to a death sentence from the police, and Zhao Yifan's father would not spare him either. Thus, the only option left for him was to escape Ruiqing. Soon, 3 police cars arrived, and several officers emerged. "What happened here?" The lead officer, a gaunt man in his 30s, asked sternly. The middle-aged man discarded the stone and stepped from behind the tree, declaring, "I called the police." The lead officer looked at the lifeless Zhao Yifan on the ground and asked, "Is someone injured?" "He was shot dead by his own subordinate," the middle-aged man replied. "A gun?" The officer's expressions shifted dramatically. The middle-aged man recounted the events in detail. After he finished, the lead officer turned to Zhao Yifan's subordinates and inquired, "Is there any discrepancy in his account?" One thug replied, "We had no intention of robbery. We merely wanted to get acquainted with the young gentleman." The lead officer scoffed. "Do you expect me to believe that?" The thug stubbornly insisted, "That's genuinely what we thought." The lead officer pressed, "Why did your companion have a gun?" The thug gulped nervously, "I don't know." The officer's gaze hardened. The moment a gun is involved, it becomes a major case, especially with a death involved. "Everyone here is to accompany me to the police station for questioning. Xiao Wang, Xiao Zhang, go review the surveillance footage. We must locate the shooter." "Yes, Captain." The 2 young officers responded before departing. The middle-aged man interjected, "Officer, I was acting in self-defense. I shouldn't need to go." The lead officer countered, "That's not negotiable." You must accompany us, along with the victim. By the way, where is he? He ran away, the middle-aged man replied. Ran away? The lead officer sneered. What a loyal fellow. I didn't run, Zhou Yuqing said, emerging from a short distance with a calm demeanor. Then you will come with me to the police station as well, the lead officer stated. Zhou Yuqing inquired. May I see your identification? The leading officer was taken aback for a moment before producing his credentials and replied, of course. Zhou Yuqing took a glance at the identification, which bore the name of the head of the Criminal Investigation Unit, Lu Cheng. After returning the ID to Lu Cheng, Zhou Yuqing presented his own identification and stated, Hello, Captain Lu. I am Zhou Yuqing, the technical advisor for the Yunhai Police Department. Lu Cheng appeared somewhat surprised as he examined Zhou Yuqing's credentials and remarked, Advisor Zhou, I apologize, but this incident has arisen due to your involvement. Even though we are colleagues, you will need to accompany me to the police station. Zhou Yuqing tucked away his ID and replied, Understood. In truth, at the moment the gun fired, Zhou Yuqing realized he would not be able to leave. Upon witnessing Zhao Yifan succumb to his injuries, a bitter smile lingered in his heart. Soon, several police vehicles arrived to transport Zhao Yifan's body and the group of muscular men to the station. Zhou Yuqing and a middle-aged man entered Lu Cheng's vehicle. During the journey, Zhou Yuqing learned about the middle-aged man's background. His name was Xian Yinhai, a retired Special Forces instructor who had just returned to Ruiqing last month. Although it was established that Xian Yinhai had taken advantage of the situation to eliminate Zhao Yifan, Zhou Yuqing still felt compelled to express his gratitude for Xian Yinhai's selfless act of rescue. Upon arriving at the police station, Zhou Yuqing provided a detailed account in the inquiry room. Without any concealment, he recounted the events at the auction and Zhao Yifan's insistence on celebrating his victory, emphasizing Xian Yinhai's role in assisting him. Advisor Zhou, did you know Xian Yinhai prior to this? No. Then why would he risk his life to save you? Quite perceptive. Zhou Yuqing silently commended the officer across from him. At the auction, I was seated beside him. Perhaps it was his innate sense of justice or a feeling of kinship that compelled him to intervene on my behalf. How did Xian Yinhai, a mere retired Special Forces instructor, gain entry to the auction? Officer, I met him today, and we exchanged no more than 5 words. How would I know his circumstances? While Zhou Yuqing was providing his statement, Xian Yinhai was in an adjacent room recounting his own narrative. I have been retired for 3 months and have not found suitable employment. Given that Ruiqing is renowned for its jade, I thought of entering the jewelry business. A former comrade of mine opened a raw stone shop and became quite prosperous, so I requested his assistance in gaining entry. Did you know Zhao Yifan prior to this? Zhao Yifan is quite well known in the jade and jewelry industry. I have heard his name, but was not familiar with his appearance. Today was my first encounter. And what about Zhao Yifan's father, Zhao Feng, the president of Fengya Jewelry Company? Likewise, I have heard of him, but have never met him. Why did you choose to help Zhou Yuqing? I happened to sit next to Zhou Yuqing at the auction. Though we did not converse much, I found him to be a decent young man and wished to befriend him. Of course, the most significant factor was that he possessed over 2 billion in cash. And I needed capital for my business. If I could rescue Zhou Yuqing, I believed I could borrow 20 to 30 million from him, which he would likely agree to. You have a shrewd plan. Both Zhou Yuqing and Xian Yinhai were candid throughout their accounts, revealing nothing but the truth. After completing their statements, the police compared the details and quickly reached a conclusion. Zhou Yuqing was merely a fortunate colleague who had unveiled jade worth over 2 billion, inciting Zhao Yifan's malicious intent. Witnessing Zhao Yifan attempting to rob Zhou Yuqing, Xian Yinhai intervened decisively, hoping to use this favor to secure a loan for his jewelry business. Neither man had a motive to harm Zhao Yifan. Rather, it was the deceased who harbored intentions to rob Zhou Yuqing. Following some deliberation, the police decided to release both Zhou Yuqing and Zhao Yifan. Advisor Zhou, I apologize for the inconvenience, Lu Cheng said as he escorted Zhou Yuqing out of the inquiry room. Zhou Yuqing glanced at the time and chuckled. It's not too late. I still have ample time to catch tonight's flight. I can drive you, he began, but before he could finish, a sinister voice interrupted. Are you Zhou Yuqing? Chapter 118. Xian Yinhai shocked Zhou Yuqing, turned to see a middle-aged man in his 50s, his face contorted with malice. His eyes were bloodshot, as if he had recently been weeping, and his gaze towards Zhou Yuqing was piercingly cold. I am. And you are? Zhao Feng, Zhao Yifan's father. Zhou Yuqing had already surmised the man's identity and replied nonchalantly, Mr. Zhao, I express my deepest condolences for your son's death. Please accept my sympathies. Zhao Feng coldly stated, I usually prefer to let others express their condolences. Lu Cheng furrowed his brow and remarked, Mr. Zhao, are you threatening Advisor Zhou? Zhao Feng retorted icily. Think what you will. At that moment, Xian Yinhai also exited the inquiry room. Upon spotting Zhao Feng in the corridor, his pupils constricted, and a fleeting aura of hostility crossed his face. There is a head for every grievance and a master for every debt. I, Zhao Feng, will not spare the one who killed my son. Zhao Feng cast a penetrating glance at Xian Yanhai and Zhou Yuqin before departing with a contingent of officers. Lu Cheng advised, Advisor Chun, Mr. Xian, Fengya Jewelry Company wields significant influence in Ruiqing. You should exercise caution. Zhou Yuqin smiled and replied, no worries. I am about to return to Yanhai. Mr. Xian, I understand you wish to borrow money from me for your business. This is certainly agreeable. Why not accompany me to Yanhai? There are greater opportunities there. If you remain in Ruiqing, I fear you may become a target for Zhao Feng. Xian Yanhai raised an eyebrow and asked, if I go to Yanhai, how much can you lend me? Zhou Yuqin countered, how much do you wish to borrow? Xian Yanhai boldly declared, 50 million. Zhou Yuqin nodded, no problem. Xian Yanhai responded, very well, I will accompany you. Zhou Yuqin had assumed Xian Yanhai would not leave Ruiqing. But to his surprise, he agreed, leaving Zhou Yuqin uncertain of his true intentions. After departing the police station, the two hailed a taxi and first stopped at the Jade Auction parking lot. Xian Yanhai retrieved his vehicle and drove Zhou Yuqin to the hotel. Upon arrival, Zhou Yuqin checked out and placed his luggage in Xian Yanhai's car. They then headed straight to Ruiqing Airport. Along the way, Zhou Yuqin glanced at the black Santana that had been following them and asked, Mr. Xian, aren't you going back to retrieve your belongings? Xian Yanhai replied nonchalantly, I suddenly have no desire to go to Yanhai. I will return home after dropping you off at the airport. A smile crept across Zhou Yuqin's face as he remarked, Mr. Xian, are you suddenly having second thoughts about going to Yanhai, or did you never intend to go in the first place? Xian Yanhai's expression sharpened as he asked, what do you mean? Zhou Yuqin explained, if my guess is correct, you must harbor a grudge against Zhao Feng and his son, Zhao Yifan. Xian Yanhai was taken aback, turning to Zhou Yuqin and asking, how did you come to that conclusion? Zhou Yuqin replied, the eyes are the windows to the soul. The hatred in your gaze when you looked at Zhao Yifan at the auction, combined with the murderous aura you exuded, made it evident that your animosity ran deep. When you saw Zhao Yifan troubling me, you took it upon yourself to intervene, seizing the opportunity to act heroically. You employed a hidden technique to injure Zhao Yifan's internal organs. Even if he had not been shot by his subordinates, it would not be long before he succumbed to his injuries. Mr. Xian, am I correct in my assertion? Upon hearing Zhou Yuqin's words, Xian Yanhai's expression finally shifted, and he sternly inquired, who exactly are you? Previously, Xian Yanhai assumed Zhou Yuqin to be merely a wealthy second-generation heir. Little did he know that he was a technical consultant for the Yanhai Police Department. While Xian Yanhai was somewhat surprised, he merely regarded Zhou Yuqin as a skilled computer technician, not giving him much thought. What truly astonished Xian Yanhai was Zhou Yuqin's ability to discern his plans and recognize that he had secretly plotted against Zhao Yifan. Such insight was beyond the capability of an ordinary individual. Zhou Yuqin smiled and said, allow me to finish my statement. Mr. Xian, your claim at the police station about borrowing money from me for a business venture was merely a deliberate attempt to mislead the authorities, making your motives for altruism appear more legitimate. In truth, you never intended to engage in business or accompany me to Yanhai, did you? Xian Yanhai did not respond but retorted, if I had no intention of going to Yanhai, then why did I drive you to the airport? Chen Hao Yu interjected. You did so to protect me. You are well aware of Zhao Feng and Zhao Yifan's characters, knowing that after Zhao Yifan's demise, Zhao Feng would undoubtedly seek retribution against me. Your military background compelled you to find an excuse to escort me to the airport, did it not? After a moment of silence, Xian Yanhai suddenly laughed, exclaiming, indeed, there are masters hidden among the populace. I ought to have my eyes examined, as I failed to recognize the true expert beside me. Zhou Yuqin, maintaining his composure, remarked, your willingness to protect me on the way to the airport, ensuring I remain unharmed, indicates that you are a person of integrity and loyalty. May I inquire about your reasons for wanting to eliminate the Zhao family? Xian Yanhai replied nonchalantly, under the circumstances, it is fine to share. I am an instructor in a special forces unit, and during a mission, a comrade was mortally wounded while saving my life. In gratitude for his sacrifice, I have cared for his family over the years. However, 3 months ago, my sister-in-law tragically jumped from a hotel window. On my way back, my comrade's father was killed in a traffic accident, leaving behind only an 8-year-old child. Zhou Yuqin quickly grasped the gravity of the situation and asked, was it Zhao Yifan or Zhao Feng? Xian Yanhai's expression turned as frigid as the Siberian winds. His eyes filled with wrath as he declared, it was Zhao Yifan who, upon seeing my sister-in-law's beauty, harbored ill intentions, drugged her, and took compromising photographs. The elder was killed by Zhao Feng's men to eliminate any future threats. Fortunately, I returned in time to save the child. Otherwise, he too might have perished. Zhou Yuqin seethed. The Zhao family deserves their fate. Xian Yanhai solemnly stated, Mr. Zhou, I sincerely apologize for involving you in this matter. Rest assured, I will do everything in my power to ensure your safe arrival at the airport. Zhou Yuqin turned his gaze to the two vans blocking the road ahead and remarked, "They have arrived." Xi and Yanhai stopped the car, glanced at the trees flanking them, and said, "I will block them. You should run into the woods quickly." Zhou Yuqin replied calmly, "Running is futile. Given Zhao Feng's character, he will undoubtedly find a way to eliminate me. It is likely that my parents and child will also be implicated. The only viable solution now is to use self-defense as a pretext to eliminate Zhao Feng." Chapter 119. A bloodbath. At that moment, a group of muscular men wielding machetes appeared before them, numbering about a dozen, each adorned with various tattoos on their arms. And at the forefront stood the grim Zhao Feng. 3 black Santana cars blocked their escape route from behind, while 7 or 8 thugs brandished baseball bats, their expressions menacing. Observing that Zhou Yuqin showed no fear and even suggested they take down Zhao Feng, Xan Yanhai displayed a hint of surprise and remarked, "Mr. Zhou, you do not seem like an ordinary person." Zhou Yuqin responded, "Once we get through this, we can discuss matters further. Capture the leader first, and I will carve a path for you." Xi and Yanhai regarded him intently and stated, "If you help me exact revenge, my life will be yours." Zhou Yuqin retrieved his phone, searching for the recording interface, and advised, "Once we exit the car, refrain from speaking recklessly. I need to record Zhao Feng's words as evidence for our self-defense." Soon, Zhou Yuqin had the recording ready, and he and Xi and Yanhai opened the car doors and stepped out. "You two certainly possess courage. I thought you wouldn't dare to emerge from the vehicle," Zhao Feng said. Puffing on a cigar, Zhou Yuqin replied, "Mr. Zhao, everyone witnessed your son being shot dead by his own men. You are seeking vengeance against the wrong party." Zhao Feng coldly retorted, "I have thoroughly investigated everything. If it weren't for your confrontation with Yifan over the raw stones, he would never have acted against you. If it weren't for that dog Xian, Yifan wouldn't have been shot. The one who fired the gun must die. And both of you must accompany my son to the grave." Zhou Yuqin deliberately raised his voice. "You are being utterly unreasonable. Your son attempted to rob me. I am clearly the victim. How did I suddenly become the murderer?" Zhao Feng declared, "Might makes right. Boy, today your life is mine. And the money in your account is mine as well." Zhou Yuqin countered, "Mr. Zhao, I offer you 10 billion to buy our lives. Is that acceptable?" Zhao Feng replied, "You lack the standing to negotiate with me. Brothers, kill the one surnamed Xian and capture the one surnamed Zhou alive. Kill." The 13 thugs in front swung their machetes, while the 7 or 8 thugs behind brandished baseball bats, charging toward the 2 men. Zhou Yuqin bent down, picked up a stone, and hurled it, striking the foremost thug squarely in the forehead. The thug screamed, blood gushing forth, and collapsed unconscious. The 2 thugs behind, unable to halt their momentum, tripped over him, dropping their machetes. Seizing the opportunity, Xi and Yanhai aimed to snatch a weapon. Suddenly, Zhou Yuqin dashed forward like the wind, moving with astonishing speed. He picked up a machete, swiftly striking the heads of the 2 thugs attempting to rise. Both thugs fell unconscious, their eyes rolling back. Witnessing Zhou Yuqin's extraordinary speed and explosive power, Xi and Yanhai realized that the man before him was a martial arts master even more formidable than himself. "Capture the leader first," Zhou Yuqin shouted, alerting Xi and Yanhai. Then unleashed a flurry of strikes with the machete, felling the approaching thugs. Proficient in Xingyiquan and Tai Chi, Zhou Yuqin's primary weapon was the gun. He had never trained in knife techniques. However, his strength, speed, and reflexes far exceeded those of an ordinary person. Wielding the machete, he did not require any intricate techniques. He simply struck forward. While others might manage a single cut, he could deliver 4 or 5, each strike finding its mark. In less than a minute, he had already taken down 5 or 6 thugs. Although Xi and Yanhai's skills were not on par with Zhou Yuqin's, his combat experience was extensive. Noticing that Zhou Yuqin had drawn most of the enemy's fire, Xi and Yanhai sprang into action, resembling a leopard as he charged toward Zhao Feng, who was hiding behind the thugs. A thug shouted fiercely, swinging a long knife diagonally at Xi and Yanhai. With a cold sneer, Xi and Yanhai unleashed the art of empty-handed combat, a specialty of special forces, delivering a powerful kick to the thug's wrist, sending the machete soaring into the air. By the time it descended, Xi and Yanhai had already dispatched the thug with a swift kick, extending his arm just in time to catch the falling blade. Unlike Zhou Yuqin, Xi and Yanhai had clearly trained in swordsmanship. The machete in his grip was wielded with a lethal precision that left no thug standing as his opponent. After severing the arms of 3 thugs in quick succession, his hands stained with blood, Xi and Yanhai charged toward the terrified Zhao Feng like a speeding train. Zhao Feng had initially believed that dealing with Xi and Yanhai and Zhou Yuqin would be a simple task, unaware that the two were akin to wolves in sheep's clothing. In less than 3 minutes, they had decimated his underlings. Observing Xi and Yanhai's fierce demeanor, Zhao Feng remained composed, retreating while drawing a handgun from his waist. Without hesitation, he fired 3 shots at Xian Yanhai. Sensing imminent danger, Xian Yanhai felt the hairs on his body stand on end, swaying left and right to narrowly evade the bullets. One bullet whizzed past him, allowing him to catch a whiff of the gunpowder's acrid scent. Damn it, Zhao Feng cursed, preparing to shoot again when a machete whistled through the air towards him, forcing him to dodge hastily. Seizing the moment, Xian Yanhai lunged in front of Zhao Feng, landing a punch to his throat and snatching the gun from his grasp. Clutching his throat, Zhao Feng opened his mouth as if to speak, but ultimately fell to the ground, kicking up a cloud of dust without uttering a word. Having dispatched Zhao Feng, Xian Yanhai felt a surge of relief and turned to Zhou Yuchen, who stood among a group of groaning thugs sprawled on the ground. Brandishing his machete defiantly at the remaining thugs wielding baseball bats, exuding an aura of invincibility. Bang! Xian Yanhai fired a shot into the air, proclaiming, Zhao Feng is dead. Do you still wish to serve him? The thugs exchanged glances, and one by one, they discarded their baseball bats and fled in all directions. Zhou Yuchen took a deep breath, discarded his machete, and dialed the police, briefly recounting the events and his location. Approaching Xian Yanhai, he inquired, Do you have a cigarette? Yes, Xian Yanhai replied. The two stepped aside, each lighting a cigarette and taking a drag. Chapter 120. Justifiable defense. Is this your first time seeing blood? Xian Yanhai asked. Noticing Zhou Yuchen's somewhat pale face, a faint smile curling at the corners of his mouth. Zhou Yuchen inhaled deeply. I've been in a few brawls in Sioux City over the past few years, but this is the first time someone has died. Your demeanor does not reflect that of a martial arts master. Have you reached the stage of transformation? Xian Yanhai inquired. Zhou Yuchen nodded. I just broke through a month ago. Xian Yanhai gasped. A martial arts master in his 20s? Such talent has not been seen in decades. Zhou Yuchen chuckled. Many people say the same. Mr. Xian, you. Xian Yanhai waved his hand. I've told you. As long as you assist me in avenging my grievances, my life is yours. You may call me Lao Xian. Seeing the seriousness in Xian Yanhai's eyes, Zhou Yuchen replied, All right, Lao Xian. What are your plans now? Will you return to the army? I had already retired before deciding to seek revenge, Xian Yanhai stated. Zhou Yuchen felt a stir in his heart. How about you come with me to Yanhai? I'm planning to establish a mobile battery factory and need reliable security personnel. With your skills and military background, could you help me assemble a security team? Xian Yanhai pondered for a moment. I have many comrades who, after retiring, struggle to find decent work. I'd like to know how many people you need and what the compensation is. 30 for now, with a monthly salary of 10,000, plus insurance and retirement benefits. I may require more security personnel in the future, and veterans are undoubtedly the best candidates, Zhou Yuchen explained. With such favorable conditions, I believe my comrades will agree. Xian Yanhai replied. Zhou Yuchen smiled. Then I'll leave this to you. The two conversed for over half an hour before several police cars and ambulances arrived. Led by Zhou Yuchen's acquaintance, Officer Lu Cheng. Witnessing the bloodied thugs sprawled on the ground, the police were taken aback. Their expressions filled with astonishment as they looked at Zhou Yuchen and Xian Yanhai. Zhou Yuchen handed Zhao Feng's gun to Lu Cheng. Officer Lu. It seems I want to be leaving tonight. Lu Cheng, fully aware of the situation, accepted the gun. Are you both unharmed? Zhou Yuchen chuckled wryly. We almost didn't see the sunrise tomorrow. Lu Cheng glanced at the gun in his hand and the still body of Zhao Feng. Who did this? I did. Xian Yanhai stepped forward. There were too many of them, and Zhao Feng had a gun. I couldn't hold back. Lu Cheng regarded Xian Yanhai with a discerning gaze. In such circumstances, preserving your life is commendable. Holding back is akin to courting death. You two will need to accompany me to the station. Both Zhou Yuchen and Xian Yanhai nodded. All right. In the Yunhai government compound, Shen Sheng had just received a call from Zhu Jiang while having dinner. Assuming it was a matter of business, he promptly entered his study. Old Shun, I just received a call from my old classmate, Wang Guodong, the director of the Ruwei City Police Department, inquiring about the identity of your future son-in-law. What future son-in-law? Don't spout nonsense. What happened to Zhou Yuchen? He is involved in 2 murder cases. Shen Sheng's expression grew serious. Did he kill someone? Not exactly. Zhu Jiang recounted the entire incident, concluding, for 2 unarmed individuals to confront over 20 thugs wielding machetes and baseball bats, not only emerging unscathed, but also eliminating the leader and seizing his gun. It's almost cinematic. No film would dare portray it like this. Stop with the sarcasm. Old Zhu, who are Zhao Feng and Zhao Yifan? According to Wang Guodong, they are as vile as they come, yet evidence of their misdeeds has eluded capture. Zhou and Xian Yanhai have done a service to the public. Was it justifiable defense or excessive force? It must be justifiable defense. Zhou Yuchen is quite clever. He recorded Zhao Feng's words before the confrontation. His intent to intercept was solely for vengeance. but he inadvertently met formidable opponents. Sun Cheng retorted, Zhao Yifan was shot dead by his own men. Zhou Yuqin is the victim. How does that make him the murderer of Zhao's son? Zhu Jiang replied, have you ever met a thug who reasoned? Taking a deep breath, Sun Cheng remarked, once, it was a case of heroism leading to Zhao Yifan's death, another time. It was justifiable defense resulting in Zhao Feng's demise. I suspect that Xian Yanhai, the special forces instructor, is problematic. Zhu Jiang acknowledged, Wang Guodong also senses an issue. But they cannot ascertain Xian Yanhai's motive for killing. Even if they could, he acted in broad daylight against the Zhao family, and his actions would hold up anywhere. Understood. After finishing his conversation with Zhu Jiang, Sun Cheng emerged, brow furrowed. Daiwan noticed his demeanor and asked, do you need to go to the police station? Sun Chenggang picked up his chopsticks and said, no need, it's not a work-related matter. Upon hearing this, Daiwan immediately relaxed, smiling as she asked, what personal issue could possibly trouble our director Shin? Pray, enlighten me. I could use a bit of cheer. Sun Chenggang replied, it's about Zhou Yuqin. The smile on Daiwan's face faded, replaced by a serious expression as she inquired, what has happened to Xiao Zhou? Sun Chenggang recounted the entire situation, stating, this lad has a penchant for causing trouble. Daiwan retorted, when have you ever seen him instigate others? It is quite the opposite. Others are the ones provoking him. Old Shun, Xiao Zhou has completed the wager, earning over 20 billion in 6 months. What are your thoughts on that? Sun Chenggang conceded. I admit this fellow has had remarkable fortune. As for the issue of Xiaoya changing her surname, let him discuss it with Jingyun. I shall not intervene. Daiwan replied. I was not inquiring about Xiaoya, but rather about the matter between Xiao Zhou and Jingyun. Sun Chenggang stated, for words, free development. I neither support nor oppose. Daiwan chuckled, saying, I share your sentiment. In truth, both were acutely aware that their stance undoubtedly signified support for Zhou Yuqin. At almost the same moment, a voice echoed in Zhou Yuqin's mind, announcing, congratulations, player, for completing the system task. Gain the recognition of Sun Chenggang and Daiwan within 1 year. Rewards, 3 attribute points and a lottery scroll. Zhou Yuqin, resting his eyes in the inquiry room, felt an exhilaration swell within him. The approval from the elderly couple not only granted him attribute points and a lottery scroll, but, more importantly, removed any obstacles in his relationship with Shin Jingyun. I wish to draw from the lottery, Zhou Yuqin thought, and a golden wheel appeared before him. Chapter 121, the first permanent scroll. Stop. The golden wheel came to a halt, a beam of light flashing through it, revealing a scroll labeled Loyalty Scroll, Permanent, in Zhou Yuqin's inventory. Incredible, Zhou Yuqin exclaimed, overwhelmed with excitement at having acquired a permanent loyalty scroll. As the name implies, this scroll pertains to loyalty. Upon using the loyalty scroll, Zhou Yuqin would be able to perceive the loyalty levels of those around him. A loyalty exceeding 90% indicated unwavering allegiance, while 80 to 90% signified loyal followers who would not betray for personal gain. 70 to 80% indicated followers with ulterior motives, possessing a betrayal probability of less than 5%. Below 70%, the likelihood of betrayal gradually increased. Should loyalty dip into the negative, it signified a malicious intent. For Zhou Yuqin, obtaining the loyalty scroll was akin to wielding a detector for the loyalty of others. Discerning friend from foe would be crystal clear. Without hesitation, Zhou Yuqin immediately activated the loyalty scroll. Player, Zhou Yuqin. Constitution, 14, normal, 10. Spirit, 108, normal, 10. Popularity, 920,000. Attribute points, 8. Skills, National Martial Arts, Mastery Level, 7. Hacking Skills, Mastery Level, 2. Culinary Arts, Proficient Level, 99. Singing Skills, Proficient Level, 99. Investment Skills, Mastery Level, 2. Chip Development Technology, Proficient Level, 99. Taiji Visualization, Mental Cultivation, Loyalty Monitoring Skill, Special Skill. Items, none. With the soaring popularity of Yang Lei's songs as desired in Stars and Sea, Zhou Yuqin, as the creator, garnered a significant amount of popularity, especially among Yang Lei's devoted fans, who expressed immense gratitude for Zhou Yuqin's assistance to their idol. Zhou Yuqin estimated that the majority of his 920,000 popularity points stemmed from Yang Lei's admirers. According to the exchange rules, 920,000 popularity points could be converted into 920 attribute points. However, given that valuable items were generally costly, he decided to wait until his popularity surpassed 5 million before perusing the market. Today was destined to be Zhou Yuqin's lucky day. His fortune was simply overwhelming. He first amassed over 20 billion through raw stones, then forged a deep bond with Xian Yanhai, and subsequently earned the recognition of Sun Chenggang and Daiwan, culminating in a lottery win of the loyalty scroll. Zhou Yuqin mused that only the protagonists of online novels could rival his extraordinary fortune. Creak. The inquiry room door swung open. Lu Cheng entered, carrying a lunchbox, and said, "Advisor Zhou, please make do with this." "Thank you," Zhou Yuqin replied as he accepted the lunchbox. While eating, he inquired, "Lu, when can I leave?" Lu Cheng shrugged, replying, "You'll need to ask the higher-ups." Zhou Yuqin continued, "Could you retrieve a book titled Design of Semiconductor Integrated Circuits from my suitcase? I have some idle time and wish to peruse it." Lu Cheng, surprised, asked, "Are you delving into chip technology?" Zhou Yuqin chuckled, "I plan to in the future, though I lack the capability at present." Lu Cheng gave a thumbs up, impressive. "I'll go fetch it for you." Shortly after, Lu Cheng returned with the book. Zhou Yuqin finished his meal and began reading intently. Over the next 3 hours, Lu Cheng refilled his water twice, admiring his unwavering focus on the book. When Zhou Yuqin exited the Rue City Police Department, it was already 1 in the morning. Lu Cheng drove him to a nearby hotel. Along the way, Zhou Yuqin asked, "Lu, when will old Xin be released from the police station?" Lu Cheng explained, "It's evident this was self-defense, but given that a life was lost, it will take 2 or 3 days for him to be released." Zhou Yuqin nodded. "That's good to know." A glint of insight flickered in Lu Cheng's eyes as he probed, "Advisor Zhou, does Xin Yanhai have a grudge against the Zhao father-son duo?" Zhou Yuqin, aware of their suspicions regarding Xin Yanhai, feigned astonishment. "How could that be?" "Lu, perhaps you're overthinking it." Lu Cheng chuckled, "Maybe." Upon arriving at a pleasant hotel, Zhou Yuqin checked in. Since Xin Yanhai had not yet been released from the police station, he spent his time reading. 2 days later, Xin Yanhai finally emerged. Zhou Yuqin asked, "Old Xin, are you all right?" Xin Yanhai replied, "All is well. The matter with the Zhao family has passed." Zhou Yuqin smiled. "I am not one to abandon my friends. Now that you are out, I feel at ease. I will fly back this afternoon. Would you care to join me?" Xin Yanhai replied, "I need to take my comrade's child to Liuhe and hand them over to their grandparents." "Advisor Zhou, could you lend me some money?" Zhou Yuqin raised an eyebrow. "For the child?" Xin Yanhai nodded. "I have 120,000. If you could lend me another 380,000, we would have 500,000, which should suffice for the child to live a better life." Zhou Yuqin said, 380,000 is no problem. However, I believe you should transfer money to their grandparents monthly instead of giving them a lump sum of 500,000. Old Xin, sometimes too much money can be detrimental for both the elderly and the child. Xin Yanhai considered this, replying, "You are right. Once I arrange for the child, I will come to Yanhai to find you." Zhou Yuqin glanced at Xin Yanhai's impressive loyalty score of 92, affirming, "Very well. When you arrive, I'll pick you up at the airport." The two found a hotel, enjoyed a lunch together, and then parted ways. At 7 in the evening, Zhou Yuqin stood at the doorstep of Shun Jingyun's home, pulling along a suitcase. He knocked gently on the door. "Who is it?" came Shun Jingyun's voice from inside. "It's me." Upon opening the door, Shun Jingyun smiled and said, "You finally returned. If you had delayed a few more days, I would have been drowned in the little one's tears." As Zhou Yuqin entered the living room, he noticed that Xiaoya was absent and inquired, "Where is the little one?" Shun Jingyun replied, "My mother took her downstairs to play." "Was your trip smooth?" Zhou Yuqin nodded. "Yes, it went well." "You weren't hurt, were you?" "No." Zhou Yuqin glanced up at Shun Jingyun's beautiful face, which bore a teasing smile, and helplessly said, "You already know?" Shun Jingyun replied nonchalantly, "I do. 2 of you battled over 20 thugs. Your skills are truly impressive." Zhou Yuqin chuckled wryly. "I didn't anticipate such an incident." "It's not your fault," she said. "I just hope that when you travel for work in the future, you will consider that there is a little one at home." Zhou Yuqin nodded, affirming, "You both are always my top priority." Shun Jingyun blushed slightly, retorting, "I don't need you to consider me." Zhou Yuqin decided not to tease her further and asked, "Is there anything in the fridge? I haven't eaten yet." Shun Jingyun quickly stood up, saying, "I'll make something for you." Zhou Yuqin responded, "No, let me handle it." Shun Jingyun playfully asked, "What? Afraid my cooking might be so terrible it would poison you?" Zhou Yuqin laughed. "If you put it that way, I won't hold back." Chapter 122. Zhou Yuqin's direct approach. Shun Jingyun entered the kitchen, preparing a bowl of noodles and a plate of shredded potatoes, saying, "Come eat." Zhou Yuqin set down his phone and sat at the table, devouring the food. Shun Jingyun inquired, "How is it?" Zhou Yuqin nodded, "Quite good. You have the potential to be a great chef." Shun Jingyun sighed, "Forget it. Compared to your culinary skills, I am not even worthy to be an apprentice." Zhou Yuqin smiled, "If you truly want to learn to cook, I can teach you." "All right, it's a deal." Before long, Zhou Yuqin had finished the noodles and potatoes completely. Shun Jingyun felt pleased and asked, "Are you full?" Zhou Yuqin patted his belly, "Yes." Just then, the sound of a door opening echoed from outside. Dai Wan and Xiaoya walked in. "Daddy." Seeing Zhou Yuqin smiling at her, Xiaoya rushed over joyfully. "Ha ha. Zhou Yuqin scooped up the little girl, showering her cheeks with kisses before asking, "Darling, did you miss Daddy?" Xiaoya, clinging to Zhou Yuqin's neck, with teary eyes said, "I missed you so much. Daddy, you broke your promise. You said you would be back yesterday, but it turned into today." Zhou Yuqin made a sad face, explaining, "Daddy was delayed by some matters, which is why I returned a day late. To apologize to Xiaoya, I brought back many gifts. Would you like to see them?" Xiaoya's eyes sparkled as she nodded vigorously yes. Zhou Yuqin opened his suitcase, revealing 6 plush toys, all adorable characters from cartoons. "Wow, this is Dodo the elf. This one is Rocky the monster. And here is Neza," Xiaoya exclaimed, jumping with joy upon seeing the toys. Zhou Yuqin asked, "Darling, can you forgive Daddy now?" Xiaoya, with a proud expression, replied, "All right, I forgive you." Zhou Yuqin clasped his hands, saying, "Thank you for your magnanimity, darling. Daddy promises never to break his word again." Xiaoya found it amusing and mimicked Zhou Yuqin's gesture, saying, "I believe you." The father and daughter exchanged smiles. After soothing Xiaoya, Zhou Yuqin turned to Dai Wan and straightforwardly said, "Auntie, I like Jing Yun and wish to pursue her. Can I have your support?" Having learned from the system that Shun Chenggang and Dai Wan approved of him, Zhou Yuqin decided to express his intentions toward Shin Jingyun. Subtlety was never his style. He aimed for decisiveness, wanting Shin Jingyun and her family to comprehend his feelings. During Yang Lei's previous visit, Zhou Yuqin had already sensed Shun Jingyun's affections for him, so he felt no need to hold back. Shin Jingyun, both shy and annoyed, exclaimed, "Zhou Yuqin, what are you saying?" Zhou Yuqin replied earnestly, "I said I want to pursue you and marry you, and this requires the support of your uncle and aunt. Is there a problem?" Shin Jingyun was momentarily speechless. Dai Wan could not help but laugh, saying, "Little Zhou, you're quite direct." Zhou Yuqin explained, "Auntie, Jingyun and I have been together for 2 months. The longer I spend with her, the more I discover her remarkable qualities." Dai Wan raised her hand to halt Shin Jingyun, who was about to interject, saying, "Then tell me what qualities she possesses." Zhou Yuqin responded, "She has high emotional intelligence and intellect, exceptional talent, and her demeanor is gentle yet dignified, soft yet resilient. Even in ancient times, she would be the epitome of a virtuous wife and loving mother. In comparison, her beauty is merely a trivial attribute." Hearing Zhou Yuqin's praise, Shin Jingyun felt her cheeks flush. Dai Wan remarked, "I never realized Jingyun had so many admirable qualities." Zhou Yuqin replied, "Perhaps this is what people mean by the darkness beneath the lamp." After some contemplation, Dai Wan said, "Today, I will give you an answer. My husband and I will not support your relationship with Jingyun." "Mom." Shin Jingyun's expression changed dramatically. Zhou Yuqin glanced at her, calmly inquiring, "Will you and Uncle Shin oppose it?" Observing Zhou Yuqin's composure, Dai Wan's eyes glimmered with appreciation as she replied, "We neither support nor oppose. Your lives should be your own to govern." Shin Jingyun sighed with relief, but upon looking up, she noticed both Dai Wan and Zhou Yuqin gazing at her, causing her cheeks to redden further. "Why are you both looking at me like that?" Dai Wan sighed. "In terms of psychological resilience, you are far behind little Zhou. You two should talk. I'll take my leave now." Zhou Yuqin quickly offered, "Let me see you off." As they descended the stairs, Dai Wan approached her car. Turning to Zhou Yuqin, "You should be able to sense Jingyun's feelings, right?" Zhou Yuqin nodded, "I can." Dai Wan continued, "Actually, I have my reservations about you." Zhou Yuqin replied, "Auntie, please feel free to express your concerns." Dai Wan said, "As the saying goes, when a man becomes wealthy, he turns bad. When a woman turns bad, she becomes wealthy. I can guarantee that Jingyun will never become a bad woman. However, you are already a billionaire, and I am uncertain if you will change." After pondering for a moment, Zhou Yuqin assured, "If I say I won't change, you likely won't believe me. The only promise I can make to you is that I, Zhou Yuqin, will never harm Jingyun or Xiaoya throughout my life." Dai Wan gazed into Zhou Yuqin's steadfast eyes and smiled. "You say Jingyun possesses both high emotional intelligence and intellect. I believe she pales in comparison to you." With that, Dai Wan opened the car door and drove away. Watching the car slowly depart, Zhou Yuqin murmured, "You are the true sage." Returning upstairs, Zhou Yuqin spent over an hour playing with Xiaoya. It was only when the mother and daughter duo decided to wash up and retire for the night that he prepared to leave. To his surprise, Xiaoya clung tightly to his hand, refusing to let him go until he promised to tell her a bedtime story. Reluctantly, Zhou Yuqin acquiesced and began to coax the little girl to sleep. Chapter 123. Building popularity. Once Xiaoya had drifted off, Zhou Yuqin emerged from the bedroom to find Shin Jingyun typing away on a laptop. He leaned in to take a look and discovered she was writing Harry Potter, which brought a smile to his face. Sensing his presence, Shin Jingyun turned and said, "I've written 30,000 words so far. Would you care to offer some editorial guidance?" Zhou Yuqin replied, "I can share some stories from my mind, but as for writing, I must decline. I lack substantial knowledge of literary works, I'm quite the standard science guy. If you seek someone for editing, your mother would be the ideal choice. Shun Jingyun inquired. When will you send me the outline for the remaining stories? I'm nearly finished with the part you provided. Zhou Yuqin responded. Give me 2 days, and I shall present you with the outlines for the first 3 stories. She nodded and said, all right. By the way, Yuchun, my mother mentioned that you made over 2 billion through stone gambling. Is that true? Zhou Yuqin confirmed, indeed. Shun Jingyun asked, astonished, you gamble on stones? With a forced bravado, he replied, I do. Over the years, I've diligently studied any industry that could yield profit. My initial fortune was amassed through stone gambling. However, while it can be a casual pastime, treating it as a career is a surefire path to ruin. One moment you're rich, the next, destitute. The uncertainties are too great. Given your awareness of its pitfalls, why do you still gamble? Shun Jingyun questioned. Because I'm in need of funds, Zhou Yuqin admitted. She chuckled at his response, saying, with your 2 games selling like hotcakes, how could you possibly lack money? Recently, Fruit Hero has surpassed 3.5 billion downloads, and Hot Birds has exceeded 1.5 billion, making them the most lucrative games worldwide. It's quite absurd for the owner of these 2 games to claim financial difficulties. Zhou Yuqin did not conceal the truth, stating, I have my eye on a large mobile battery factory that I wish to acquire. It will be auctioned soon, with an estimated price exceeding 2 billion. At the recent jade auction in Ruiqing, I only considered the 3 most expensive raw stones. Due to their high cost, I chose the 3rd one. Not only did I genuinely believe it would yield green jade, but I was also betting on my luck. Fortunately, fortune smiled upon me, and I won. This suggests a connection between me and that mobile battery factory. Do you possess knowledge of mobile battery research and manufacturing? Shun Jingyun asked. He pointed to his head and replied, it's all up here. Jingyun, believe me, give me 2 months, and I can develop the world's finest mobile battery and charger. Without hesitation, Shun Jingyun declared, I believe you. Taken aback, Zhou Yuqin asked, you don't think I'm boasting? Shun Jingyun answered, you've made many seemingly unrealistic claims before. Yet you accomplished them all. I have no doubt this time will be no different. Gazing into Shun Jingyun's bright, beautiful eyes, Zhou Yuqin felt an overwhelming impulse surge through him. Unable to resist, he reached out to caress her hair, saying, I will not let you down. Her expression shifted slightly. Filled with playful indignation, Zhou Yuqin quickly withdrew his hand, awkwardly explaining, life is fleeting, and true friends are rare. I momentarily lost control. Please forgive me. Shun Jingyun firmly stated, it's getting late. You should head home. Zhou Yuqin smiled, undeterred by her change in demeanor. Instead, he leaned closer, declaring, in this lifetime, you shall undeniably be my woman. Nothing will stand in our way. With that, he turned and grabbed his suitcase, heading for the door. As he left, Shun Jingyun's heart raced, her cheeks flushed with shyness as she scolded, what a domineering bad boy. Upon returning home and changing out of his slippers, Zhou Yuqin received a text from Shun Jingyun. It contained a simple message. Xiaya wants beef soup dumplings and silky tofu soup for breakfast tomorrow. Zhou Yuqin chuckled and replied with an okay. The fact that Shun Jingyun could so casually request him to make breakfast indicated that she no longer regarded him as an outsider, marking a significant step forward in their relationship. He felt that the day he would shed his single status was drawing near. At that moment, his phone rang. Hello. Teacher Zhou, this is Li Hui, Yang Lei's manager. Following her victory in the Peak Singer competition, Yang Lei's career has skyrocketed, and her popularity is at an all-time high. The 2 songs, As Desired and Stars and Sea, which she obtained from you, have been released and are creating a sensation across major music platforms, each surpassing 20 million downloads. Don't underestimate those 20 million. This world differs from the past. Xia country places great importance on music copyrights, and songs released by artists on major music websites require payment. For As Desired and Stars and Sea, each song costs 0.5 yuan. After deducting the music platform's share and personal income tax, these 2 songs have generated an income of 10 million for Yang Lei, placing her among the elite in the music industry. This solidifies her status as a true diva. All of this was made possible by Zhou Yuqin, leading Li Hui to treat him with the utmost respect. Miss Hui, how may I assist you? It's regarding the copyright for Fairy Tale. I've already spoken with Huang Xiangfei's manager, who is willing to pay 10 million for the copyright. The company has also agreed to release Yang Lei from her contract early. Teacher Zhou, what do you think? 10 million is indeed a substantial sum. And you have achieved your goal of leaving the company early. This is a commendable outcome. I have no objections. Thank you so much, Teacher Zhou. You're welcome. If the opportunity arises, perhaps Yang Lei could promote my game. Absolutely. After hanging up, Zhou Yuqin opened his computer to check on the status of As Desired and Stars and Sea. His mind raced as he pondered how to accumulate popularity. The simplest method to garner popularity, undoubtedly, would be to become a celebrity. Although Zhou Yuqin's appearance was average, with the classic songs stored in his mind and the mastery of singing bestowed by the system. Achieving success in the entertainment industry would not be a daunting task for him. However, pursuing a singing career was never part of his aspirations or life plan, and Zhou Yuqin had long dismissed that option. Nonetheless, this did not mean he would take no action. After all, the entertainment industry was the fastest place to build popularity, and Zhou Yuqin was determined not to miss this opportunity. The challenge lay in acquiring vast amounts of popularity without disrupting his life and work. Soon, a solution formed in his mind. Releasing songs for free on music websites would undoubtedly be the optimal approach. Chapter 124. The Return of Zhao Laozu. Upon reflecting on this, Zhou Yuqin accessed the 3 most popular music websites in Xia country, discovering that each site featured a free music section. This section predominantly comprised 3 types of songs: classic oldies, tracks released by music enthusiasts, and lesser-known songs from various artists' albums. Zhou Yuqin registered on all 3 sites, whimsically choosing a name without any personal details such as contact information, bank account, or home address. Since these songs were free and non-commercial, the necessity of providing such information was inconsequential. After spending an entire evening, Zhou Yuqin crafted the arrangements for 2 catchy tunes, The Mouse Loves the Rice and 3 Butterflies. Both songs were immensely popular in his previous life, particularly The Mouse Loves the Rice, which had garnered over $1 billion in revenue for its creator. Zhou Yuqin did not anticipate substantial profits from these songs. Rather, he hoped they would gain traction and enhance his popularity. At 5 in the morning, as dawn broke, Zhou Yuqin washed his face, donned fresh attire, and descended to the community square. By that time, several elderly gentlemen were already practicing Tai Chi. After an hour of engaging in both Xingyiquan and Tai Chi, Zhou Yuqin exhaled deeply. This breath, akin to a sharp sword, extended 2 meters before dissipating into the air, visibly forming a mist. This phenomenon was a testament to his exceptional lung capacity, embodying the legendary notion of breath as a sword. It was late June, with temperatures hovering around 20 degrees, yet he could exhale vapor typically seen in winter. A remarkable feat. Zhou Yuqin turned to the long-absent Zhao Shenghua and chuckled. Zhao Laozu, I see you have returned from Yindu. How delightful it must be to have 4 generations under one roof. Zhao Shenghua raised an eyebrow, replying, Indeed, it is quite splendid. Otherwise, I wouldn't have spent half a month at my grandson's. Zhou Yuqin remarked, Then you must take good care of your health, nurturing both body and mind, in hopes of achieving 5 or even 6 generations together. Zhao Shenghua laughed heartily. Let us not stretch to 6 generations. 5 is an attainable goal. By the way, your Tai Chi is truly exceptional. I practice for an hour daily, and my physical and mental well-being has greatly improved. Who knows? I might just live to see 6 generations. Zhou Yuqin replied, I'm not boasting. Xia country boasts at least 30 to 40 varieties of health-promoting Tai Chi. The Tai Chi 13 forms is the most aligned with human biomechanics, thus yielding the best results. Zhao Shenghua said, My son will be visiting me tonight. Could you come over to teach him? Zhou Yuqin smiled. Zhao Zongling is busy with countless affairs. His schedule may be unpredictable. Please call me once he arrives. I will be at home for the foreseeable future. Zhao Shenghua nodded in agreement. Understood. Zhou Yuqin said, I must take my leave. I need to prepare breakfast for the 2 of them. Zhao Shenghua inquired, What is your situation now? Have you managed to settle matters? Zhou Yuqin chuckled ruefully. The more independent-minded the girl, the harder it is to win her over. To this day, she has yet to agree to be my girlfriend. However, I have gained her parents' approval, and the groundwork has been laid. Now, I shall launch a vigorous campaign. I shall not retreat until my objective is achieved. Zhao Shenghua burst into laughter. I wish you success in your endeavor. Zhou Yuqin made a victory gesture and turned to head home. An hour later, he arrived at Shen Jingyun's door, carrying beef soup buns and Wensi tofu soup, and knocked gently. Shen Jingyun opened the door and welcomed him in, saying, You arrived just in time. I just finished washing up little Yaya. My timing was perfect. I planned to cook right after exercising. However, I was held up chatting with Zhao Laozu on my way back. As Zhou Yuqin placed the buns and soup on the table, he entered the kitchen to fetch bowls and chopsticks, replying, It's no trouble at all. Shen Jingyun said, I appreciate your help. Zhou Yuqin faltered, for he suddenly realized that Shen Jingyun was clad only in a light red nightgown, her alluring figure fully displayed before him, coupled with her ethereal beauty and poised demeanor. The temptation was overwhelming. Upon noticing Zhou Yuqin's dazed expression, Shen Jingyun immediately recognized her inappropriate attire, let out a startled scream, and dashed off to change clothes. Little Yaya emerged from the bathroom, curiously asking, Daddy, what happened to Mommy? I think I heard her scream. Zhou Yuqin chuckled. Perhaps she was startled by something, sweetheart. Hurry and wash your hands. I made your favorite beef buns. Little Yaya's eyes sparkled with delight as she exclaimed, Daddy, I love you so much. With that, she scampered off to wash her hands. Shen Jingyun returned from her room, now dressed, and shot Zhou Yuqin an admonishing glare. Zhou Yuqin whispered, "This isn't my fault. Who told you to dress so enticingly? I'm a normal man. It's commendable that I didn't pounce on you." Shen Jingyun retorted, "You men are all the same." Zhou Yuqin shrugged, "You shouldn't speak ill of Ye's grandfather." With a laugh, Shen Jingyun replied, "You truly are incorrigible." After breakfast, Shen Jingyun left for work. Zhou Yuqin took little Ye to school before heading to the Yueqin Game Company. Zheng Tong promptly approached him, saying, "Brother Chun, per your instructions, I've rented half a floor. The other half will become available within 3 months as the current leases expire." Following the success of Fruit Hero and Explosive Birds, Zhou Yuqin's first actions were to distribute bonuses and improve the working environment for his team. His plan was to rent the entire floor and recruit at least 200 programmers to develop both mobile casual games and large-scale online games. In his leisure time, Zhou Yuqin had already drafted 3 game proposals, including 2 mobile casual games, Plants vs. Zombies and Temple Run, alongside a massive online game, Honor of Kings. These 3 games were household names in his past life, each accumulating over 1 billion downloads. Undoubtedly, Honor of Kings was the most lucrative, generating over 100 billion in pure profit annually for the development company, surpassing the earnings of 99% of companies worldwide. Chapter 125. The magnanimity of Zhou Yuqin. Plants vs. Zombies and Temple Run were must-play mobile games, and Zhou Yuqin resolved to develop both mobile and online versions. Once the telecommunications network advanced to 4G, he planned to release Honor of Kings as a mobile version. With these 6 games, Zhou Yuqin was poised to become a billionaire. While other projects could be postponed, the restaurant needed immediate attention. Zhou Yuqin addressed Zheng Tong earnestly. "The team works tirelessly. We must resolve their dining needs." Zheng Tong nodded. "I can have it arranged within a week, but how should we set the pricing?" Zhou Yuqin waved his hand dismissively, "Free. The only stipulation is that if anyone does not dine in the restaurant, they must inform us a day in advance to prevent unnecessary waste." Zheng Tong replied, "Understood." Zhou Yuqin continued, "Please have the HR department recruit a substantial number of game development and operations personnel, aiming for a total of around 200. Zheng Tong exclaimed in astonishment, "Chen Gu, why do we need so many people?" Zhou Yuqin explained, "The game Leisure Elimination will be launched on both mobile and web platforms within a month. We will require a significant number of operational staff. Furthermore, I am set to develop 3 additional games, one of which is a large-scale online game that necessitates ample manpower." Zheng Tong discreetly glanced at Zhou Yuqin. His brow furrowed with concern. "Isn't it a bit reckless to pursue a large-scale online game at this stage?" Zhou Yuqin chuckled. "The development cost for a large-scale online game is approximately 80 million at most. Even if it fails, we can absorb the loss. Rest assured, as the head of the gaming company, I will not engage in unprofitable ventures." Zheng Tong nodded in agreement. "You make a valid point." Zhou Yuqin employed a loyalty detection skill on Zheng Tong and noted that his loyalty value had reached 88%, just 2 points shy of unwavering allegiance. He felt a swell of pride and declared, "Old Zheng, starting today, you will serve as the CEO of Yueqin Game Company, overseeing the entire operation." Zheng Tong trembled with excitement, his face alight with joy. "Chen Gu, are you truly entrusting me with the role of CEO?" Zhou Yuqin laughed. "Don't celebrate too soon. You will have a 3-month probation period, and only upon its successful completion will you officially assume the position." Zheng Tong straightened his posture, confidently affirming, "You can count on me, Chen Gu." Zhou Yuqin replied, "I have faith in you. Now, go and get to work." As he watched Zheng Tong depart, Zhou Yuqin once again activated the loyalty detection skill. At that moment, Zheng Tong's loyalty had surged past 90%, reaching 92. A radiant smile spread across Zhou Yuqin's face. Upon arriving at the development department, the 3 team members were diligently working on Leisure Elimination. The game's framework had been established, and now they were tasked with filling it with numerous levels. They had completed 1,700 levels, leaving 300 to finalize the first phase. Zhou Yu, whose thoughts were particularly agile, inquired, "Chen Gu, when can we begin developing the new game?" Zhou Yuqin replied with a smile, "Once Leisure Elimination is complete, I will grant each of you a half-month break in rotation to recharge. When you return, a new game proposal will await you." Zhou Yu snapped his fingers, exclaiming, "That is wonderful." Zhou Yuqin continued, "I have 2 important announcements to make. First, I will be hiring an additional 200 programmers to bolster our game development and operational team. This is essential as we will be working on not just 2 mobile casual games, but also a large-scale online game. Second, I plan to establish a restaurant and a gym on the floor above us. The restaurant will provide complimentary breakfast, lunch, and dinner, with relevant regulations to be released shortly. I emphasize the gym. All employees will be required to exercise in groups for no less than 40 minutes. Brothers, Our company's mission is not only to generate profit, but also to promote good health. We must excel in both aspects. The crowd was taken aback. No one had anticipated that Zhou Yuchan would be so generous, offering them paid leave along with a free restaurant and gym, a significant financial commitment of at least 7 to 8 million annually. Such a supportive boss was indeed remarkable. Zhou Yu was the first to regain his composure, shouting, "Long live Chenggu." The others joined in the cheer, "Long live Chenggu." Zhou Yuchan waved his hand. "Get back to work." As he exited, Zhou Yuchan glanced through the window at the team's loyalty levels. Most ranged between 60 and 70%, barely acceptable. But he knew that if offered better benefits elsewhere, they would likely leave the company. This was understandable. People work to support their families, and if a better opportunity arises, they would undoubtedly pursue it. Zhou Yuchan completely understood this. However, he found it perplexing regarding He Zhan, the leader of the third group. While Zhou Yu and Hua Haiyang's loyalty levels exceeded 80%, He Zhan's loyalty was shockingly below 50. This figure indicated a strong possibility that he was contemplating or had already decided to leave. Why? Zhou Yuchan was somewhat baffled. When it came to benefits, Yuechen Game Company undoubtedly offered the best in the industry. Previously, Zhou Yuchan had promised substantial 7-figure bonuses to the 3 group leaders upon the game's success. Once the funds were deposited next month, he would ensure they received their rewards. All 3 were aware of this. Given their achievements, why would He Zhan even consider leaving? Was there another company offering him better conditions? This seemed implausible. Although He Zhan's technical skills were commendable, they had yet to reach the level of mastery. So what could be the reason? Zhou Yuchan found himself at a loss. However, he refrained from inquiring prematurely and chose to wait for He Zhan to approach him. As for the bonus, Zhou Yuchan was committed to delivering it. Business is business. He Zhan had made significant contributions to the success of Fruit Hero, and Zhou Yuchan would never engage in untrustworthy behavior. After leaving the company, Zhou Yuchan entered a bookstore and purchased 3 books on mobile battery manufacturing. Although he had acquired all technical data related to battery development, he still lacked knowledge in many professional areas. Before acquiring the Hongda Mobile Battery Factory, he needed to become an expert in this field. Upon returning home, Zhou Yuchan quickly had a light lunch and picked up a book titled Principles of Lithium-Ion Battery Manufacturing to read, despite not having the advantage of the scroll's enhancement. As a top student, he found the content of the book relatively easy to comprehend, especially given his prior foundation in the subject. Chapter 126, Declaring an Exclusive Relationship. Hello. Jingyun, what's the matter? I'm working overtime today, so I'll probably return late. Then let Xiaoya stay with me tonight. Alright, I appreciate your kindness. Hearing you say such polite words gives me a headache. By the way, how many people are working overtime? 13 or 14? Why? I'm coming to bring you dinner. No need. We'll just order takeout. Jingyun, you don't really think I'm just bringing dinner, do you? What do you mean? I want to make it clear to your colleagues that you, Shin Jingyun, are already taken. Wait for me. I'll definitely arrive before 7. Not waiting for Shin Jingyun to refuse, Zhou Yuchan hung up the phone. Yanhai Tax Bureau Shin Jingyun set down her phone, unable to suppress a smile. This guy is becoming increasingly direct and domineering. Jingyun, your expression seems a bit off, remarked her colleague and close friend, Luo Xinxin, who leaned in closer. Luo Xinxin was Shun Jingyun's university classmate, quite attractive, but still overshadowed by Shun Jingyun's beauty. Ever since Shun Jingyun transferred to the tax bureau, Luo Xinxin had been thrilled. When she first joined, it was with Shun Jingyun's assistance that she managed to get her work in order. Your expression is the one that's off, gossiping like that. Just spill it. Who called? Zhou Yuchan. He's bringing me dinner this afternoon. As her close friend, Luo Xinxin had long been aware of Zhou Yuchan's existence. Her eyes sparkled with excitement as she exclaimed, "Fantastic. Today, I finally get to see the person who has captured our stunning beauty's heart." Upon hearing such bold words, Shin Jingyun's face flushed crimson. She playfully pinched Luo Xinxin's thigh and retorted, "What nonsense are you spouting?" "Ouch!" Luo Xinxin exclaimed, clutching her injured leg and feigning a pitiful expression. "It was just a joke. Must you be so harsh?" Shun Jingyun, unimpressed, replied, "Stop pretending. I hardly put any force into it." Just then, Sun Zhong entered their office. Luo Xinxin promptly stood to greet him. "Secretary Sun, is there something you need?" Shin Jingyun also rose, but remained silent. Sun Zhong waved his hand dismissively, saying, "Nothing urgent. I just wanted to check with Jingyun about what she would like for dinner." Without any pretense, Sun Zhong laid his affections for Shin Jingyun bare. "Thank you, Secretary Sun." Shin Jingyun responded, "My boyfriend will be bringing me dinner tonight, so there's no need to trouble you." Having previously thwarted Yang Xuelin's advances with Zhou Yuchan's assistance, Shin Jingyun had no qualms about doing so again. Moreover, their relationship had progressed rapidly, with only a thin veil separating them from being a genuine couple. Sun Zhong's expression shifted. "You have a boyfriend?" Shin Jingyun affirmed, "I have always had a boyfriend. It's just that for certain reasons, we have not married. Sun Zhong pressed further. Is he Zayu's father? Shen Jingyun nodded. Indeed. Sun Zhong managed a strained smile. Then I truly wish to meet your boyfriend. A peculiar glint flickered in Shen Jingyun's eyes as she replied, You will. After Sun Zhong left, Luo Xinxin closed the office door and whispered, Did you see that? Secretary Sun's smile is almost more painful than a frown. Shen Jingyun shot her a glance. Aren't you the one who dislikes him? Why are you so cordial now? Luo Xinxin explained, You don't understand. The more petty and thick-skinned a man is, the less you should offend him. In the workplace, the risk of crossing a scoundrel is far greater than that of offending 10 gentlemen. If they set their sights on you, who knows what despicable tricks they might employ? It's simply insurmountable. Shen Jingyun found wisdom in Luo Xinxin's words and gave her a thumbs up, saying, Impressive. Luo Xinxin, feeling quite pleased with herself, then asked, Jingyun, are you and Zhou Yuchen really in a confirmed relationship? Shen Jingyun shook her head, Not yet. Luo Xinxin chuckled, I knew it. If you two were truly together, he might not even bring you dinner. But even so, he is not bad at all. By the way, when will I find a man willing to bring me dinner? Shen Jingyun replied, Today, you have found one. He can cook meals for more than 10 people, so we won't need to eat takeout. Really? Luo Xinxin exclaimed joyfully. That is wonderful. I need to inform the group to avoid ordering takeout for us. Having decided to bring Shen Jingyun dinner, Zhou Yuchen immediately visited the supermarket, purchasing a variety of ingredients along with disposable meal boxes, chopsticks, and spoons. Upon returning home, he prepped the ingredients. Noticing the time, he hurried downstairs to pick up Zayu from kindergarten. When he finally returned home, it was already past 5 in the afternoon. He allowed the little one to watch some cartoons while he busied himself in the kitchen. For the 13 or 14 people, Zhou Yuchen prepared 8 substantial dishes. After over an hour of effort, he completed the 5 more complicated dishes, leaving the remaining 3 to be made after he and his daughter finished their meal. He set aside portions of the 3 child-friendly dishes and brought them to the table. Sweetheart, it's time to eat, Zhou Yuchen called out. Zayu immediately jumped up from the sofa, saying, I'll go wash my hands. She had always been utterly enchanted by her father's cooking. After they finished their meal, Zhou Yuchen wrapped up the other 3 vegetable dishes. Sweetheart, let us go deliver dinner to Mommy, he said as he packed the food. Daddy, you finally finished. Let's hurry, or Mommy will be hungry. Upon hearing her words, Zhou Yuchen couldn't help but smile. 40 minutes later, a Mercedes Maybach glided smoothly to a stop at the entrance of the taxation bureau. The security personnel promptly approached for inquiries. Who are you here to see? My name is Zhou Yuchen, and I'm here to bring dinner for Shen Jingyun and her colleagues. The guard's gaze softened upon spotting the adorable little girl in the back seat. Could you please give them a call? Of course. Zhou Yuchen took out his phone and dialed Shen Jingyun. Once the guard confirmed everything was in order, he allowed Zhou Yuchen to proceed. After parking the car, Zhou Yuchen opened the door and lifted Zayu out, then retrieved a box from the trunk. At that moment, Shen Jingyun emerged alongside a beautiful girl of similar age. Mommy, Zayu called, sprinting towards Shen Jingyun with her short legs. Sweetheart, be careful. This is all concrete. Don't run too fast, or you might fall and hurt yourself, okay? Got it. Zayu replied in her sweet voice, clinging to Shen Jingyun's neck. The beautiful girl was Luo Xinxin, who had been eyeing Zhou Yuchen since she stepped out. He stood tall with a good physique and decent demeanor, but his looks fell short, leaving Luo Xinxin, a self-proclaimed beauty enthusiast, somewhat disappointed. However, upon noticing Zhou Yuchen driving a 3 million yuan Maybach, she reconsidered, finding his appearance not so unappealing after all. Hello, brother-in-law. I'm Luo Xinxin, Jingyun's best friend. Previously, Yang Lei had claimed to be Shen Jingyun's closest friend, and now another had emerged, leaving Zhou Yuchen perplexed about just how many close friends Shen Jingyun possessed. He inwardly mused, smiling as he introduced himself. I'm Zhou Yuchen. A pleasure to meet you. Luo Xinxin offered. Do you need help with the box? No, thank you. Zhou Yuchen replied. As they entered the building, Shen Jingyun leaned closer to Zhou Yuchen and whispered, When we go inside, you'll need to pretend to be my boyfriend. Zhou Yuchen smiled slightly. If I perform well, will there be a chance for a promotion? Shen Jingyun shot him a glance. You'll definitely have more opportunities than others. Zhou Yuchen sighed in mock resignation. It seems having a beautiful wife is not always a blessing. Walking ahead, Luo Xinxin almost burst into laughter. They weren't even officially a couple, yet Zhou Yuchen dared to say such things. His audacity was indeed remarkable. Upon reaching the office, before Shen Jingyun could introduce him, everyone's attention was already on Zhou Yuchen. They had come to realize that the most beautiful flower of the Yunhai Tax Bureau, indeed the entire Yunhai city government, had been plucked, and that the two even had a daughter. Curiosity about the man who had captured Shen Jingyun's heart filled the air. However, upon seeing Zhou Yuchen, disappointment flickered across their faces. The appearance of this individual seems quite similar to my own. How could it be you? After work, Sun Zhong, who had been waiting for Shun Jingyun's boyfriend without returning home, widened his eyes, his face a mask of shock and disbelief. Zhou Yuqing smiled at him and said, "Secretary Sun, it is a pleasure to see you again." His demeanor was polite yet distant. Having discerned the true nature of Sun Zhong, Zhou Yuqing adopted a stance of respectful avoidance towards him. Shun Jingyun announced loudly, "Colleagues, allow me to introduce my boyfriend, Mr. Zhou Yuqing, and Xiao Yiya is our daughter." "This is impossible." Sun Zhong's composure shattered as he pointed at Zhou Yuqing, exclaiming, "Do you know who he is?" Shun Jingyun replied coolly, "Of course I do." Sun Zhong continued, "He has served time in prison." "Really? Is that true?" The crowd displayed expressions of astonishment. Shun Jingyun retorted angrily, "Secretary Sun, while one can casually consume food, one cannot speak recklessly. My husband has already clarified the truth during your last dinner at Longhu Hotel. Do you not think it excessive to utter such words again?" Zhou Yuqing shared her indignation. He did not mind others discussing his past incarceration, but he was displeased that Sun Zhong would bring it up in front of Xiao Yiya. Realizing his blunder, Sun Zhong quickly apologized. "I'm sorry. That was not my intention. It's all right." Sensing the atmosphere in the office had grown tense, Zhou Yuqing suppressed his anger and remarked, "Everyone, I personally prepared a few dishes this afternoon. I hope you won't find them lacking." Luo Xinxin immediately sought to alleviate the tension, saying, "Now that you mention it, I'm quite hungry. Everyone, let us help set the table." Once 8 beautifully presented dishes adorned the table, Luo Xinxin exclaimed, "Brother-in-law, did you truly make this? It's not from a restaurant, is it?" Xiao Yiya proudly declared, "Aunt Luo, my daddy's cooking is the best, far surpassing that of any grand hotel." "Is that so? I must try it then." Luo Xinxin picked up a piece of braised fish, and her eyes lit up as she said, "My goodness, this is delicious." The others eagerly joined in, praising the dishes. "Wow, these shredded potatoes are simply tangy and delightful. I believe this shrimp is a culinary masterpiece. I dare say, this is the finest 9-turn fatty intestines I've ever tasted, bar none. The fish-flavored shredded pork is at a divine level. It's as if a culinary deity has reincarnated." As they ate, incessant compliments flowed, leaving Sun Zhong awkwardly standing by. Zhou Yuqing and Shun Jingyun were irked by his indiscreet remarks, without offering him any consideration. Unable to endure the discomfort any longer, Sun Zhong left the office. His departure noticeably lightened the atmosphere. Luo Xinxin turned to Zhou Yuqing and inquired, "Brother-in-law, have you eaten?" The others, realizing their chef had yet to partake, turned their attention to him. Zhou Yuqing replied, "The child and I have already dined at home." Luo Xinxin gave him a thumbs up, saying, "Brother-in-law, I'd wager that if you opened a restaurant, it would surely flourish." "Little Zhou probably lacks the time to run a restaurant," a deep and resonant voice interjected from outside. Everyone turned to see the director of the Taxation Bureau, Zhang Yiming, entering, and they laid down their chopsticks. Zhang Yiming waved his hand, saying, "Don't mind me, please continue eating." Shun Jingyun asked, "Director, have you had your meal? If you don't mind, please join us." Zhang Yiming chuckled, "I'm fine with just a bowl of noodles from outside." Luo Xinxin, ever the quick thinker, pulled Zhang Yiming to the table, saying, "Director, nothing outside compares to what my brother-in-law has prepared. I think even 5-star hotel chefs cannot rival his skills, right everyone?" The group unanimously agreed, "Absolutely." Shun Jingyun offered Zhang Yiming a pair of chopsticks, saying, "Director, please honor us by dining with us." Zhang Yiming smiled. "It is my privilege to dine with you. How could I consider it a burden? All right, let me sample Mr. Zhou's culinary skills." He then picked up a pair of shredded potatoes and took a bite. Zhang Yiming's eyes brightened as he sampled a few more dishes, exclaiming, "Little Zhou, I had no idea you excelled not only in game development, but also in the culinary arts. What they say is true. Your cooking surpasses that of 5-star chefs." Zhou Yuqing smiled, "Director, you flatter me." Chapter 128. Zhang Yiming's discomposure seeing everyone relish the meal. Xiao Yiya swallowed hard and asked, "Daddy, can I have a bit more?" Zhou Yuqing replied, "No. If you eat more, your little tummy will burst." Pouting, Xiao Yiya pleaded, "Just one more bite." Shun Jingyun laughed, "Come here, sweetheart." Hearing this, Xiao Yiya hurried to her mother. Zhou Yuqing cautioned, "Jingyun, she cannot eat more." Shun Jingyun poured her a half bowl of tomato and egg soup, saying, "It's fine to drink a bit of soup." Xiao Yiya nodded vigorously, replying, "Mommy is the best, Daddy is the worst." The room burst into laughter at this delightful little one. After the meal, Zhang Yiming rose and said, "Today has been a true culinary delight." "Thank you, little Zhou." Zhou Yuqing replied, "You're welcome. I'm just glad everyone enjoyed it." Zhang Yiming remarked, "It's a pity you run a gaming company instead of a restaurant. Otherwise, I would surely be here every day." Luo Xinxin curiously asked, "Director, is my brother-in-law in the gaming industry?" Zhang Yiming paused, saying, "So you weren't aware of his identity?" The others shook their heads in unison. "No, we didn't know." Zhang Yiming smiled, "Let me enlighten you. Little Zhou is the president of Yuechen Gaming Company. The games you all love, Fruit Hero and Angry Birds, are both his creations. Wow. The group could not suppress their astonishment. Although they worked within the system and were busy, they still indulged in games during their leisure. Previously, Fruit Hero had been a collective favorite, and more recently released Angry Birds had become a new obsession. They never expected the president of these game development companies to be the young man before them. A female colleague remarked, "Jingyun, you've been quite secretive." Shin Jingyun shrugged, "I didn't intend to hide it. It's just that you never asked. I can't very well announce that the founder of Yuechen Gaming is my boyfriend to everyone, can I?" Luo Xinxin queried. Then what was that about what Secretary Sun said earlier? Zhang Yiming's eyes gleamed with interest. What did Sun Zhong say? Since taking on his role as secretary, Sun Zhong's performance had disappointed Zhang Yiming. Though he was observant and diligent, his narrow perspective and low aspirations rendered his written materials nearly unusable, which frustrated Zhang Yiming, though he had never shown it. Now, hearing Luo Xinxin's words, Zhang Yiming was instantly intrigued. Shen Jingyun, wishing to avoid gossip, gently nudged Luo Xinxin, saying, "Secretary Sun has some misunderstandings about my boyfriend. He has already apologized." Zhang Yiming pressed, "What misunderstandings?" The group exchanged glances, each remaining silent. Zhang Yiming's expression turned grave as he inquired, "What is this? Are you all conspiring to deceive me?" Zhou Yuqing interjected, "Let me explain. I am a college roommate of Sunmi. During my sophomore year, I was wrongfully accused and spent 10 months in detention. Recently, the police cleared my name and apprehended the one who framed me, subsequently hiring me as a consultant for the technical department. Sunmi might be unaware of the events that transpired afterward, leading to some misunderstandings." Upon hearing Zhou Yuqing's words, the others couldn't help but feel a surge of admiration for him. While Sun Zhong had deliberately mocked Zhou Yuqing earlier, anyone else would have seized Zhang Yiming's inquiry to vilify him. However, Zhou Yuqing refrained, opting instead to provide clarification, thereby establishing a stark contrast in character between the two. Zhang Yiming, perceptive as he was, would not be easily misled. Although Zhou Yuqing had referred to Sun Zhong as a brother, he called him Sunmi, drawing a clear line between them. Coupled with the silence of the others, Zhang Yiming could easily deduce the situation. Since it was merely a misunderstanding, he decided to let it go. "Very well," Zhang Yiming said nonchalantly. Just then, Zhou Yuqing's phone rang. Upon checking, he saw it was a call from Elder Zhao and promptly answered. "Xiao Zhou, are you at home?" "No, I'm out, but I'll be back in half an hour. Yinjiang will also arrive in half an hour." "All right, I'll head over to you directly." After hanging up, Zhou Yuqing lifted little Yaya and said, "Director Zhang, everyone. I have some matters to attend to, so I'll take my leave now." Zhang Yiming, closest to Zhou Yuqing, clearly heard the conversation on the phone, especially the part about Yinjiang arriving in half an hour, which resonated in his ears like thunder, sending a jolt through him. He tentatively asked, "Xiao Zhou, is your home in Lijiang Garden?" Zhou Yuqing nodded, "Yes." Zhang Yiming continued, "Was it an Elder Zhao who just called you?" Zhou Yuqing immediately realized that Zhang Yiming had guessed Elder Zhao's identity, so he replied, "Yes, an elderly gentleman named Zhao." Sensing that Zhang Yiming had more questions, Zhou Yuqing hastily added, "Director Zhang, I must leave. I can't keep the two elders waiting too long." Zhang Yiming affirmed, "You are right. Let me escort you downstairs." Zhou Yuqing was taken aback. "Director Zhang, you flatter me." Zhang Yiming patted Zhou Yuqing's shoulder, saying, "No more chatter, let us go." With no choice but to carry little Yaya, Zhou Yuqing followed Zhang Yiming outside. Upon reaching the office door, Zhou Yuqing turned to everyone and declared, "Everyone, after some time, I will host a feast at home with Jingyun, and I hope you all can attend." "Absolutely. I can hardly wait. With such delectable food, I would crawl there if necessary." The crowd responded eagerly. Zhou Yuqing smiled and departed with Zhang Yiming. Once downstairs, Zhang Yiming fixed his gaze on Zhou Yuqing and asked directly, "Xiao Zhou, are you meeting Deputy Consul Zhao Yinjiang tonight? Are you too close?" Zhou Yuqing did not conceal the truth. "I have a good relationship with Elder Zhao, but I have never met Deputy Consul Zhao." He continued, "Recently, I taught Elder Zhao a set of Tai Chi, and he was quite impressed, suggesting I teach Deputy Consul Zhao as well." Zhang Yiming nodded, patting Zhou Yuqing's shoulder. "Then you should hurry along." As he watched the car slowly depart, Zhang Yiming murmured, "Old Shun, how fortunate you are." Half an hour later, Zhou Yuqing and little Yaya knocked on Zhao Xinghua's door. A voice from within called out, "That should be Xiao Zhou. Go ahead and open the door." After a few steady footsteps, the door opened to reveal a familiar face often seen in Yunhai news, Zhao Yinjiang, the prominent figure of Yunhai City. Chapter 129. First meeting with Zhao Yinjiang. Zhao Yinjiang, in his 50s, had graying temples and an elegant demeanor, with a well-maintained physique and deep, wise eyes. He scrutinized Zhou Yuqing and remarked, "You must be Xiao Zhou?" Zhou Yuqing nodded, "Yes, Consul Zhao, hello." Little Yaya chimed in, "Hello, Grandpa." Zhao Yinjiang replied warmly, "Hello, little Yaya." Please come in. Holding little Ye's hand, Zhou Yuqing entered the living room. Compared to the spacious flat of Zhou Yuqing, Zhao Xinghua's residence was considerably smaller, decorated in a traditional style with little modern flair. Xiao Zhou, is this your precious daughter, little Ye? Zhao Xinghua's voice remained booming even at home. Zhou Yuqing nodded. Her mother is working overtime, so I brought her along. Zhao Xinghua remarked. This little girl is truly adorable. Little Ye, with her big eyes sparkling, replied, Grandpa. You are also very cute. Zhao Xinghua laughed heartily. This is the first time in my life someone has described me as cute. Come, little Ye. Grandpa has delicious treats for you. Little Ye looked up at Zhou Yuqing, who smiled and encouraged. Go ahead. Without a hint of shyness, little Ye eagerly approached Zhao Xinghua, asking, Grandpa, what treats do you have? Zhao Xinghua's heart melted at the sight of the little one, and quickly produced fruits and candies to offer her. Little Ye beamed as she picked up a piece of candy, saying, Thank you, Grandpa. Zhao Xinghua ruffled her hair. You are truly delightful. No wonder your father dotes on you so much. Since their arrival, Zhao Yinjiang had been observing Zhou Yuqing. Typically, those aware of his status, whether affluent or governmental figures, would exhibit a degree of restraint in his presence. However, Zhou Yuqing displayed an effortless demeanor, exuding calmness and confidence. With piercing eyes that seemed to read one's soul, this distinct quality elevated Zhao Yinjiang's assessment of him considerably. Xiao Zhou, I hear from the old gentleman that you are quite the martial arts expert, Zhao Yinjiang said, personally pouring a cup of tea for Zhou Yuqing with a smile. Zhou Yuqing quickly bent forward to accept the cup with both hands, politely thanking him. Elder Zhao is merely flattering me. I am not as formidable as he claims. Zhao Xinghua chimed in. Xiao Zhou, you need not be so modest. Skill is skill. There is no shame in acknowledging it. Zhou Yuqing shrugged. All right. I admit I am the best in the world. Is that sufficient? Zhao Xinghua chuckled. Young people should possess such spirit. Zhou Yuqing countered. The problem is that being the best in the world is of little use. In this era of firearms and missiles, someone unfamiliar with martial arts can eliminate all the so-called best with just a submachine gun. Even if Bodhidharma were reborn or Zhang Sanfeng were alive, they would not withstand a few bullets. Zhao Yinjiang chuckled. That is true. However, martial arts can strengthen the body, prolong life, and protect oneself and loved ones in times of crisis, making it quite valuable. Zhou Yuqing nodded. You are right. Recently, I encountered a group of thugs in Ruiqing who attempted to rob me. If I were not skilled in martial arts, I would doubt my ability to return alive to our Yunhai. Zhao Yinjing furrowed his brow and remarked, the public safety in Ruiqing is rather concerning. Zhou Yuqing replied, it is known as the land of emeralds and is close to the border. It is only natural for it to attract those engaged in dubious activities. Zhao Yinjing inquired, what brings you to Ruiqing? Zhou Yuqing responded, I am attending the annual emerald auction. Zhao Yinjing asked, are you in the emerald business or do you simply enjoy the thrill of gambling on stones? Zhou Yuqing candidly replied, gambling on stones does not excite me. I play with raw stones merely for the sake of chance. I only purchase one, and whether I win or lose relies entirely on fate. To be frank, my first fortune was indeed derived from raw stones. Zhao Yinjing continued to probe, what line of work are you in? Zhou Yuqing said, I am involved in gaming and finance. Soon, I may invest in a factory to develop and produce mobile phone batteries and chargers. Zhao Yinjing frowned. Those three industries seem unrelated. Zhou Yuqing explained, coming from an ordinary family, I must find ways to earn money to start my own business. The gaming and finance sectors primarily provide me with funding, while my true ambition lies in the field of internet technology. Intrigued, Zhao Yinjing remarked. Speaking of the internet technology sector, it is inevitably linked to chips. Recently, a leading chip expert from abroad gave a lecture at our Xinjiang University. A young man asked him whether foreign companies would impose a chip embargo on our country in the future, to which he replied that he did not know. Since you aspire to enter the internet technology field, I presume you have some insights on this matter. After a few minutes of conversation, Zhao Yinjing discerned that Zhou Yuqing was a bold young man with remarkable psychological resilience, unreserved in expressing his thoughts, which Zhao Yinjing found refreshing and wished to engage with him further. Zhou Yuqing inquired, is the chip expert you mentioned Paul Carl? Zhao Yinjing nodded, indeed. Do you know him? Zhou Yuqing replied, I am quite familiar with him, as I was the young man who asked that question. Zhao Yinjing expressed his surprise. So it was you. What prompted you to ask that question? Zhou Yuqing explained, I noticed that many prominent figures from domestic technology companies had attended, and I wanted to alert them. The prevailing theory over the past decade that it is better to buy than to manufacture chips is fundamentally flawed. If our domestic enterprises cannot independently research and produce chips, our country will forever be at the mercy of others in the realm of cutting-edge technology. Zhao Yinjing raised his teacup, took a sip, and uttered 4 words, independence and self-reliance. Zhou Yuqing nodded. A nation must achieve independence and self-reliance. And the same applies to an industry, particularly in the chip sector, which is the lifeblood of high technology. If we are choked, we will forever remain subservient to others, unable to rise again. Currently, our country lags far behind in chip production and manufacturing. If we do not catch up swiftly, when our technology companies reach a certain stage, they will inevitably face a blockade of chip technology from the West. Without chips, no matter how formidable your company may be, the outcome is certain: demise. Chapter 130. The importance of chips. Zhao Yinjing remarked, "It seems you are a pessimist." Zhou Yuqing countered, "On the contrary, I am an optimist. From this moment on, as long as everyone prioritizes the chip sector and is willing to invest in chip research and manufacturing, with the intelligence and ingenuity of our people, we can surely resolve this issue. Unfortunately, the current strength of our technology companies is still too weak, and research in the chip field often requires tens of billions or even hundreds of billions of dollars, which we simply do not have, further widening the gap." Zhao Yinjing nodded. "Indeed, it ultimately boils down to poverty." Zhao Shenghua interjected, "Can we really be poorer than we were 50 years ago? Back then, we could produce hydrogen bombs and atomic bombs. I refuse to believe that a mere chip can confound us." Zhou Yuqing smiled. "Let me put it this way. The core machine for manufacturing chips is the photolithography machine. And the difficulty of developing a photolithography machine is several dozen or even hundreds of times greater than that of developing an atomic bomb. The Lighthouse Nation is recognized as the global leader in technology, yet even they cannot independently manufacture photolithography machines. It requires the collaboration of over 20 countries. This is why photolithography machines are deemed the culmination of modern industry." Zhao Shenghua frowned, "But no matter how difficult, it was still created by humans." Zhou Yuqing replied, "Precisely. The issue lies in the rapid advancement of technology. Even if we could develop a photolithography machine in 20 years, their progress will not stagnate. In the realm of research, the immutable truth is that those who lag behind will be left vulnerable to attacks." Zhao Lao, "Do you know how many times the cost of the top chips sold to us by foreigners is compared to their production cost?" Zhao Shenghua rolled his eyes. "Stop the suspense and tell me." Zhou Yuqing raised a finger, "At least 1,000 times." Upon hearing this, Zhao Shenghua couldn't help but gasp, exclaiming, "That's outrageous. It's worse than a swindler." Zhou Yuqing sighed. "Even so, we must be grateful that they are willing to sell chips to us. It is indeed a tragic reality. Yet, this is the terrifying nature of technological monopolies." Zhao Shenghua turned to Zhao Yinjing. "Is this true?" Zhao Yinjing nodded, "Yes. Some situations are even more severe than what Zhou said." Zhao Shenghua exclaimed in anger, "What are you all doing about this?" Zhao Yinjing displayed a hint of helplessness. "We started too late in the high-tech field, and our foundation is too weak. In many areas, we are indeed significantly behind." Zhou, having discussed so much about chips, "Do you have any solutions?" Zhou Yuqing replied, "Given the current circumstances, this matter can only be spearheaded by the government. If technology companies attempt to tackle it boldly, they will likely face immediate suppression from Western financial groups. With their strength, they simply cannot withstand it." Zhao Yinjing asked, "Will you work in the chip industry in the future?" Zhou Yuqing answered without hesitation, "Of course. Both for public and personal reasons, I will pursue it." Zhao Yinjing praised, "What our country needs most is entrepreneurs like you." Zhou Yuqing responded, "Chief Zhao, it won't be too late to commend me once I achieve success." In truth, Zhou Yuqing expressed these thoughts merely to prompt Zhao Yinjing, the deputy chief, to pay attention to the chip industry, thereby elevating the issue to higher authorities, lest they be caught off guard in the future and left powerless to retaliate. As for the effectiveness of his words, that was beyond Zhou Yuqing's control. After chatting for a while, Zhou Yuqing began to teach Zhao Yinjing the 13 forms of Tai Chi. It was evident that Zhao Yinjing possessed a foundation in Tai Chi, easily grasping the movements. The challenge lay in synchronizing breath and motion. After about an hour and a half of practice, Zhao Yinjing was finally able to perform the 13 forms from start to finish. Zhou Yuqing remarked, "The essence of the 13 forms of Tai Chi is not merely in the movements, but in the breathing technique. Each inhalation and exhalation can strengthen the internal organs and detoxify the body. Among all top wellness practices, the efficacy of the 13 forms of Tai Chi should rank in the top 3. Wiping the sweat from his forehead, Zhao Yinjing said, "After just one round, I feel utterly refreshed and invigorated. It seems far superior to the Tai Chi I usually practice." "No kidding," Zhao Shenghua proudly declared. "The reason I insisted you learn the 13 forms of Tai Chi is precisely due to its remarkable health benefits. You are so engrossed in your work that your physical condition is worse than mine, an old man nearing 80. You must practice diligently. I would prefer not to have you walk ahead of me." Hearing the old man's words, Zhao Yinjing could only manage a wry smile. Zhou Yuqing briefly explained to Zhao Yinjing the potential detox reactions before taking Xiaoya back home. Once the father and daughter departed, Zhao Shenghua inquired, "Yinjing, what do you think of Xiaozhou?" Zhao Yinjing pondered for a moment and replied, His emotional intelligence and intellect are exceptionally high. His vision, talent, capability, and character are all outstanding. To be frank, I have not encountered such an impressive young individual in a long time. Zhao Xinghua chuckled. I think he is quite remarkable as well. Zhao Yinjing then asked, Father, what is his background? Zhao Xinghua replied, I had someone investigate. He hails from an ordinary family, with no significant background. However, Xiaoya's mother is Shun Jingyun, the daughter of Shun Chenggang, the director of Yunhai Police. They are currently in a romantic relationship. A glimmer of intrigue flashed in Zhao Yinjing's eyes as he remarked, Shun Chenggang agreed to his daughter marrying into an ordinary family? From what Xiao Zhou suggested. It seems he did not oppose it. At this juncture, Zhao Xinghua cast him a glance and said, Shun Chenggang has a commendable reputation. He is diligent and practical, devoid of factional ties. He is a good comrade. Zhao Yinjing observed, if he is indeed a good comrade, he will surely be valued by those above. Zhao Xinghua, understanding the underlying implication in Zhao Yinjing's words, shifted the topic, saying, I will send you a video of Xiao Zhou explaining the 13 forms of Tai Chi. Make sure to practice diligently. I saw your health report, and it is even worse than mine. Do you truly intend for me to become a white-haired man, sending a black-haired one to the grave? Zhao Yinjing nodded, assuring, Father, rest assured, I will practice earnestly. In this world, only the old man would dare to scold him like that. Zhou Yuqin returned home with Xiaoya and helped her wash up. Perhaps the little girl was somewhat tired, as she fell into a sweet slumber before Zhou Yuqin could finish telling her a story. Gazing at her adorable little face, Zhou Yuqin felt a surge of affection. My dear, do you know how much your father loves you? He leaned down and planted a gentle kiss on Xiaoya's forehead before stepping out of her bedroom and softly closing the door. Chapter 131. Moving house back in his study. Zhou Yuqin opened his computer and began working diligently. After about an hour, a call from Shun Jingyun came in. Checking the time, he realized it was already 11:30 at night. You just got off work? Zhou Yuqin answered the phone. I'm almost home, she replied. Then come over to my place. I have an appointment with old Zhao to practice boxing in the morning. It would be troublesome if the little girl wakes up in the meantime. Are you serious? You aren't pulling my leg, are you? I swear it's true. All right. I'll be there shortly. 10 minutes later, the sound of the door opening echoed outside. Zhou Yuqin stood up from his study, switched on the living room lights, and smiled at Shin Jingyun, who was changing her slippers. Shin Jingyun looked somewhat puzzled by his gaze and touched her face, asking, What's wrong? Is there something on my face? Zhou Yuqin shook his head, saying, No, I just wanted to look at you. Shin Jingyun sighed. Zhou Yuqin, have you noticed how much you've changed? You used to give me a sense of composure and strength, but now you seem increasingly frivolous. Zhou Yuqin chuckled. Perhaps it's because I've developed feelings for you. His words left Shun Jingyun speechless. He refrained from teasing her further and asked, How did I perform tonight? Can I help you deal with those suitors? Shun Jingyun responded, You did well, but I don't understand why Director Zhang personally saw you off downstairs. Zhou Yuqin explained. He overheard my conversation with old Zhao and deduced his identity. Shin Jingyun suddenly understood. I see. Did you meet Deputy Consul Zhao tonight? Zhou Yuqin replied, I did. He is quite amiable. Shin Jingyun laughed. Amiable? You haven't seen his iron-willed side. To this day, there are still at least 30 to 40 officials imprisoned for bribery. Zhou Yuqin shrugged. That doesn't concern me. What I care about is when you will truly become my girlfriend. Shin Jingyun playfully retorted, Here you go again. Zhou Yuqin sighed. The saying a woman pursues a man, there's a veil. A man pursues a woman, there's a mountain is truly accurate. Shun Jingyun remarked with a teasing tone, What's the matter? Are you feeling disheartened? Zhou Yuqin admitted, a little. Shin Jingyun continued, You are already a billionaire. If you put the word out, who knows how many women would be vying for your attention? Zhou Yuqin interjected, and then I would end up with a host of ailments before 30, leading to a premature demise. Shun Jingyun burst into laughter at Zhou Yuqin's words, covering her mouth as she laughed uncontrollably. Zhou Yuqin, however, remained serious and said, I wish to find a heart that is truly mine, to never part until our hair turns white. Jingyun, I hope that the person I grow old with is you. Shin Jingyun's laughter abruptly ceased. She looked at Zhou Yuqin's serious expression and said, We haven't spent enough time together. Zhou Yuqin suggested, Then move in with me. Or I can move in with you. I swear, until you agree to be my girlfriend, I will never overstep my boundaries. Shin Jingyun contemplated for a moment and finally made a decision. I will move in on Saturday. A radiant smile broke across Zhou Yuqin's face. Wonderful. Having Shin Jingyun agree to cohabitate was undoubtedly a significant step forward in their relationship. Living under the same roof, over time, they would naturally grow accustomed to each other's presence, allowing their bond to deepen. On Saturday at 10 in the morning, Zhou Yuqin drove to Shun Jingyun's building. Since there was no school, Xiaoya had indulged in a long sleep and was just now waking up. As Zhou Yuqin stepped out of the car, he noticed a red Ferrari parked in front. Beside the sports car stood a young man in his 20s, dressed in a white shirt and black pants. Tall and handsome with an elegant demeanor. By appearances, he seemed to be at least a notch above Zhou Yuchen. The young man appeared to have just arrived, taking out a bouquet of vibrant roses from the car and heading upstairs. Zhou Yuchen sensed something amiss. In this building, Shen Jingyun was the only young woman. The other residents were either middle-aged couples with children or elderly individuals in their 60s or 70s. The young man carrying roses was undoubtedly pursuing a girl, and the target was all too obvious. Damn, this is a rival. Realizing this, Zhou Yuchen quickened his pace and caught up with him at the staircase on the second floor. The young man glanced at Zhou Yuchen in surprise. Ignoring him, Zhou Yuchen rushed up to the third floor, took out his keys, and opened the door. This scene darkened the young man's expression immediately. Who is this? Why does he have a key to Jingyun's apartment? Could that child be theirs? A flurry of questions plagued the young man's mind, leaving him distraught. Zhou Yuchen pretended not to notice the young man's presence and closed the door behind him. Dad, did Mom say we are moving in with you? Is that true? Upon hearing the commotion, the little girl, Xiaoya, rushed out of her bedroom with bare feet, her face brimming with excitement as she inquired eagerly of Zhou Yuchen. He swiftly lifted her into his arms and asked, "Is it true, my dear? Are you happy?" Xiaoya nodded vigorously and replied, "I am very happy. I can finally live with my mommy and daddy like other children." Zhou Yuchen was taken aback by her words, causing his smile to falter momentarily. Shen Jingyun, who had followed with slippers in hand, stood frozen in place. He planted a kiss on Xiaoya's cheek and assured her, "Sweetheart, I promise I will never leave you." Xiaoya tilted her head and asked, "What about mommy?" Zhou Yuchen turned to Shen Jingyun and resolutely stated, "The same goes for your mother. We will never be apart from you." Xiaoya cheered, "That's wonderful." Shen Jingyun and Zhou Yuchen exchanged glances, her lips curling into a faint smile, and he returned her smile. Just then, a series of knocks echoed from outside the door. "I'll go answer it," Zhou Yuchen said, handing the child to Shen Jingyun as he opened the door. "Whom do you seek?" The visitor was a handsome young man holding a bouquet of roses. "My name is Zheng Xue, and I am here to see Shen Jingyun." Upon hearing his name, Shen Jingyun's expression shifted. Zhou Yuchen frowned and asked, "Are you Jingyun's suitor?" Zheng Xue replied, "I am her ex-boyfriend." Zhou Yuchen raised an eyebrow and turned to Shen Jingyun. She stepped forward, cradling the child, and approached the door. Chapter 132. Shen Jingyun's first love. Gazing at the boy she had cherished since childhood, Shen Jingyun surprisingly felt an unusual calmness wash over her, with not a single ripple of emotion stirring within her heart. "Jingyun, it's been a long time," Zheng Xue greeted. "Indeed, it has been a while, Zheng Xue. Have you just returned from abroad?" She spoke with a polite detachment, as one would to an ordinary acquaintance. "I just returned yesterday, and, after learning your home address, came by today," he replied, presenting the roses to her with an affectionate gaze. Shen Jingyun stepped back and said, "Thank you for coming, but I already have a boyfriend, so I cannot accept your flowers. Allow me to introduce you. This is my boyfriend, Zhou Yuchen, and our daughter, Xiaoya. Yuchen, this is my university classmate, Zheng Xue." Zhou Yuchen extended his hand, saying, "Hello, Mr. Zheng." "Hello," Zheng Xue responded, shaking his hand, his smile resembling a grimace. As he tried to withdraw his hand, he realized Zhou Yuchen's grip was like a vice, holding him firmly. "What are you doing?" Zheng Xue frowned. Zhou Yuchen replied coolly, "Mr. Zheng, I wish to remind you that Jingyun is my future wife and the mother of my child. You are unaware of the situation. While I am somewhat irritated by your reckless visit with roses, I will not pursue this matter further. However, once is enough. I do not wish for a second occurrence. As a man, I trust you understand my meaning." Zheng Xue pursed his lips and asked, "Are you two married?" Zhou Yuchen coldly replied, "That seems irrelevant to you. As long as you are not married, I have the right to pursue Jingyun," Zheng Xue asserted. "Are you challenging me?" Zhou Yuchen tightened his grip, his eyes glinting menacingly, his voice as cold as the Siberian snow. Zheng Xue yelped in pain, his face turning a deep shade of purple as his hand cracked under the pressure. Knowing that he was already in a relationship with Shen Jingyun and had a child together, Zheng Xue's audacity to pursue her was a direct affront to Zhou Yuchen, a slap in the face that demanded a response. If Zhou Yuchen did not assert himself, he would risk appearing spineless. Sensing the tension, Shen Jingyun quickly interjected. "Xiaoya is here." The little girl, confused, asked, "Mommy, what are Daddy and this uncle doing? Why aren't they letting go of each other's hands?" Zhou Yuchen shot Zheng Xue a fierce glare before releasing his grip and turning to Xiaoya with a smile. "Daddy and Uncle Zheng are just having a little contest of strength. Daddy won." Xiaoya clapped her hands and said innocently, "Daddy is amazing." Zheng Xue, nursing his aching hand, gritted his teeth and said, "Zhou Yuchen, you are ruthless. I will remember this incident." Zhou Yuchen put an arm around his shoulders and whispered in his ear, "You should be grateful my daughter is here, otherwise I would break your legs. How dare you vie for a woman against me? Do you think you have many lives to spare?" Zheng Shui, staring into Zhou Yuchen's murderous gaze, felt as though he had fallen into an ice cavern. He struggled to free himself from Zhou Yuchen's hold, saying, "Get away from me." Zhou Yuchen released him, taking a step back and asking, "Aren't you leaving?" "Zhou Yuchen, you are unworthy of Jingyun, and I will not give up," Zheng Shui declared before hastily descending the stairs. Zhou Yuchen scoffed, "Coward." He had discerned Zheng Shui's bluster and weakness, which prompted him to assert his dominance. As expected, the man had been significantly intimidated by his glare. As for the parting words, they were merely an attempt to save face. Xiaoya asked, "Daddy, is he a bad person?" Zhou Yuchen closed the door, stating, "He is a very bad person because he wants to separate mommy and daddy." Xiaoya pouted, declaring, "That person is truly bad." Shen Jingyun interjected, "All right, Xiaoya, go eat breakfast. Your father and I need to tidy up." Xiaoya inquired, "Mommy, did daddy make breakfast for me?" Shen Jingyun replied, "Daddy brought breakfast a while ago. But you were sleeping like a little pig, so we couldn't bear to wake you." Xiaoya's face lit up with anticipation as she asked, "Daddy, what delicious food did you make for me?" Zhou Yuchen smiled, "I guessed you would sleep in, so I made you a cake with eggs." Xiaoya's eyes sparkled with delight. "That's wonderful. I love egg cake the most." Shen Jingyun set Xiaoya down, saying, "Then you should wash your hands." "Okay," Xiaoya replied, scampering off to wash her hands. Zhou Yuchen placed the egg cake on the table and warmed a cup of pure milk for the little one. Once Xiaoya settled into her chair and began to eat heartily, Zhou Yuchen entered the bedroom to assist Shen Jingyun with packing. Over the past couple of days, she had already packed away all her daily essentials into 3 large boxes. When Zhou Yuchen picked up a box in each hand, Shen Jingyun couldn't help but ask, "Aren't you curious about my past with Zheng Shui?" Zhou Yuchen set down the boxes and replied candidly, "Of course, I am curious." Shen Jingyun shot him a look, exasperated. "Then why don't you ask me?" Zhou Yuchen shrugged, stating, "I could see that when you met Zheng Shui, you did not exhibit any particular emotions. Even if there was a past, I believe your feelings are not deep, at least not as profound as mine for Su Xiaoya. Thus, I respect your wishes. If you want to speak, you may, and if not, then that is your choice." Shen Jingyun found Zhou Yuchen's words amusing and said, "Your feelings for Su Xiaoya are indeed unmatched. You will certainly never forget her in this lifetime." Zhou Yuchen remarked, "Not just in this lifetime. It is likely that I will never forget this in my next life." Shen Jingyun remarked, "I believe it would be better to explain this to you, lest you fall into doubt and misunderstandings." Zhou Yuchen greatly admired Shen Jingyun's wisdom and responded with a smile, "Please, go ahead. I am all ears." Shen Jingyun recounted her tale with Zheng Shui. In brief, during her university years, Zheng Shui relentlessly pursued her for over a year. Eventually, she agreed to be his girlfriend, only to discover that he was a scoundrel, simultaneously flirting with the daughter of a wealthy man. Shen Jingyun, being the person she is, could not tolerate such indignity and promptly chose to break up with him. After hearing this, Zhou Yuchen, with curiosity, inquired, "Was the daughter of the wealthy man beautiful?" Shen Jingyun, rarely making a joke, replied, "She was a hefty beauty, standing at 160 centimeters and weighing over 140 pounds. Zheng Shui was not after her for her looks, but rather for her wealth." Zhou Yuchen sighed and remarked, "Indeed, we are quite the pair. Your ex-boyfriend donned the green hat on you for money, while my ex-girlfriend sent me to prison for the same reason. However, in comparison, your situation seems far less tragic." Shen Jingyun laughed, "What do you mean by seems? Clearly, you have the more tragic tale. I have never heard of anyone who ended up in prison over a romance." Zhou Yuchen conceded, "All right, you win." Meanwhile, Zheng Shui drove his Ferrari out of the community. The more he thought about it, the angrier he became. He parked the car by the roadside, took out his phone, and made a call. "Hello, Boss Su, this is Zheng Shui." "Ah, Zheng, is there something you need? I would like to ask you to investigate someone." "Who?" "I only know his name is Zhou Yuchen, around 25 or 26 years old, drives a Mercedes Maybach, and his license plate is." "All right, this information is sufficient. How much will it cost?" "I will transfer the money right away. This is a trivial matter. Consider it a welcome gift for your return." "Thank you." After hanging up, Zheng Shui wore a grim expression as he contemplated how to deal with Zhou Yuchen. Soon, a sinister smile crept across his lips. Upon bringing Shen Jingyun and little Ye home, Zhou Yuchen placed their luggage in the bedroom and asked, "Is there anything else you need me to do?" Shen Jingyun replied, "You can take Ye out to play. I will handle the rest." Zhou Yuchen agreed, "All right. By the way, the guest room next door has been transformed into a study. You can use it to read or work." "Really?" Shen Jingyun walked in to find the bed replaced with a 3-meter-long desk, a brand new computer, and a massive bookshelf, clearly top tier in quality. "When did you do this?" Shen Jingyun asked, touched by Zhou Yuchen's thoughtfulness. "I had it done yesterday," he replied. "Thank you," she expressed gratefully. "It's nothing," he smiled. "You focus on your work. I will take little Ye out to play." "Daddy, I want to slide." Little Yaya exclaimed. Zhou Yuqin snapped his fingers. No problem. Let's go. Wait, bring some water. Shun Jingyun retrieved Yaya's thermos from the suitcase and filled it with warm water. Without a care for his appearance, Zhou Yuqin slung the thermos strap around his neck, took little Yaya's hand, and headed outside, prompting a warm smile from Shun Jingyun. In the afternoon, Zhou Qing visited. Upon hearing that the mother and daughter had moved in with Zhou Yuqin, she was delighted. Brother, you are but one step away from success. In the kitchen, as she washed seafood, Zhou Qing softly said to Zhou Yuqin. He smiled. Rest assured, Jingyun will surely become your sister-in-law in the future. Zhou Qing replied. I hope that day arrives soon. What day? Shun Jingyun entered and asked. Zhou Qing bluntly replied. The day you become my sister-in-law. Shun Jingyun glanced at Zhou Yuqin, who shrugged. That's what she said. It has nothing to do with me. Zhou Qing continued. Sister Jingyun, while my brother has his flaws on the whole, he is rather decent. If full marks are 100, he would at least score 60 or 70. Plus, with your adorable little one, that's an additional 10 points. Raising his score to 70 or 80. That's quite commendable among the multitude of dreadful men. You might as well settle. Shun Jingyun could not help but laugh. So in your eyes, your brother scores so low? Zhou Qing retorted. Just look at his looks compared to yours. That alone deducts at least 30 points. I'm being quite generous here. I appreciate your generosity, Zhou Yuqin said. Zhou Qing asked, Sister Jingyun, what score would you give my brother? Zhou Yuqin perked up, eager to hear her response. Shun Jingyun replied, this question is rather challenging. I need to ponder it before providing you with an answer. However, my score will undoubtedly be higher than yours, as I am not one to judge solely on looks. Your brother's appearance does not detract from my assessment. Zhou Qing sighed. My brother said you possess both high emotional and intellectual intelligence, and he could not have been more accurate. Shun Jingyun smiled. Then how many points would you assign me? Without hesitation, Zhou Qing declared, of course, full marks. I have yet to encounter a girl more beautiful and accomplished than you. And what about me? What score do I get? Shun Jingyun asked. Need I say? Certainly full marks. For I have never seen a more stunning and brilliant student like you. Zhou Yuqin, feeling overwhelmed, interjected, ladies, is this mutual flattery really necessary? Shun Jingyun and Zhou Qing exchanged glances and simultaneously declared, big straight man. Zhou Yuqin was left speechless. That evening, the four of them gathered around the table for a sumptuous seafood feast. Zhou Qing chose to stay the night at Zhou Yuqin's home instead of returning to school. The next day, Shun Jingyun took little Yaya to visit her grandparents for the weekend. Zhou Yuqin drove Zhou Qing back to school and then headed to the recording studio alone. Within an hour, and for the sum of 500 yuan, he successfully recorded The Mouse Loves the Rice and 3 Butterflies. Upon returning home, he opened his computer and uploaded these 2 songs to the free section of the 3 major music platforms. In the Yunhai government family compound, Daiwan and Shun Jingyun were in the kitchen, preparing a meal while chatting. Upon learning that her daughter had moved in with Zhou Yuqin, Daiwan raised an eyebrow and asked, weren't you planning to test Zhou Yuqin? Why did you suddenly make this decision? Shun Jingyun paused for a moment before candidly stating, Mom, Zhou Yuqin is truly wonderful. I have developed feelings for him. Daiwan did not seem surprised and smiled. I noticed it long ago. Little Zhou possesses character, talent, and abilities that are indeed rare among his peers. I believe most girls would fall for him after spending some time together. Shun Jingyun nodded, aside from his ordinary looks. Zhou Yuqin is nearly perfect in every other regard. Daiwan advised, now that you have confirmed your feelings, do not hesitate. I was previously concerned that you might compromise your happiness just to provide little Yaya with a complete family by marrying little Zhou. But it seems I can rest easy now. Chapter 134. The Trap of Zheng Shuai. Shun Jingyun pouted playfully. Mother, I would never indulge in such foolishness. If it weren't for my genuine affection for Zhou Yuqin, I could endure it for a moment after marriage, but certainly not for a lifetime. Eventually, the contradictions would erupt. By then, the harm to Xiaoyu could be even greater. Daiwan gave her a thumbs up, exclaiming, smart. Shun Jingyun shook her head and smiled wryly. If I were truly wise, I wouldn't have misjudged people back in university. Daiwan's expression changed. Zheng Shuai has returned to seek you out? Shun Jingyun confirmed with a nod and briefly recounted Zheng Shuai's visit. This morning, he called me, inviting me to a cafe at 3 this afternoon, and I agreed. Daiwan frowned slightly. Why did you agree? Shun Jingyun replied, I want to put an end to this, so he won't bother me anymore. Daiwan nodded, that's fine. However, it would be prudent to inform Xiaozhou in advance, to avoid any misunderstandings. Shun Jingyun assured her, I understand. At 3 o'clock, Shun Jingyun entered the cafe where she had arranged to meet Zheng Shuai. It appeared that Zheng Shuai had reserved the entire place, as there were no other patrons besides the 2 of them. She sat directly opposite him and asked straightforwardly, Mr. Zheng, let us get straight to the point. What do you want? Zheng Shuai's eyes brimmed with affection as he said, Jingyun, I have never forgotten you all these years. I hope we can start anew. Shin Jingyun found his words laughable and retorted, "What about Chu Xian?" Chu Xian was the wealthy young lady involved with Zheng Shuai. Shin Jingyun had long suspected that their relationship was not one of love, but rather that Zheng Shuai had been financially supported by Chu Xian. We've long since broken up. I am now the vice president of Nanming Electronics, Zheng Shuai hurriedly explained. Shin Jingyun displayed a strange expression. I remember the president of Nanming Electronics is Chu Nanming, who happens to be Chu Xian's father. Zheng Shuai. I finally understand. Your relationship with Chu Xian was merely a stepping stone to enter Nanming Electronics. Impressive that you thought ahead during university. But it's no wonder you've achieved the position of vice president at such a young age. Zheng Shuai responded, Jingyun. I am merely a child from an ordinary family, seizing every opportunity to climb higher. After years of hard work, I have succeeded. If you are willing to be with me, I will ensure your happiness for a lifetime and treat that child as my own. Upon hearing his words, Shin Jingyun suddenly thought of Zhou Yuchen. Both hailed from humble beginnings and harbored great aspirations, yet their paths diverged completely. One resorted to cunning and unscrupulous means, even betraying oneself for advancement, while the other pursued knowledge and integrity to alter his fate. Today, both could be deemed successful individuals. Yet Zhou Yuchen's honorable path evoked genuine admiration, while Zheng Shuai's dubious methods invited disdain. The disparity between them was as vast as the chasm between heaven and earth. To compare the two was a disservice to Zhou Yuchen. Zheng Shuai, our values are incompatible. Even without the matter of Chu Xian, we could never be together. I came here to inform you that my heart belongs to Zhou Yuchen. I hope you will cease to disturb us. As Shin Jingyun stood to leave, Zheng Shuai quickly grasped her hand, insisting, Jingyun, Zhou Yuchen is merely an ex-convict. He is unworthy of you. Shin Jingyun yanked her hand away, her expression darkening as she retorted, Zheng Shuai, are you trying to act like a rogue in broad daylight? Zheng Shuai smiled wryly. I apologize, Jingyun. I was just overwhelmed in the moment and meant no offense. Shin Jingyun shot him a cold glance. In terms of character and capability, you pale in comparison to Zhou Yuchen. With that, she stormed out. Zheng Shuai, like a stubborn piece of chewing gum, followed her, incessantly expressing his feelings, which only filled Shin Jingyun with revulsion and anger. Reaching her car, Shin Jingyun opened the door, ducked inside, and immediately started the engine, leaving without uttering a word. She felt immense regret for attending the meeting, as it was entirely unnecessary suffering. Watching her car disappear, Zheng Shuai wore a radiant smile. He picked up his phone and dialed a number. 5 minutes later, a man wearing sunglasses and holding a camera exited the cafe. Zheng Shuai inquired, how did the shoot go? The man gave an okay sign and replied, very well. Zheng Shuai pressed further, can it be seamless? The man confidently assured him, rest assured. Our photo editing skills are professional. Even an expert wouldn't detect it, let alone layman. Zheng Shuai asked, how long will it take? The man replied, tonight, it will be completed. Mr. Zheng, you truly have an eye for beauty. In all my years as a photographer, this is the first time I've encountered such a stunning woman. Zheng Shuai smirked, his eyes glinting with ambition. Anyone I set my sights on is undoubtedly exceptional, and no woman can escape my grasp, including Shin Jingyun. At that moment, Shin Jingyun remained oblivious to the fact that she had fallen into Zheng Shuai's trap. Upon returning to the government compound, she parked her car and immediately called Zhou Yuchen, vehemently scolding Zheng Shuai. It was the first time Zhou Yuchen had seen her so agitated, and he quickly sought to comfort her. At 8 that evening, after dinner with Xiaoyu, Shin Jingyun returned home. Once Xiaoyu had drifted into slumber, Shin Jingyun entered Zhou Yuchen's study. Hearing her footsteps, Zhou Yuchen turned and said, I have sent the outlines for the first 3 parts of Harry Potter to your email. Please revise any inappropriate sections. Shin Jingyun nodded, got it. Zhou Yuchen smiled, what's wrong? Are you still upset? Shin Jingyun replied, I'm no longer upset. I simply have never encountered such shamelessness, and his audacity infuriated me. In the past, Zheng Shuai was diligent and studious, just like you, an exemplary student. How could he have changed so drastically in just a few years? Chapter 135. What is wrong with you? Zhou Yuchen remarked, society is the best university. Everyone's circumstances differ, leading to disparate choices. What surprises me is why you chose to inform me about the meeting. Were you worried I might misunderstand and wanted to preemptively notify me? Shin Jingyun found herself momentarily speechless, unsure how to explain. Zhou Yuchen's expression gleamed with satisfaction. No need for explanations. I already understand your intentions. In the future, should I meet with other women, I will also inform you. Shin Jingyun bit her lip. Do as you wish. I'm going to review the outline you wrote. Watching her leave, a smile crept onto Zhou Yuchen's lips. The next morning, Zhou Yuchen took the little girl to school. Upon arriving at the parking lot, he noticed an envelope on the windshield of his car. Zhou Yuchen picked up the envelope and noticed it was addressed to him in bold letters. to Zhou Yuchen. Little Ye curiously inquired, "Daddy, what is this?" Zhou Yuchen glanced around and replied with a smile, "It's a letter someone wrote to me. Sweetheart, we must hurry, or we will be late." Half an hour later, Zhou Yuchen dropped little Ye off at kindergarten and returned to his car, where he opened the envelope. Inside were over 10 photographs, all depicting intimate moments between Shun Jingyun and Zheng Xuei in a cafe. Zhou Yuchen furrowed his brow as he picked up the photos, scrutinizing them closely, quickly uncovering the flaws. They were all digitally altered images, displaying slight discrepancies in brightness, something an ordinary person would undoubtedly overlook. However, as an adept photo editor himself, Zhou Yuchen recognized the impossibility of deceiving him. Setting the photos aside, Zhou Yuchen scoffed, engaging in such childish tricks. Zheng Xuei truly is immature. Just then, his phone rang. Upon checking, he saw an unfamiliar number. "Hello, this is Zhou Yuchen. Who is this?" "This is Zheng Xuei." This man was indeed impatient. Zhou Yuchen calmly inquired, "How did you obtain my contact information?" Zheng Xuei smugly replied, "As the vice president of Nanming Electronics Group. Acquiring your contact details is hardly a challenge." Zhou Yuchen asked, "What do you want?" Zheng Xuei chuckled, "You must have received the photos I sent, right?" Zhou Yuchen, "First loves are unforgettable. Jingyun could never forget me. If you don't want to be wearing a green hat, it would be wise to leave Jingyun immediately." Zhou Yuchen replied nonchalantly, "You must have investigated me, haven't you?" Zheng Xuei boasted, "The founder of Yuechen Gaming Company, a billionaire entrepreneur, barely qualifies as a young talent." Zhou Yuchen chuckled, "The word barely is aptly chosen. In truth, I hold another title, technical consultant for the Yunhai Police Department." Zheng Xuei, attempting to deceive a tech expert with a handful of altered photos. "Are you out of your mind? Allow me to impart a lesson. The simplest method to determine if a photo has been edited is to examine the background and brightness. With today's technology, achieving seamless edits is utterly impossible." Zheng Xuei, suspecting Zhou Yuchen was merely testing him, sneered, "Zhou Yuchen, facts are facts. Your stubbornness is futile." Zhou Yuchen burst into laughter, saying, "I've realized you are nothing but a superficial individual. Your position as vice president of Nanming comes not from ability, but rather from your prowess in bed." Zheng Xuei, "Does being dominated by a large woman make you feel like a mountain is pressing down on you? Contemplating that sensation evokes pity in me. A friendly warning, do not disseminate those altered images. Otherwise, I will personally ensure you find yourself behind bars." With that, Zhou Yuchen hung up the phone. In a high-end apartment, Zheng Xuei set down his phone, his expression darkening to an extreme. "Zheng, what is the situation? He must be furious by now, right? I'm the one who is about to lose my mind." Zheng Xuei's eyes blazed with fury as he pointed at the photographer, wearing sunglasses, seated on the couch, and shouted, "Didn't you say the photos were flawless? How could he spot the issues so easily?" The photographer, Zhong Xing, stood up in disbelief. "That's impossible. I used the latest PS technology from the States. That technology is worthless." Zheng Xuei grabbed a photo, moved to the balcony, and scrutinized it closely, discovering indeed some subtle brightness discrepancies, further fueling his anger. "Zhong Xing, get the hell out." Zheng Xuei returned to the living room, tearing the photos to shreds. Glaring at the photographer, Zhong Xing pursed his lips and said, "Zheng, what about the final payment? You've messed this up beyond repair and still expect your payment? Dream on. Get lost." Seeing Zheng Xuei's fury, Zhong Xing shrank back, dared not say another word, and left in a hurry. Zheng Xuei cursed. Just then, his phone rang again. Upon seeing the caller ID, his rage evaporated instantly, replaced by a sycophantic demeanor. "Honey, what can I do for you? How could I possibly dare seek another woman behind your back? You're coming back tonight. Splendid. I'll drive to the airport to pick you up." After hanging up, Zheng Xuei's expression soured again. His domineering wife was coming to Yunhai, instilling in him a sense of dread. That night, after putting the child to sleep, Shen Jingyun entered Zhou Yuchen's study and directly asked, "What is wrong with you?" Upon returning from work that afternoon, she had sensed something was amiss with Zhou Yuchen. After several inquiries, he remained tight-lipped. Given their child was present, Shen Jingyun refrained from pressing further, but felt Zhou Yuchen's coldness towards her intensify. What was happening? Shen Jingyun's mind was filled with questions. Zhou Yuchen closed the study door and, in a somber tone, asked, "Jingyun, answer me honestly. Have you never truly moved on from Zheng Xuei?" Shen Jingyun was taken aback, exclaiming, "What nonsense are you speaking? How could I not move on from him?" Zhou Yuchen pressed his lips together and said, "I always believed your reluctance to be my girlfriend stemmed from the notion that our relationship hadn't reached that level. However, it appears now that I was merely deluding myself. Jingyun, I am not a shameless person. If you had simply told me you had no feelings for me, I would have certainly ceased my pursuit. But you cannot treat me as disposable." Shen Jingyun felt confused, but recognized that something significant had transpired between them. Composed, she replied, "Yuchen, After all this time together, you should know I am not the type to casually toy with emotions. Tell me, what is truly going on? Chapter 136. A breakthrough in their relationship. Zhou Yuqin produced the envelope that Zheng Xuei had covertly handed him and extended it to Shen Jingyun. She opened the envelope, and upon seeing the collection of photographs, her expression morphed into one of astonishment. How is this possible? Shen Jingyun stood up abruptly, disbelief etched across her features. Zhou Yuqin stole a glance at her, secretly amused. After his phone conversation with Zheng Xuei, he had initially intended to tear the photos apart and discard them. However, he later perceived this as an opportunity, deciding to keep them for a dramatic revelation. His purpose was clear: to compel Shen Jingyun to express her true feelings, thereby breaking the awkward tension of their relationship, which had hovered between friendship and romance. Judging by the current scenario, the outcome seemed promising. After her shock faded, Shen Jingyun inhaled deeply, striving to regain her composure. Yuqin, if I were to claim these photos are fabricated, would you believe me? Zhou Yuqin remained silent for a moment before responding. If the individuals in those photos were me and another woman, would you still insist they are false? Shen Jingyun grew agitated, asserting, these photos are clearly fabricated by Zheng Xuei. I was in that cafe for merely 3 minutes before we parted ways unhappily. Yuqin, don't fall for his tricks. You must believe me. Zhou Yuqin summoned his inner strength, reddening his eyes and displaying a sorrowful visage as he said, Jingyun, please stop. In truth, I know I am unworthy of you. You are like a swan soaring in the sky, while I am but a toad on the ground. If it weren't for the serendipity of having little Yeya, our paths would never have crossed. I was wrong to think I could ever be with you. Your repeated rejections of my affections should have made it clear to me. Upon the conclusion of this exchange, it was not only Shen Jingyun who felt a surge of emotion, but even Zhou Yuqin himself was on the verge of shedding tears. With reddened eyes, Shen Jingyun declared, Yuqin, Zhou Yuqin raised his hand to interrupt her, asking, I have but one question for you. Have you ever harbored feelings for me, even the slightest? Taking a deep breath, Shen Jingyun replied, Yuqin, I can affirmatively tell you that I have liked you for quite some time. Otherwise, I would not have brought Xiaoya to stay with you. The reason I have not agreed to be your girlfriend is that I am aware that the more easily something is obtained, the less it is cherished by you men. Of course, I also wish to test you. Zhou Yuqin inquired, what do you mean by testing me? Shen Jingyun explained, many individuals, upon suddenly acquiring wealth, experience a shift in their mindset. I wanted to observe whether you would indulge yourself and transform into someone entirely unrecognizable once you became a billionaire. I am pleased to see that you have remained unchanged. As for those photographs, I can swear they are all fabricated. Zhou Yuqin, unconcerned with the photographs, pressed further. Are you certain that you truly like me? Shen Jingyun nodded, stating, I am certain. Tomorrow, I will seek out Zheng Xuei to inquire about the situation. Zhou Yuqin replied, there is no need for that. Shen Jingyun was taken aback, asking, why not? Zhou Yuqin, holding back a chuckle, responded, because I trust you. Noticing a peculiar expression on Zhou Yuqin's face, Shen Jingyun suddenly felt a spark of realization, exclaiming, you are an advisor in the cyber technology department of the police. You should be able to discern the authenticity of those photographs, right? Zhou Yuqin turned away, stating, I am not well versed in Photoshop. As soon as the words left his mouth, he realized he had misspoken. Indeed, Shen Jingyun seized upon this flaw, stepping closer to him, locking her gaze onto his eyes, and asked, what Photoshop? Zhou Yuqin, unable to deflect, feigned ignorance. What are you talking about? Zhou Yuqin, it is truly a pity you are not an actor. Shen Jingyun concluded, having confirmed her suspicions about his deceit. Angrily, she began to walk away. Zhou Yuqin could not let her leave at that moment. He immediately stood up, grasped her arm, and pulled her into his embrace, whispering, Jingyun, your refusal to be my girlfriend has made me somewhat anxious. I had no other option but to use Zheng Xuei's photographs to pressure you. Shen Jingyun broke free from his embrace, stating, so your scheme has succeeded. Are you particularly delighted? Zhou Yuqin chuckled. Indeed, I am quite elated, especially when you confessed your feelings for me. I nearly jumped for joy. You scoundrel, Shen Jingyun retorted, balling her fist to strike him. Zhou Yuqin caught her hand and pulled her close once more, earnestly declaring, I promise, in this lifetime, I will love only you. Regardless of what the future holds, I will never betray you or Xiaoya. Jingyun, will you be my girlfriend? Shen Jingyun playfully responded, at this point, do I have any grounds to refuse? Zhou Yuqin replied, none whatsoever. Shen Jingyun rolled her eyes and questioned, then why ask? Their gazes locked, and moments later, they shared a tender kiss. The temperature in the study began to rise. Just as they approached a critical threshold, Shen Jingyun suddenly regained her senses. Swiftly restraining the wandering hand that had ventured beneath her clothing, her beautiful eyes fixed upon Zhou Yuqin. Zhou Yuqin understood her intent and withdrew his hand, sheepishly admitting, I couldn't help myself. Shen Jingyun wrapped her arms around Zhou Yuchen's neck, stipulating, "You must promise me that only after we obtain our marriage certificate may you touch me." Zhou Yuchen agreed. "Very well, I promise." "Thank you," Shen Jingyun said, pecking him on the cheek before turning to leave. Zhou Yuchen muttered to himself, "What a captivating enchantress." Unbeknownst to him, this enchantress was blushing fiercely. The following morning, after practicing martial arts in the small square, Zhou Yuchen hurried home to prepare breakfast. As he set the meal on the table, Shen Jingyun emerged from the bedroom, accompanied by a drowsy Xiaoya. Upon seeing Zhou Yuchen, Shen Jingyun appeared to recall the events of the previous night, her face flushing with shyness. Xiaoya rubbed her eyes and innocently inquired, "Mommy, why is your face so red?" Zhou Yuchen couldn't contain his laughter. Shen Jingyun shot him a fierce glare, replying, "Mommy is just a bit warm. Are you not coming down with a fever?" Xiaoya reached out to touch her forehead. Shen Jingyun caught the little one's hand, asserting, "Mommy is not feverish. Quickly wash your hands and face, or you'll be late." Xiaoya complied, following Shen Jingyun to freshen up. After breakfast, Shen Jingyun gathered her belongings and informed the father-daughter duo, "I must be off now." "Wait." Zhou Yuchen stood up, approached her, and planted a kiss on her cheek, saying, "This is a perk of being your boyfriend. Drive safely on your way to work." Shen Jingyun shot him a playful, flirtatious glance, retorting, "I know." Chapter 137. The contest for the factory. After Xiaoya finished her breakfast, Zhou Yuchen took her to school before heading straight to the Yunhai court. At 9:30 a.m., the government was auctioning the Hongda mobile phone battery manufacturing plant at the Yunhai court, requiring all participants to arrive 20 minutes early. Zhou Yuchen hurriedly made his way there and finally arrived just in time. Upon entering the court, he was struck by the sight of a packed room. Scanning the crowd, he was surprised to see Zheng Shuai seated in the front row. It made sense, as Nanning Electronics Group's flagship product was mobile phones. It was only natural for him to be interested in purchasing a battery manufacturing plant. As if sensing Zhou Yuchen's gaze, Zheng Shuai, who had been conversing with a nearby executive, turned to look at him, momentarily taken aback. "What brings you here, Zhou Yuchen?" he sneered, walking over. Zhou Yuchen smiled, responding, "I come and go as I please. What business is it of yours?" Zheng Shuai retorted coldly, "This is not a place where anyone can just waltz in." The nearby auction participants turned their attention to the two men upon hearing Zheng Shuai's words. Zhou Yuchen replied, "Do not underestimate yourself. Not everyone can cater to others as well as you do." Laughter erupted among the crowd, as everyone knew the reason behind Zheng Shuai's rise to the position of vice president of Nanning. The laughter grated on Zheng Shuai's ears, darkening his expression. "Zhou Yuchen, you are merely a small-time gaming company owner. You hardly hold any significance. Whether or not I am significant is of no concern to you. However, I must ask how this illustrious gigolo has the audacity to show his face here at such a grand occasion. If I were in your shoes, I would have long found a place to hide and not dare to face anyone." Zheng Shuai's face turned a deep shade of anger. Zhou Yuchen continued, "In truth, there is no need for you to be upset. After all, not everyone can thrive in the role of a sugar baby. Much like myself. Even if I wished to partake, no one would offer." The crowd erupted in laughter once more. At that moment, a short, plump woman approached. Though her appearance was unremarkable, she was dressed in high-end international fashion brands, though the overall effect left much to be desired. Her commanding presence silenced the room as her sharp gaze swept across the audience. Zheng Shuai revealed a smile and said, "Dear wife, you have arrived." The woman in question was Chu Xin, the daughter of Chu Nanming, the president of Nanming Electronics Group. "You have quite the audacity to mock my associates," she remarked coldly. Scrutinizing Zhou Yuchen inquired, "And you are?" Zheng Shuai raised an eyebrow, proudly stating, "This is Chu Xin, the general manager of Nanming Electronics Group." Zhou Yuchen replied, "Ah, so you are under her patronage." Zheng Shuai's face instantly turned a shade of deep crimson. Others around could hardly suppress their amusement, stifling their laughter. Nanming Electronics Group is a leading mobile phone manufacturer in Xia country, and no one wishes to offend Chu Xin without cause. A glimmer of coldness flashed in Chu Xin's eyes as she declared, "Apologize to Shuai for your words, and I may overlook this incident." Zhou Yuchen replied nonchalantly, "The one who should apologize is he. To spend your money and dine at your table, only to present roses at my girlfriend's doorstep. Miss Chu, kindly manage your dog better." "Is that so?" Chu Xin's expression changed, turning to Zheng Shuai. Zheng Shuai panicked, insisting, "Wife, do not listen to his nonsense. I have never done such a thing." Zhou Yuchen scoffed, "Dare to act, but not to own it. No wonder you can only live off others." Chu Xin retorted, regardless of Shuai's past actions, "Your insolence today demands an apology." Zhou Yuchen smiled, "I regret to inform you that my few merits do not include bending easily. If you expect an apology, you may be sorely disappointed." Chu Xin fixed him with a penetrating gaze, saying, "We shall see." With that, She turned and walked away, with Zheng Shuai hastily following. The crowd regarded him with disdain. Zhou Yuqing casually found a seat. A middle-aged man seated nearby leaned in and whispered, "Young man, be cautious. Chu Xian is known for her vendettas." Zhou Yuqing nodded. "Thank you for the warning. I run a gaming company, while Naming Electronics is in mobile manufacturing. Their prowess does not affect me." The middle-aged man asked, "Then why attend this auction?" Zhou Yuqing replied, "I aim to research and sell mobile batteries. And Honda Battery Factory seems fitting, so here I am." The man expressed surprise. "You intend to bid for Honda?" Zhou Yuqing confirmed, "That is my intention." The man gave a thumbs up. "Impressive." Zhou Yuqing asked, "Aren't you here to bid for Honda?" The man replied, "I am in real estate. Today, 3 plots of land will be auctioned, and I plan to acquire one." Zhou Yuqing remarked, "Land will be invaluable in the future. Securing a plot will surely yield great profits." The man chuckled, "May your words bring me fortune." At 9:30, the auction commenced. Unlike commercial auctions, the auctioneer refrained from theatrics, proceeding methodically. Today's items included the Honda mobile battery manufacturing plant, 6 properties, and 3 plots of land. Interest in the properties was tepid, but competition for the land was fierce, with each plot fetching over $1 billion. The middle-aged man beside Zhou Yuqing successfully purchased the 3rd plot for $12 billion. Though his expression suggested dissatisfaction, likely due to the higher-than-expected price. Finally, it was time for the Honda mobile battery manufacturing plant. The court set a reserve price of $15 billion, sufficient to clear Honda Group's debts. $18 billion, the auctioneer announced, and Chu Xian immediately raised her paddle, increasing the bid by $3 billion. Several interested bidders frowned at this steep rise. $18 billion, $10 million, a representative from Xingchen Group, a competitor in the Xiao mobile market, raised his paddle. Chu Xian, undeterred, matched with another increase of $10 million. The two companies engaged in a fierce back and forth. $18 billion, $30 million. $18 billion, $40 million. $18 billion, $50 million. The bidding escalated to $19 billion, $500 million, at which point the Xingchen representative surrendered, raising his hands. "Is there any bid higher than $19 billion, $500 million? The auctioneer inquired, met with silence as the price seemed to exceed everyone's threshold. Only Zhou Yuqing raised his paddle, declaring $19 billion, $600 million. The crowd turned to him, astonished. "Who is this young man? Why have I never seen him before?" Whispers spread. Chu Xian glared at Zhou Yuqing, her demeanor darkening. In reality, Naming Electronics had set a maximum bid of $19 billion, $200 million. Chu Xian's price exceeded it by $300 million. Believing she had outmaneuvered Xingchen Group, she was blindsided by this unexpected challenger, especially one with whom she had previous conflicts. Igniting her irritation, Zheng Shuai stood, exclaiming, "Zhou Yuqing, do you possess such wealth?" Zhou Yuqing glanced at him dismissively, replying, "I refuse to answer such a foolish question." Laughter erupted throughout the room. Chu Xian, feeling embarrassed, snapped, "Sit down." Zheng Shuai, flustered, complied. The auctioneer turned to Chu Xian. "The current bid stands at $19 billion, $600 million. Is there a higher offer?" After a moment's contemplation, Chu Xian raised her paddle, stating, $19 billion, $700 million. Zhou Yuqing, without hesitation, countered, $19 billion, $800 million. Chu Xian, refusing to make an impulsive decision for the sake of pride, calmly stated, "I concede. Is there a bid higher than $19 billion, $800 million? $19 billion, $800 million, first call. $19 billion, $800 million, second call. $19 billion, $800 million, third call. Sold." With the auctioneer's gavel, a radiant smile spread across Zhou Yuqing's face. He had anticipated needing at least $20 billion to secure the Honda mobile battery manufacturing plant, but acquiring it for $19 billion, $800 million delighted him immensely. After the auction concluded, the representative from Xingchen Group approached Zhou Yuqing, extending his hand with a smile. "I am Lang Yan, the vice president of Xingchen Group. May I ask your name?" Zhou Yuqing shook his hand, responding, "I am Zhou Yuqing, founder of Yuechen Gaming Company." "Yuechen Gaming Company?" Lang Yan's eyes lit up. "If I recall correctly, the globally popular Fruit Night and Angry Birds are your creations?" Zhou Yuqing smiled modestly. "You flatter me. They are merely 2 simple games." Lang Yan remarked, "Truly, heroes emerge from youth. Mr. Zhou, you have spent nearly $20 billion acquiring the battery manufacturing plant. Are you planning to enter the mobile industry?" Zhou Yuqing explained, "To be precise, I am interested in the lithium battery sector. Mr. Lang, if I can develop a 4,000 mAh battery and a 66W high power charger, ensuring that it can be fully charged within half an hour, would your star group consider collaborating with me?" Mr. Lang replied, "A high-capacity battery with prolonged standby and rapid charging in half an hour is an irresistible combination. Mr. Zhou, if you can achieve this, not only will our star group be interested, but I believe manufacturers across the globe will seek your partnership." Zhou Yuqing nodded and asked, "May I have a business card? I will contact you once I succeed." Mr. Lang took out a card from his pocket and handed it to Zhou Yuqing, saying, "I look forward to your good news." "Mr. Lang, do you think this is feasible?" A chilling voice interrupted their conversation. The speaker was Chu Xin. Mr. Lang smiled and asked, "Miss Chu, what do you mean?" Chu Xin replied, "Countless phone manufacturers worldwide are striving to develop larger batteries and faster charging technologies, yet the results have been less than satisfactory. Do you really believe a small game development company owner can achieve this?" Zheng Shuai chimed in, "Mr. Lang, I advise you not to waste that business card." Mr. Lang chuckled. Before the emergence of Yueqin Gaming Company, who could have predicted Mr. Zhou would develop two globally popular mobile casual games? Since Mr. Zhou is willing to invest nearly $2 billion in a battery manufacturing plant, I believe he must have considerable confidence. Zhou Yuqing confidently asserted, "It's not just confidence. It's absolute certainty." "Miss Chu, would you care to make a wager?" Miss Chu raised an eyebrow and inquired, "What sort of wager?" Zhou Yuqing declared, "I will successfully develop a 4,000 mAh battery paired with a 66W charger by year-end." Without hesitation, Ms. Chu responded, "If you succeed, I will give you 10 million. And in the future, our Nanming phones will source batteries from you. Should you fail, I won't demand money. But I expect you to publicly kneel and apologize to me and Shuei." Ms. Chu displayed an impressive fortitude. Upon hearing her words, Zhou Yuqing's impression of her improved significantly. "I dislike taking advantage of others. If I lose, I will not only kneel and apologize, but will also give you 10 million. Ms. Chu scrutinized Zhou Yuqing intently and said, "Very well, you have my respect. Mr. Lang, please witness our agreement." Mr. Lang nodded, "Of course." After establishing the wager with Ms. Chu, Zhou Yuqing proceeded to finalize the financial arrangements. The convenience of transacting with the government lies in the remarkably swift processing of related paperwork. Had Zhou Yuqing sought the relevant departments himself, it would have taken at least 2 or 3 days. However, with all department and bank personnel present today, within 10 minutes of submitting the payment, all necessary seals were affixed, and Hongda Battery Manufacturing was renamed Kunping Battery Manufacturing, becoming Zhou Yuqing's private enterprise. The name Kunping was thoughtfully chosen to signify vastness and lofty aspirations. Once everything was settled, Zhou Yuqing contacted a headhunting firm to prepare for the establishment of his Kunping group. Meanwhile, Miss Chu, in high heels and visibly furious, stormed into the Yunhai branch of Nanming Group. Upon seeing her demeanor, company leaders and employees fell silent, too intimidated to move. Zheng Shuai trailed behind her like a loyal dog. Arriving at Ms. Chu's office, Zheng Shuai closed the door and said, "Dear, why did you wager with that Zhou Yuqing? He is hardly a significant player and lacks the qualifications to challenge you." Before he could finish, a sharp slap struck his face, causing blood to trickle from his mouth and a ringing in his ears. Ms. Chu, her face as cold as ice, commanded, "Kneel." Without a moment's hesitation, Zheng Shuai covered his face and knelt. "What is the situation with Zhou Yuqing's girlfriend?" Ms. Chu inquired. Zheng Shuai, with a woeful expression, replied, "Dear, please don't believe his words." Ms. Chu scoffed. "Would a billionaire worth over 20 billion use his girlfriend to frame you?" Zheng Shuai, "You had better tell me the truth. If I discover you've lied, I assure you, the consequences will be dire." Zheng Shuai swallowed hard, struggling internally for a moment before admitting, "Zhou Yuqing's girlfriend is a university classmate of mine." Ms. Chu raised an eyebrow. "What is her name? What does she do?" Zheng Shuai answered, "Her name is Shun Jingyun, and she is a civil servant." Shun Jingyun? The name sounded familiar to Ms. Chu, and after pondering for a while, she finally recalled, "Is she your first love?" Zheng Shuai nodded, "Yes. I merely intended to catch up with her, nothing more." Ms. Chu laughed in anger, kicking him to the ground. "Who would believe such nonsense? Zheng Shuai, you're clever enough to enjoy my support, yet you still harbor feelings for your first love. Are you hoping to win her back with my money?" Zheng Shuai shook his head frantically, tears streaming down his face. "Dear, I swear I have no such intentions. She has a 3-year-old daughter with Zhou Yuqing. How could I possibly be interested in a married woman?" Ms. Chu, however, was not convinced. "Your acting skills are improving. Get up." Years of discontent had left Ms. Chu weary of Zheng Shuai. Their relationship had grown so thin it was barely more substantial than a sheet of paper. Aside from Zheng Shuai, Ms. Chu had at least 3 other boyfriends. While it is often said that men are creatures of novelty, women are no different. Zheng Shuai cautiously rose, glancing at Ms. Chu's expression. "From today onwards, whether in private or public, you will address me as Ms. Chu. Do you understand?" This pronouncement effectively removed Zheng Shuai from the ranks of her romantic partners. Yet, surprisingly, he felt a sense of relief. After years of servitude to Ms. Chu, he was finally free. However, he still wore an expression of reluctance, saying, "Dear, no, Ms. Chu, I understand." Ms. Chu shot him a glance and stated, "You will be taking charge of the Yunhai branch from now on. I expect you to perform well and uphold my reputation." Zheng Shuai nodded obediently. Yes, Ms. Chu then asked, what is your opinion on my wager with Zhou Yuqing? Without hesitation, Zheng Shuai replied, you will undoubtedly win. Why do you say that? Ms. Chu inquired. Zheng Shuai explained. Zhou Yuqing was an outstanding student in finance at Yunhai University, but he was betrayed by his girlfriend and spent a year in prison. Recently, he returned to Yunhai and established Yuechen Gaming Company. I acknowledge he has had some luck in developing 2-hit mobile games. However, game development and battery research are entirely different fields. How could Zhou Yuqing possibly succeed? Do you know what your greatest flaw is? Before Zheng Shuai could answer, Ms. Chu continued, it's your inability to discern character. Although I have only met Zhou Yuqing once, I can see he is a man of unwavering determination and remarkable confidence. Even if he has not yet made a significant impact, I would not underestimate him. As for battery development, his demeanor suggests he possesses considerable assurance. Zheng Shuai asked, puzzled. If that is the case, why do you still choose to bet with Zhou Yuqing? Chu Xin displayed a triumphant smile and remarked, if I were to lose, it would indicate that Zhou Yuqing has successfully developed a high-capacity mobile battery and rapid charging technology. In that case, I would offer him 10 million, securing a supplier for a new type of battery and charger. Do you think I would be at a loss or a gain? Zheng Shuai, enlightened, gave Chu Xin a thumbs up and said, President Chu, your wisdom is remarkable. You have positioned yourself in an invincible position. That fellow Zhou Yuqing is truly foolish. Chu Xin retorted, the foolish one is you. Do you think Zhou Yuqing cannot discern the underlying implications? He certainly has, which is why he agreed without hesitation. Among domestic smartphone brands in Xiaogua, Nanming and Xingchen are the top sellers. Once Zhou Yuqing successfully develops these 2 projects, he will immediately receive orders for at least 100 million batteries and 100 million chargers from both companies, yielding a profit of at least 3 to 4 billion. Upon witnessing this, both domestic and international smartphone manufacturers will undoubtedly seek him out for orders. Once the market is established, Zhou Yuqing will swiftly become a billionaire. If Zhou Yuqing were present, he would undoubtedly applaud Chu Xin's analysis, for it mirrored his own thoughts. His plan was to utilize the 2 largest domestic smartphone companies, Nanming and Xingchen, to advertise for his future batteries and chargers, thereby dominating the national market. When the time was ripe, he would introduce even larger batteries and faster charging technology, effectively monopolizing the industry, making failure an impossibility for him. Zheng Shuai questioned, President Chu, do you perhaps hold Zhou Yuqing in too high regard? If he possessed such intelligence, he wouldn't have allowed his girlfriend to land him in prison. Chu Xin coldly replied, this merely indicates that Zhou Yuqing is a person of deep loyalty. It does not imply low intelligence. Now, please return to your duties. Understood, Zheng Shuai responded, bowing his head as he slowly exited the office. Just as he closed the door, no one noticed the fleeting glimmer of resentment in his eyes. A plane gradually descended upon Yunhai Airport. Xin Yanhai, carrying a suitcase, exited the airport, his sharp gaze scanning the surroundings until it landed on Zhou Yuqing, who was waving at him from a distance. Approaching Zhou Yuqing, Xin Yanhai said, Mr. Zhou, I apologize for the trouble. Zhou Yuqing inquired, is the child settled? Xin Yanhai nodded, saying, his maternal grandfather and uncle are sincere people. I have arranged for 5,000 yuan in monthly living expenses until he completes his university education. Zhou Yuqing replied, that's good. Now let us go for a meal. Soon, the 2 arrived at the parking lot. Zhou Yuqing placed Xin Yanhai's luggage in the trunk and drove away from the airport. On the way to the Kunpeng battery manufacturing plant, they entered a fine restaurant. During their meal, Zhou Yuqing remarked, Old Xin, your timing is impeccable. I just spent nearly 2 billion this morning to acquire the factory. It has employee dormitories, so you can stay there temporarily. It would be best to assemble a security team of 30 as soon as possible. Xin Yanhai replied, I have already contacted over 10 comrades. With just 1 call, they will come. Zhou Yuqing joyfully exclaimed, excellent. Let us hasten their arrival. Xin Yanhai hesitated for a moment, saying, Mr. Zhou, my brothers come from humble backgrounds. Could you possibly advance them half a month's salary? Zhou Yuqing responded, as long as they come. I can provide each of them with 5,000 yuan as a relocation allowance, separate from their monthly salary. Gratefully lifting his cup of tea, Xin Yanhai said, Mr. Zhou, I toast to you on behalf of them. Zhou Yuqing raised his cup in return, chuckling, this is simply what a boss ought to do. After their meal, the 2 arrived at the Kunpeng battery manufacturing plant, where the entrance was already crowded with former employees of the battery factory. They had likely heard of the ownership change and were eagerly awaiting the new factory manager. As Zhou Yuqing and Xin Yanhai stepped out of the car, the crowd quickly surrounded them. Xin Yanhai immediately assumed a protective stance in front of Zhou Yuqing, who glanced at him with a hint of appreciation. Which of you is the new factory manager? A middle-aged man in his 40s, with a dark complexion, politely inquired. Zhou Yuqing replied, I am Zhou Yuqing. I just acquired this factory this morning. What brings you here? The man responded, Hello, Mr. Zhou. We are employees of the former Honda battery manufacturing factory. I am the workshop supervisor, Chu Yuan. Zhou Yuqin extended his hand and smiled. Hello, Supervisor Chu. Chu Yuan appeared taken aback by Zhou Yuqin's approachable demeanor, momentarily stunned before hastily shaking his hand. Observing Chu Yuan's behavior, Zhou Yuqin mentally labeled him as sincere and diligent, the type who works hard and speaks little. Zhou Yuqin, feigning ignorance, asked, Supervisor Chu, is there something you wish to discuss? Chu Yuan pressed his lips together and replied, Mr. Zhou, we mainly came to inquire whether there is a possibility for us to work in the factory. Zhou Yuqin surveyed the crowd, noticing they were all middle-aged individuals, predominantly between 35 and 40 years old, with no young people in sight. It seemed the younger employees of Honda had already found new jobs, leaving these older workers burdened with familial responsibilities, with no choice but to return to their former profession. Zhou Yuqin said, Supervisor Chu, please select 5 representatives, and we shall discuss this further inside. Thank you, Mr. Zhou, Chu Yuan replied, his face lighting up with hope. Soon, along with Chu Yuan, 5 representatives followed Zhou Yuqin into the factory. Zhou Yuqin encountered the 2 elderly guards once more. You 2 have worked hard, he said. Not at all. It is our duty, they replied. Seemingly having some recognition of Zhou Yuqin, their expressions somewhat awkward. Zhou Yuqin pulled out 2,000 yuan from his pocket, giving each of them 1,000, saying, I have purchased the factory, and your work here has concluded. This is a small token of appreciation for your protection of the factory during this time. The 2 elderly men exchanged glances and simultaneously expressed their gratitude as they accepted the money. One of the elderly men gave a thumbs up and said, Young man, you are impressive. I wish you prosperity in your business. Zhou Yuqin chuckled, Thank you for your kind words. As Chu Yuan and the others witnessed Zhou Yuqin's magnanimous and humble demeanor, a flicker of hope ignited within them. Upon entering the conference room, they found the chairs covered in dust. Chu Yuan and the 5 representatives quickly found rags and cleaned up within 5 minutes. After settling down, Zhou Yuqin requested introductions. Learning that each was a key personnel from the Honda factory. It has been such a long time since the factory ceased operations. And none of you have found new jobs. Is the current employment situation truly that dire? Zhou Yuqin asked directly. Chu Yuan chuckled bitterly. For young people, finding a job is not difficult. But for us nearing 40, securing a suitable position is exceedingly challenging. Most companies list age under 35 as a primary requirement, effectively excluding us. The other 4 nodded in agreement, clearly resonating with Chu Yuan's sentiments. Zhou Yuqin inquired, if you were to join the factory, what contributions could you make? Chu Yuan stated without hesitation, we can continue to work in the workshop and also train apprentices. A representative named Zhang Chang chimed in, Mr. Zhou, our only advantage now lies in our experience and skills. Zhou Yuqin fell silent for a moment before asking, what are your salary expectations? Chu Yuan replied, my previous salary was 7,500, while regular employees earn around 4,500 to 5,000, with the company covering 5 social insurances and 1 housing fund. Zhou Yuqin did not speak in riddles, saying, currently, I am only recruiting for the research team to develop high-capacity batteries and fast-charging technology. The production line will only resume once the research is successful. Upon hearing Zhou Yuqin's words, the 5 fell into silence. A bitter smile crept across Chu Yuan's lips as he stood up and said, Mr. Zhou, I apologize for the disturbance today. Zhou Yuqin was taken aback, saying, have you misunderstood my intention? I did not say that I do not want you. It will merely take some time before work can commence, and it should not exceed 3 months at most. Their emotions resembled a roller coaster. Having felt despair, they now found a glimmer of hope. Chu Yuan, with a look of astonishment, asked, Mr. Zhou, are you willing to keep us? Zhou Yuqin replied, there will be a 2-month probation period. If you pass, you will be officially hired at the same salary, but the bonuses will certainly be higher than before. If you do not pass, I have no choice. After all, I am running a business, and if the employee's skills and abilities are lacking, I cannot keep them. Chu Yuan confidently responded, no problem. Zhou Yuqin said, let's do this. Leave your names and contact information. I will call you when the time comes. In the meantime, you can seek other jobs. If you find better conditions, you need not return. Thank you, Mr. Zhou. After exchanging contact information, Chu Yuan and the others left, expressing their gratitude profusely. Xin Yanhai, who had remained silent, sighed and said, it's not easy. Zhou Yuqin replied solemnly, for a company to succeed, it must possess core technology. Technology is competitiveness, and so are people. Comparatively, they are quite good, having worked for many years on mobile phone battery production lines. With rich experience and top-notch skills, I need them. The truly unfortunate ones are those who can only do manual labor without any skills. As they age, they will find themselves with nowhere to go. Chapter 141. Recruiting talent. Upon hearing Zhou Yuqin's words, Xin Yinhai nodded and said, "You are right. Mr. Zhou, this factory is too large. 30 security personnel may not suffice." Zhou Yuqin inquired, "How many do you need?" Xin Yinhai replied, "With 3 shifts, at least 15 people per shift. We must control the high ground in both open and concealed areas. Additionally, we should install high-definition cameras everywhere and equip security personnel with 3 to 4 patrol vehicles, distributed in various directions to ensure they can reach the incident site as quickly as possible." "Stop." Zhou Yuqin raised his hand to signal for silence and said, "Old Xian, have you previously worked in security? I find you quite familiar with this field." Xin Yinhai pointed upward, saying, "I worked there as a guard and received professional training in this area." "Impressive," Zhou Yuqin praised, giving a thumbs up. "I can fully entrust security matters to you. You will determine the personnel, vehicles, equipment, and protocols. Provide me with a budget outline. Let's go. We should check the employee dormitories and arrange for cleaning as soon as possible." Xin Yinhai agreed, understood. The security measures at Hongda Mobile Electronics Manufacturing Factory were commendable. Not only were the offices, workshops, warehouses, and laboratories well maintained, but the dormitories were also equipped with air conditioning, iron beds, cabinets, and desks, not resembling the chaotic scenes depicted on television where enraged employees had taken everything. Zhou Yuqin quickly located 3 cleaning companies online, instructing them to come and tidy up. Noticing it was already past 3 in the afternoon, Zhou Yuqin said, "Old Xian, once the cleaning company arrives, please oversee their work to ensure the dormitory area is clean. You should find a decent hotel to stay in for now, and the company will reimburse you." Xin Yinhai responded, "I can buy a bed and sleep here." Zhou Yuqin chuckled, "Let's wait until your comrades arrive, and you can all go shopping together. Don't forget to provide me with a list of items needed for work and daily life." Xin Yinhai nodded, understood. After Zhou Yuqin left, Xin Yinhai called his comrades, urging them to report to Yunhai as swiftly as possible. In the following week, Zhou Yuqin began conducting frequent interviews. His first choice was for the position of vice president. The headhunting company provided him with 12 experienced senior management candidates. Zhou Yuqin met with each of them one by one, ultimately selecting a middle-aged man named Wang Guangzhou. His resume was not particularly striking among the competitors. His strengths lay in his calm demeanor and meticulous, serious approach to work. Lacking in ambition, yet competent in maintaining the status quo. Such a person was undoubtedly unsuitable for a managerial role, but was ideal as a steward. What Zhou Yuqin needed was precisely someone who could manage the affairs of the company effectively and execute his orders without fail. Moreover, loyalty was a crucial factor. Zhou Yuqin spoke candidly with each candidate for 20 minutes. 8 of them had loyalty ratings below 50%, 3 hovered around 60%, and only Wang Guangzhou achieved 70%. After signing the vice president contract with him, Wang Guangzhou's loyalty rating rose to 80%, a hallmark of true loyalty in ancient times. An employee who is both capable and loyal is undoubtedly the preference of any employer, and Zhou Yuqin was no exception. Having secured Wang Guangzhou, the 2 swiftly established departments such as human resources, finance, sales, and logistics. Among all the departments, the research and development department was undoubtedly the most crucial. The research into lithium batteries and charging technology encompassed chemistry, materials science, and electrical engineering. Zhou Yuqin took the lead and hired over 80 experts in these fields. Among them, the most remarkable was an expert named Zhao Ku from Shenzhou Electronics. At 48 years of age, he had previously worked at the Summer National Research Institute, but, dissatisfied with the research environment there, moved to Shenzhou Electronics, where he led numerous large-scale research projects and garnered several patents. Zhao Ku initially believed he would remain at Shenzhou Electronics until retirement. But the unexpected death of the company president from cancer 3 years ago led to a new president who lacked understanding of technology and slashed the research budget repeatedly. Zhao Ku became furious and had a severe conflict with the leadership, resulting in an inevitable outcome. Zhou Yuqin valued Zhao Ku highly and appointed him as the head of the research and development department. On his first day, Zhao Ku managed to bring in 26 core personnel from the R&D department of Shenzhou Electronics, much to Zhou Yuqin's delight. To ensure that Zhao Ku and his team felt at home, Zhou Yuqin convened Zhao Ku and several project leaders for a seminar on new mobile phone battery and fast charging technology. During the meeting, Zhou Yuqin spent an hour outlining his research ideas, leaving everyone utterly impressed. Researchers think differently than the average person. Gaining their respect is quite simple. Defeat them in their area of expertise, and their admiration will follow. Clearly, Zhou Yuqin accomplished just that. The loyalty of several team leaders surged from over 60 to nearly 80, while Zhao Ku achieved an impressive 82. After Zhou Yuqin concluded his presentation, the group engaged in discussions for a solid 6 hours. Ultimately, they appointed Zhao Ku as the head of research and development, delegating various critical tasks to each subgroup. Zhao Ke's first priority was to secure funding for laboratory instruments and related equipment. Within a mere week, Zhou Yuqin expended over 80 million, successfully establishing a high-tech laboratory. If this continued, even if they succeeded in their research, Zhou Yuqin would find himself unable to procure raw materials for manufacturing mobile phone batteries and chargers. System task: develop high-capacity lithium batteries and super-fast charging technology, assisting Kunping Group in becoming a dominant force in the mobile battery industry of Xia country. Rewarding the player with 100 attribute points and an opportunity for a lottery draw. System task: develop high-capacity lithium batteries and super-fast charging technology. Aiding Kunping Group in becoming a global leader in the mobile battery industry, rewarding the player with 500 attribute points and 3 lottery draw opportunities. Just as the research team began to find its footing, the game system's tasks arrived, much to Zhou Yuqin's delight. Such generous rewards were unprecedented since he acquired the all-encompassing development system. Chapter 142. The invitation from Shun Jingyun that afternoon. Zhou Yuqin prepared 6 dishes and enjoyed a delightful meal at home with Shin Jingyun and Xiao Yeye. Following dinner, the trio strolled through the community. Xiao Yeye remained enamored with the slide in the small square, playing joyfully with her peers. Shin Jingyun inquired, "How is your Kunping Group progressing?" Since they became a couple, their relationship, though not rapidly escalating, had been steadily advancing. They had become quite adept at holding hands, embracing, and even kissing. Zhou Yuqin replied, "The workflows of each department have been streamlined. From now on, everyone will focus on the research department. I only need to spend an hour each day addressing any issues they encounter, and everything will be just fine." Shin Jingyun continued, "Tomorrow is Saturday. Do you have time at noon? My parents would like to invite you for a meal." Zhou Yuqin was taken aback, exclaiming, "Wife, your words have made me suddenly quite nervous." With a playful smile, Shin Jingyun replied, "Oh, come off it. It's not like they haven't met you before." Zhou Yuqin rubbed his hands together, saying, "Tomorrow, I will meet my future in-laws as their potential son-in-law, which is entirely different from before. I must go to the mall to purchase some gifts." Shin Jingyun looked surprised and quickly grasped his hand, asking, "Are you really going to the mall?" Zhou Yuqin affirmed, "Of course, for my first visit, I must present myself appropriately." Shin Jingyun queried, "Do you know what my parents like?" Zhou Yuqin shook his head, admitting, "I have no idea." Shin Jingyun elaborated, "My father is a civil servant and a police station leader, which is a unique position. If you purchase something too extravagant, do you think he would accept it?" Zhou Yuqin pondered. "He probably wouldn't, would he?" Shin Jingyun laughed. "He definitely won't. Now tell me, what will you buy at the mall?" Zhou Yuqin scratched the back of his head, exclaiming, "Wife, please help me out here." Shin Jingyun suggested, "Tomorrow morning, let's go to the mall together. Get my dad 2 packs of cigarettes and a case of wine and a skincare set for my mom." Zhou Yuqin frowned. "Isn't that a bit too trivial?" Shin Jingyun replied, "Anything more substantial would be considered bribery. After all, you are not yet his son-in-law." Zhou Yuqin countered, "Whether I am his son-in-law is up to you to decide. Otherwise, we could postpone until next week to obtain a marriage certificate and then visit them with gifts, which would simplify matters." Shin Jingyun shot him a disapproving look, retorting, "Dream on." A burst of laughter ensued as Zhao Shenghua approached with his hands behind his back, saying, "Xiao Zhou, your boldness seems to exceed my expectations." Zhou Yuqin responded with mild irritation, "Old Zhao, you've been eavesdropping for 5 minutes, haven't you? An elderly gentleman like you, listening to 2 young lovers, is that not a bit disrespectful?" Zhao Shenghua retorted, "Nonsense. I saw you and came over to chat, not to eavesdrop. Besides, did you not invite me to be your witness? I cannot very well officiate without knowing the bride-to-be." Upon hearing this, Zhou Yuqin beamed, saying, "You are correct, Old Zhao. Allow me to formally introduce you. This is Old Zhao, a distinguished former commander of the Yunhai military region. When we marry, he will officiate our ceremony. Zhao Lao. This is my girlfriend, Shin Jingyun." Shin Jingyun gracefully greeted Zhao Shenghua. "Hello, Zhao Lao." Zhao Shenghua praised Shin Jingyun, exclaiming, "What a lovely young lady. You two truly are a match made in heaven. No wonder Xiao Zhou sought me out to be your witness." Zhou Yuqin proudly wrapped his arm around Shin Jingyun's shoulders, saying, "Old Zhao, what do you think? Having a handsome couple like us as your witnesses is not a disgrace, is it?" Shin Jingyun blushed, playfully pinching him. "Stop making foolish remarks." Zhao Shenhua chuckled. "The beauty is indeed a beauty, the handsome one. Well, he is not unattractive." Zhou Yuqin quipped, "Old Zhao, I see you are becoming quite the playful old man." Zhao Shenghua replied, "You, too, have become much more charming and witty than before. When I first met you, I could sense the weight of your thoughts. Now, you seem considerably more relaxed. This transformation is undoubtedly thanks to Xiao Shen. You must treat her well." Zhou Yuqin, regaining his seriousness, assured him, "You have my word." Zhao Shenghua nodded in satisfaction, saying, "I will take my leave and not intrude upon your romantic moment." Watching Zhao Shengwo walk away, Shen Jingyan remarked, "Old Zhao is quite amusing. He doesn't resemble a formidable military commander at all." Zhou Yuchen explained. "That is because you only witnessed his smile. When he furrows his brow and narrows his eyes, he emanates an aura of authority that commands respect. The phrase a tiger's might remains perfectly describes someone like him. Your father is similar." Shen Jingyan countered, "But you don't seem afraid of him." Zhou Yuchen sighed. "That was in the past. Now, I am terrified. Especially of your father. What if he objects to our marriage?" Shen Jingyan reassured him. "Whether or not I marry is my decision, not my father's." Zhou Yuchen replied, "While that may be true, a marriage without parental support and blessings will inevitably lead to regret for the couple." Shen Jingyan regarded Zhou Yuchen with surprise, saying, "Sometimes. You don't seem like a young man." Zhou Yuchen shrugged, "I take that as a compliment." Little Yaya had played on the slide for over half an hour, her face glistening with sweat and dirt. Once home, Shen Jingyan promptly gave her a bath and changed her clothes. "Mommy, can you and Daddy sleep with me tonight?" Xiao Yaya asked eagerly. Shen Jingyan paused, asking, "Why is that?" Xiao Yaya blinked her innocent eyes, "Because all my classmates sleep with their mommies and daddies." Shen Jingyan queried, "Aren't you worried your daddy snores?" Xiao Yaya responded, "Daddy is all better now." Shen Jingyan was left speechless. Seeing her mother silent, Xiao Yaya called out, "Daddy, Daddy, come quickly." Zhou Yuchen, thinking something was wrong, rushed in. Xiaoya gently patted the space to her left and said, "Daddy, please place the pillow here." Zhou Yuchen, puzzled, asked, "Why?" Xiaoya replied, "I want you and Mommy to cuddle with me while I sleep." Zhou Yuchen glanced at Shen Jingyun, who wore a look of helplessness. "All right, Daddy will come right over." Naturally, Zhou Yuchen was eager for such a delightful opportunity. He brought the pillow to the bed, turned off the light, and lay down beside Xiaoya. Chapter 143. The matter of popularity. Xiaoya took Zhou Yuchen's and Shen Jingyun's hands and stacked them together, saying, "Daddy, Mommy, I am truly happy today." Zhou Yuchen inquired, "Why is that?" Xiaoya replied, "Because I can finally sleep with both Daddy and Mommy." Zhou Yuchen's heart quivered as he leaned closer to the little one and kissed her, saying, "Sweetheart, remember, Daddy and Mommy will always love you and be by your side." Xiaoya nodded, saying, "I remember. Mommy, you haven't kissed me yet." Shen Jingyun leaned in and gave her a kiss, saying, "All right, now go to sleep. Tomorrow we will visit Grandpa and Grandma." Xiaoya insisted, "No, I want to hear a story. Daddy goes first, then Mommy." Zhou Yuchen agreed, "Okay, I will tell you the story of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs." Snow White. Xiaoya repeated, "Daddy, that name sounds lovely." Shen Jingyun asked, "Did you make up this story?" Zhou Yuchen suddenly remembered that there were no Brothers Grimm or Hans Christian Andersen tales in this world, so he awkwardly replied, "Yes. I made it up long ago." Xiaoya, clearly intrigued, urged, "Daddy, hurry and tell it." "All right." Zhou Yuchen began to recall and softly narrate the tale of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. About halfway through, Xiaoya fell asleep. Shen Jingyun quietly rose from the bed and exited the bedroom. Zhou Yuchen followed her out, closing the bedroom door behind him. With a long sigh of relief, Zhou Yuchen exhaled. Shen Jingyun smiled and asked, "What's wrong? Can't take it?" Zhou Yuchen wrapped his arms around her slender waist, saying, "Seeing you makes it a bit hard to bear." Shen Jingyun favored pink pajamas, which, though not overly revealing, were still quite alluring. "Mr. Zhou, the temptations you will face in the future will be immense. If you can hardly withstand me in pajamas, what will you do when confronted by women who wear even less?" Since they established their romantic relationship, Shen Jingyun had become much more casual in her conversations with Zhou Yuchen, occasionally teasing him as she did now. Zhou Yuchen smirked, saying, "You can tempt me because I have feelings for you. Other women, even if they stood before me completely nude, I wouldn't spare them a glance. I will remember your words and hope you can uphold them." After saying this, Shen Jingyun stood on her tiptoes and kissed him. Zhou Yuchen, unhesitatingly, retaliated with fervor. 5 minutes later, Shen Jingyun broke free from his embrace, glaring at him with a flushed face before scurrying back to her study. Zhou Yuchen wore a smug smile on his face. Not wanting to overstep, Zhou Yuchen went to the kitchen to pour 2 glasses of water, bringing one to Shen Jingyun, who was seated at her computer preparing to write, while he took the other back to his study. Opening his computer, Zhou Yuchen checked the download counts for The Mouse Loves Rice and 3 Butterflies on 3 major music websites, which had surpassed 2.6 million and 2.4 million downloads, respectively. The comments from fans in the review section were overwhelmingly positive. However, Zhou Yuchen felt no joy over these achievements. His popularity had reached 3.2 million when the total downloads for both songs exceeded 1 million. Now that their combined downloads were over 5 million, his popularity had only risen to 3.4 million. In other words, the subsequent 4 million downloads had only granted him an additional 20,000 in popularity, which was utterly baffling. Originally, Zhou Yuchen had planned to release songs under the name Wu Jin, intending to accumulate popularity and purchase necessary items from the gaming store, thereby creating a virtuous cycle. Yet, it had become evident that the all-encompassing development system had not left him such a significant loophole. Nevertheless, there was still hope. Zhou Yuqin resolved to record a third song in a few days and release it on the music website, eager to see how much popularity it might garner. If it could yield an additional 1 or 2 million, that would be quite satisfactory. He had no qualms about continuing to serve as a conduit for classic songs on Earth. After checking the price of the Understanding Scroll in the game store, Zhou Yuqin gritted his teeth and decided to purchase it for 2 days at the cost of 100 attribute points. There was no other way. Elevating his chip development skill from proficient to master level was exceedingly challenging. Zhou Yuqin had perused over 20 substantial volumes without making any progress. He suspected that he had misinterpreted some of the chip knowledge and thought to exchange for the Understanding Scroll from the system store to assist him. Priced at 50 attribute points per day, it was exorbitantly expensive. Recently, Zhou Yuqin had been preoccupied with matters related to Kunpeng Group, leaving him little time for reading. Now that Kunpeng Group had entered a stable phase, he found himself with ample free time and finally resolved to dedicate 2 days to the task. System. I would like to exchange for the Understanding Scroll for a duration of 2 days. Upon this thought, the item appeared in his attribute bar as Understanding Scroll, 2 days. And his popularity points decreased by 100,000. Not daring to waste a moment, Zhou Yuqin picked up a book he had previously read. With his photographic memory and having already read it once, he turned the pages at an astonishing speed. In less than half an hour, he finished an entire volume. With his understanding ability having surged by more than tenfold, Zhou Yuqin realized his initial suspicions were correct. He had indeed made several misinterpretations on many topics, and alarmingly, there were numerous mistakes within the text itself. Darn, this is quite a scam. Zhou Yuqin rubbed his temples and picked up another book he had previously read. Like the last, this book also contained numerous inaccuracies. With the assistance of the Understanding Scroll, Zhou Yuqin systematically corrected each one. For an entire night. Aside from the 2 hours he devoted to practicing Tai Chi visualization, Zhou Yuqin read through 10 substantial volumes, identifying over 200 errors. Stretching. He changed into workout attire and headed to the small square to practice his martial arts. As usual, half an hour of Tai Chi followed by half an hour of Xingyi left him feeling utterly rejuvenated, dispelling any mental fatigue and leaving him refreshed. As it was Saturday, Xiaoye would likely sleep in, so upon returning, Zhou Yuqin did not enter the kitchen to prepare breakfast, but instead retreated to his study to continue his assault on the extensive texts regarding chips. The Understanding Scroll was only valid for 2 days, and Zhou Yuqin needed to maximize every available moment to quickly become a master-level chip development expert. Chapter 144. I Want to Marry Shen Jingyun. Is this book truly that captivating? Time slipped by, and a gentle voice reached his ears. Zhou Yuqin didn't need to turn around to know it was Shen Jingyun. Engrossed in his reading, he was utterly oblivious to the moment when Shen Jingyun quietly approached and stood behind him. Have you been here for a while? Yu Qinqing asked, gently taking Shen Jingyun's delicate, fair hand and rubbing it against his cheek. Shen Jingyun chuckled. I've come by 3 times already. Seeing you so engrossed, I didn't dare interrupt. Now that Xiaoye is awake, I had no choice but to call you. Upon hearing this, Yu Qinqing quickly stood up and said, I'll prepare breakfast. Shen Jingyun replied, I've already finished. What did you make? He inquired. The sandwiches you taught me to make the other day. I'm unsure of the taste. She answered. Yu Qinqing laughed. With a master like me, how could my disciple fail? You must have confidence in yourself. Shen Jingyun shrugged. Let us hope so. 10 minutes later, after Xiaoye had finished washing up, she sat at the table and asked, Daddy, is this sandwich made by you? Yu Qinqing replied. It's made by Mommy. Xiaoye pouted. Shen Jingyun feigned a sad expression and said, Xiaoye, are you saying you dislike Mommy's breakfast? Xiaoye quickly reassured her, Don't cry, Mommy. I love it. With that, she took a big bite of the sandwich. Surprised, Xiaoye exclaimed, Mommy, your sandwich is really delicious. Shen Jingyun playfully flicked her nose and said, I learned from your father. Mommy is amazing. Xiaoye praised sweetly. After breakfast, Yu Qinsheng drove the mother and daughter to Xingyuan Mall, where, following Shen Jingyun's instructions, he purchased 2 packs of cigarettes, a case of Wuliangya liquor, and a set of cosmetics. Feeling the items were insufficient, he insisted that Shen Jingyun select outfits for her parents. Although he initially planned to buy some nutritional supplements as well, Shen Jingyun firmly opposed. Respecting her resoluteness, he chose not to press further. Half an hour later, a Mercedes Maybach smoothly parked beneath the 4th building of the municipal government compound. As they exited the vehicle, Xiaoye dashed ahead, eager to race upstairs. Shen Jingyun gasped and swiftly caught her, admonishing, Have you forgotten last time when you fell while climbing the stairs? Pouting, Xiaoye said apologetically, Sorry, Mommy. I won't run anymore. Shun Jingyun set her down, explaining, "You're still little. You can walk slowly up the stairs, but no running, understood?" Xiao Ye nodded. "Got it." Yu Chuncheng smiled slightly, appreciating Shun Jingyun's method of teaching. Retrieving gifts from the trunk, he followed the mother and daughter to the third floor. Knocking on the door of the west unit, Xiao Ye called out, "Grandpa." The door swung open to reveal Shun Qingang's resolute face. "My precious little one has returned," Shun Qinggang exclaimed, joy illuminating his features as he squatted to embrace the little girl. "Grandpa, did you miss me?" Xiao Ye asked, wrapping her arms around his neck. "Of course I did. Did you miss Grandpa?" He replied. "Yes," she answered, noticing Shun Qingang's unwavering attention on Xiao Ye, leaving both herself and Yu Chuncheng somewhat sidelined. Shun Jingyun sighed. "Dad, may we come in?" Only then did Shun Qinggang turn his gaze to them, his expression shifting from sunny to overcast. "You're just here for a meal. Why did you bring so much stuff?" Yu Chuncheng chuckled. "Uncle Shun, this is my first visit as your future son-in-law. It would be remiss of me not to bring any gifts." "Future son-in-law?" Shun Qinggang was instantly amused by Yu Chuncheng's self-reference. "You have quite the audacity. Come in." Shun Jingyun found a pair of slippers for Yu Chuncheng, who placed the gifts on the table, observing that the living conditions of this deputy minister were far from what he had imagined. The apartment was approximately 120 square meters, consisting of 3 bedrooms, a living room, and a bathroom. The decor was simple yet elegant, adorned with a few pieces of calligraphy and paintings, while the furniture appeared somewhat dated, exuding a warm and inviting ambience. Likely curated by Daiwan. Little Zhou has arrived. Daiwan, busy in the kitchen, emerged wearing an apron and greeted Yu Chuncheng with a smile. "Aunt Dai, let me help you," he offered. "No, you mustn't tea. Today is your first time here. I absolutely cannot allow you into the kitchen," she insisted. "Aunt Dai, please don't treat me as a guest," he replied. Shun Qinggang rolled his eyes. "Not a guest? You want to be the master now?" Yu Chuncheng quickly retorted with a clever response. "Uncle Shun, I wish to be neither a guest nor a master. I wish to be a member of your family." Shun Jingyun couldn't contain her laughter, and Daiwan gave him a thumbs up. "Dream on," Shun Qinggang said with a stern look. "I haven't agreed to your relationship with Jingyun." Yu Chuncheng chuckled. "As long as you don't oppose, that's enough." Shun Qinggang asked, "What if I do oppose?" Yu Chuncheng replied, "If you oppose, I certainly wouldn't be able to step through this door today." Shun Qinggang snorted. "You've got away with words." Xiao Ye chimed in. "Grandpa, you're not allowed to be mean to my daddy." Shun Qinggang quickly reassured her. "I'm just teasing your father." "Daddy, was Grandpa just playing with you?" Xiao Ye asked. Yu Chuncheng nodded, yes. Seeing Xiao Ye so devoted to him left Shun Qinggang speechless. Shun Jingyun interjected, "Dad, Mom, Yu Chuncheng bought you both outfits. You should try them on. If they don't fit, we can exchange them." Daiwan glanced at the clothing and the other items, asking, "Did you choose all this?" "I merely provided some suggestions," Shun Jingyun replied. Shun Qinggang sighed. "It's true, daughters grow up too fast." "Little Zhou, what are your intentions?" Without hesitation, Yu Chuncheng stated, "I wish to marry Jingyun." Shun Qinggang laughed. "You are quite direct. Let me ask you, with many suitors vying for Jingyun's affection, what makes you think you stand out?" Yu Chuncheng answered, "They are merely one-sided affections. Ours is a mutual pursuit." Chapter 145. Future Plans. Shun Qinggang inquired, "How do you intend to ensure happiness for both her and Xiao Ye in the future?" Yu Chuncheng replied with a wry smile. "Simply speaking, one tea convince you, I know. How about this, Uncle Shun? Tell me what I must do to earn your approval for Jingyun's hand. Or what assurances would make you feel at ease?" After pondering for some time, Shun Qinggang couldn't come up with an answer, so he cheekily said, "That's your problem. Think it over later." Daiwan, exasperated, remarked, "You two are quite something." Rising from his seat, Yu Chuncheng said, "Aunt Dai, I think I'll join you in the kitchen. Chatting with Uncle Shun feels a bit perilous." "All right then. You can teach me how to make that squirrel fish that Xiao Ye loves," Daiwan agreed. "No problem," Yu Chuncheng replied as they entered the kitchen. Shun Qinggang turned to Shun Jingyun and asked, "Your mother mentioned that you two are already living together?" Shun Jingyun responded with a soft hum, saying, "I moved in 2 weeks ago." Shun Qinggang inquired, "Have you made a decision?" Shun Jingyun glanced toward Zhou Yuchen in the kitchen and affirmed, "Yes, I have." After a brief silence, Shun Qinggang finally expressed his stance, saying, "He is a fine young man. I am delighted to see you both together." Shun Jingyun joyfully replied, "Thank you, Dad. Thank you, Uncle Shun." Zhou Yuchen emerged from the kitchen, calling out to Shun Qinggang. Although the voices of the father and daughter were soft, they could not escape Zhou Yuchen's keen ears. Shun Qinggang playfully remarked, "Your ears are remarkably sharp." Laughter erupted around the table. Little Ye, not fully grasping the situation, joined in the laughter as well. At noon, with the table laden with dishes, everyone gathered to share a meal. Shun Qinggang produced a bottle of more than 20-year-old Wulianya liquor and began to drink with Zhou Yuchen. As the drinks flowed and the dishes were savored, Shun Qinggang remarked, "Xiao Zhou, I hear from Jingyan that you spent nearly 2 billion acquiring a mobile phone battery manufacturing plant. I'm puzzled. Your game company was thriving. So why the sudden shift? Zhou Yuqin understood that Shun Qinggang's inquiry was essentially about his future plans, so he replied, Uncle Shun, to be candid, neither gaming nor mobile batteries are my true passions. Shun Qinggang was taken aback, saying, Your statement confuses me. If you don't enjoy it, why pursue it? Zhou Yuqin smiled and explained, The reason is quite simple. Money. I ventured into mobile casual gaming because its costs are relatively low, ranging from a few million to tens of millions. While the capital needed for mobile batteries is higher, the technological complexity is lower. I am confident that I can develop the world's finest lithium battery. Following current trends, the mobile phone market is poised to reach hundreds of billions of dollars. If my Kunpeng battery captures more than 30% of the global market share, the annual profits could easily reach several billion. Daiwan expressed her astonishment, asking, So you plan to supply batteries to foreign mobile companies? Zhou Yuqin affirmed, That is essential. Daiwan probed further, How confident are you? Without hesitation, Zhou Yuqin declared, 100%. Within 3 months, my Kunpeng mobile battery and the fastest charging technology will be developed. In the next 2 to 3 years, both domestic and foreign mobile companies will have to collaborate with me until other battery companies catch up. However, by then, we will have already developed even better products. Shin Chenggang rolled his eyes, saying, You certainly have a knack for boasting. Zhou Yuqin replied with a smile, Uncle Shun, when we first met, could you have imagined that I would become a billionaire worth nearly 30 billion in just over 2 months? Shin Chenggang conceded, I admit that achieving such success in such a short time is indeed remarkable. However, I believe that at least half of that fortune is due to luck, such as in crude oil futures and gambling on stones. Particularly with gambling on stones, that is exceedingly unreliable. Zhou Yuqin nodded, stating, I share your perspective, which is why I have turned to industry. Daiwan interjected, Xiao Zhou, you still haven't revealed what you ultimately wish to pursue. Zhou Yuqin replied, Once I have amassed my wealth, I will delve into GPU development. Shin Qinggang and Daiwan exchanged glances and asked in unison, What is that? Zhou Yuqin explained, It is the core processing unit of graphics cards, a type of chip widely used in computers, tablets, and mobile phones. For instance, if we play the same online game on 2 computers, the one equipped with a high-level GPU will run smoothly and clearly, while the one with a lower-level GPU may experience lag and delays. Shin Chenggang asked with interest, Is the GPU market substantial? Zhou Yuqin responded, It is vast and boundless. GPU technology provides immense computational power and is an indispensable component of future technological products, impacting the development and application of cloud computing, artificial intelligence, and other cutting-edge technologies. To put it simply, in the next 20 years, whichever company produces the best GPU products will emerge as the leading technology company, effortlessly surpassing a market value of 1 trillion or even several trillion dollars. At this point, Zhou Yuqin recalled the formidable company NVIDIA, which had become the most powerful company in the world due to its leading GPU technology. Before Zhou Yuqin's journey through time, it had taken merely 9 months for its market value to soar from 1 trillion to $2 trillion, and just 4 months more to reach $3 trillion, creating a remarkable miracle. Presently, global GPU technology remains in its infancy, and Zhou Yuqin must leverage his masterful chip technology to seize the opportunity, creating a series of patent technologies akin to NVIDIA's mode, thereby establishing himself as a pivotal figure in the global technology industry. Of course, achieving this is no easy feat, as the investment required for research and development is staggering. Daiwan remarked, I've heard that any company involved in chip development is akin to a bottomless pit. Zhou Yuqin nodded, explaining, My plan is to establish Kunpeng Intelligent Research and Development Company next year, with an initial investment of around 10 billion xia yuan. Once the product development is successful, I will then seek external investment, which should suffice. Shin Qinggang and Daiwan exchanged astonished glances, momentarily at a loss for words. They had not anticipated that Zhou Yuqin's ambitions would extend to such extraordinary heights, far beyond what ordinary people would dare to envision. When such figures as tens of billions, hundreds of billions, or even trillions of dollars rolled off Zhou Yuqin's tongue, it sounded as if they were trivial matters. Had these words come from anyone else, the two would likely dismiss them as mere boastfulness. Yet, spoken by Zhou Yuqin, they found themselves harboring a flicker of belief, which was nothing short of astonishing. Chapter 146. Faced with reality, Shin Jingyan remarked, No wonder you have been engrossed in chip literature recently. It is all for GPU development. Zhou Yuqin chuckled. I began preparing for this 4 years ago. It will be a grueling battle, and without thorough preparation, I certainly wouldn't launch an assault lightly. However, once I do, I must succeed and cannot afford to fail. Shin Chenggang frowned, stating, As the saying goes in military strategy, One must contemplate defeat before contemplating victory. What will you do if you fail? Zhou Yuqin replied, if I fail, I will sell the company and pivot to a different path. Shen Qinggang appeared bewildered, asking, who would buy a failed company? Moreover, by then, you would be penniless. How could you switch paths? Zhou Yuqin paused, then clarified, Uncle Shen, you may not fully grasp this industry. Chip manufacturing requires many advanced devices, which alone are worth tens of billions. Hence, even if I do not succeed in developing GPUs, I could sell off the equipment for at least 20 to 30 billion. Coupled with my gaming company and Kunpeng mobile batteries, a resurgence would still be possible. Let alone switching paths. Shen Jingyan inquired, what else do you wish to pursue? Zhou Yuqin began counting on his fingers, new energy batteries for vehicles, photovoltaics, the internet, finance, electronic communications, mobile phone manufacturing, drones, search engines, short videos, and more. These are all core industries for future development. Surely, I can't be that unlucky to fail in every entrepreneurial endeavor, can I? Daiwan asked, have you delved into knowledge across these sectors? Zhou Yuqin replied, I can only say I have a rudimentary understanding. Daiwan regarded him intently, saying, Xiao Zhou, you truly embody the essence of the phrase knowledge changes destiny. Zhou Yuqin smiled. Uncle Shen, Aunt Dai, do you not think I am merely boasting? Shen Qinggang remarked, a person who can earn over 2 billion in just 3 months is undoubtedly boasting. People will merely regard you as having lofty ambitions. Daiwan spoke earnestly. Xiao Zhou, your talent and abilities are evident to all. I only hope that on your path to success, you do not neglect your family. You must understand that many harms are inadvertently inflicted. Zhou Yuqin nodded and replied, Aunt Dai, I understand. You are advising me to balance work and family, ensuring both are equally strong. Hearing Zhou Yuqin's interpretation, Shen Qinggang nearly spat out the tea he had just sipped. Daiwan could not help but laugh, saying, you are indeed quite talented. At that moment, Shen Qinggang's phone rang unexpectedly. Upon checking, he saw it was a call from the police department. I need to take this call, he said, rising to enter his study. Daiwan sighed and remarked, see, your Uncle Shen has not managed the conflict between work and family well. Zhou Yuqin responded, this is primarily determined by the nature of his work. If Uncle Shen could handle the conflict effectively, it would only indicate that he is not fulfilling his duties in his police work. That is a commendable answer. Shen Jingyan secretly gave Zhou Yuqin a thumbs up. Daiwan agreed, you are right. Soon, Shen Qinggang emerged from the bedroom. Xiao Zhou, there is an important matter at the police department that requires my attention. So I fear I cannot join you for this meal. Zhou Yuqin replied, Uncle Shen, please go ahead. We can have a drink together another day. All right, Shen Qinggang said, patting Zhou Yuqin on the shoulder before donning his police uniform and stepping out of the house. Zhou Yuqin asked, Aunt Dai, is this a frequent occurrence for Uncle Shen? Daiwan nodded. For over 20 years now, I have grown accustomed to it. Shen Jingyan added, I remember during my middle school years. I saw my father only a handful of times throughout the year. Zhou Yuqin looked at Xiaoya and gently patted her head, saying, on this matter, I shall not emulate Uncle Shen. Just then, his phone rang as well. It was a call from Zheng Tong, the CEO of Yuechen Gaming Company. Zhou Yuqin sighed. It seems I have been slapped in the face. Shen Jingyan chuckled, quickly answer the call. Zhou Yuqin walked to the balcony and pressed the answer button. Old Zheng, has the mobile version of Leisure Puzzle been completed? Due to Zhou Yuqin's request for Hua Haiyang to develop both mobile and online versions, the project, originally due over a fortnight ago, had been delayed for more than 10 days. Indeed, Zhou Zong, we have completed both the mobile and online versions. Can they be interconnected? The Haiyan and Excellence operating systems have no issues, but the Orange operating system cannot. The Orange operating system is akin to the exclusive system of Apple in the previous life. It is a closed ecosystem focused on security and privacy. Hence, data synchronization between Orange phones and computers is impossible. Please contact Orange Group promptly and inform them of this issue without any concealment. As for whether the Orange gaming platform should provide a download for Leisure Puzzle, let them decide. A game that cannot achieve cross-platform connectivity between computer and mobile is undoubtedly unfriendly to players. Currently, Zhou Yuqin and Orange Group are in a honeymoon phase. Should Leisure Puzzle succeed and boost the sales of phones operating on the Haiyan and Excellence systems, Orange Group would surely seek trouble. Thus, Zhou Yuqin preferred to let them make their own choice. Understood. Chenggu, when will you come to the company to check the game? On Monday. I will come for testing. Very well. When do we plan to launch Leisure Puzzle? Old Zheng, that is a matter for you and the marketing department to consider. I will only focus on steering the company forward and planning new games. Other aspects remain your responsibility. By the way, please do not let everyone work overtime anymore. They should head home to rest. Understood, Chenggu. After hanging up, Zhou Yuqin returned to the dining table. Shen Jingyan inquired, is the third game you planned, Leisure Puzzle, set for launch? Zhou Yuqin shrugged and replied, it was just completed today. As for the launch date, That is up to old Zheng. Shin Jingyun asked. Do you think Leisure Puzzle can achieve success comparable to Fruit Ninja and Angry Birds? Zhou Yuqin confidently responded, it will surpass them. Why so? Zhou Yuqin explained. These three games have fundamental differences. Fruit Ninja and Angry Birds are designed simply, easy to grasp, primarily serving as stress relievers, thus earning quick money. At most, they last 2 to 3 years before peaking. In contrast, Leisure Puzzle launches simultaneously on mobile and PC, generating continuous revenue through in-game purchases. Once it gains traction, it can sustain itself for at least 10 years. In the previous life, Leisure Puzzle brought in hundreds of millions, even over $1 billion in profits annually for its parent company, truly thriving and enabling a game to support an entire business. Daiwan raised her glass, smiling. Xiao Zhou, I wish your third game a prosperous launch. Zhou Yuqin quickly lifted his glass to clink with hers, saying, thank you, Aunt Dai. Chapter 147. Decoding the password after enjoying a hearty meal. Zhou Yuqin was about to clear the dishes and impress his future mother-in-law when his phone rang once more. It was a call from Wang Deguang, the head of the technical division at the Yunhai Police Department. Hello, Director Wang. This is Zhou Yuqin. Is there something you need? Consultant Zhou, do you have time? Could you come over? I have a USB drive here with contents that are crucial for our police work, and we need to decode the password. We have spent half a day on it and are at a loss. All right, I will head over immediately. This was the first time Wang Deguang had called since Zhou Yuqin took on the role of consultant for the technical division, and he felt compelled to go. Upon learning of the situation, Daiwan remarked, you see, your Uncle Shun is being cunning. He could have just called you himself, but had someone else do it. Perhaps he fears our complaints upon your return. Shin Jingyun said, you've had a drink. Let me drive you there. Zhou Yuqin waved his hand. No need. I can just take a taxi. 40 minutes later, Zhou Yuqin arrived at the police department building and made his way to the technical division. Inside, 4 or 5 technicians were huddled together discussing how to tackle the USB drive. Upon seeing Zhou Yuqin, Wang Deguang exclaimed, Consultant Zhou, you finally made it. Zhou Yuqin approached and asked, what seems to be the problem? Wang Deguang sniffled, Consultant Zhou, have you been drinking? Zhou Yuqin chuckled, just a little. It's hardly noticeable and has no effect. Is this USB drive really that important? Wang Deguang nodded, very important. The narcotics team worked tirelessly for 6 months to seize this USB drive from a secondary drug lord. But unfortunately, that lord was killed. Zhou Yuqin inquired. How did you determine the significance of this USB drive? Wang Deguang raised 3 fingers, stating, it has 3 layers of encryption. If it were not important, there would be no need for such measures. The director has insisted we resolve this by 6 o'clock, but we have spent 2 hours without breaching even the first layer. We are truly at a loss, which is why I had to ask for your assistance. Zhou Yuqin replied, let me take a look. Wang Deguang made room for Zhou Yuqin and explained his approach to the problem. Upon hearing this, Zhou Yuqin remarked, this is a conventional approach. Even with 24 hours of continuous effort, it would still take at least 3 days to resolve. To unlock the USB password within a limited time frame, one must transcend the ordinary and adopt an asymmetric method. Wang Deguang and several technicians immediately became intrigued, echoing, what do you mean by an asymmetric method? Zhou Yuqin replied, there is no time for explanations. Director Wang, project the computer screen onto the large display, observe closely and comprehend as much as you can. If anything is unclear, feel free to inquire later. Wang Deguang nodded in agreement, understood. With a swift flick of his wrists, Zhou Yuqin's fingers danced across the keyboard with an explosive sound reminiscent of popping beans. As the screen was cast onto the large display, a spark of brilliance ignited in Zhou Yuqin's eyes, and he commenced programming at an astonishing speed. The onlookers gasped in awe. While there are numerous programmers in the world with rapid typing skills, few can match Zhou Yuqin's remarkable pace. Wang Deguang estimated that Zhou's speed surpassed his own by at least 50%, leaving him speechless. Soon, however, he was captivated by the lines of code cascading across the screen. Zhou Yuqin's method was indeed unconventional. He bypassed obstacles that had previously hindered them with just over 100 lines of code. My goodness, it can be done this way. Absolutely impressive. Zhou, our consultant, is a veritable deity in the realm of the internet. Some technicians were taking photographs, while others diligently noted down Zhou Yuqin's techniques, showering him with praise. Wang Deguang quietly admonished, silence. Do not disrupt Consultant Zhou's thought process. The crowd promptly fell silent. Zhou Yuqin's gaze was sharp and focused. His mind raced as he employed his masterful hacking skills, successfully breaching the first 2 layers of encryption in merely half an hour.